Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the match that is taking place. It is the last warm-up match for both of these sides. England taking on the Black Caps, and it should be a very exciting contest. At the same time as this match, there is going to be the game between India and Australia. So in a weird way, because of those two matches that did take place a little while ago, I should say, there was only a couple nights ago. It is going to be the winner of the two fixtures a couple days ago are going to be going head-to-head, and these other two sides that did lose those first two. But England, they had a very decent performance. Johnny Bairstow so close to getting his half century in that one. For the Black Caps, I believe the highest score that anyone was able to get, it was actually Kane Williamson with only having 37, but that was off 30 balls. Also, Daryl Mitchell getting off to a very good start in that one as well. But we have found out that it will be New Zealand who will be bowling first to England, so we'll have to wait and see whether or not they will be able to get themselves around that 185 total or so, like they were able to for the first one. We have got in the chat, George, also Aiden there as well. Are you going to be keeping us updated for the Australia versus India game? I am indeed, mate. We are going to be doing both of the games on the channel. The commentary will be for this one, but it will be the situation of I will keep you guys informed with the score of that game, and also the Netherlands taking on Namibia will be another one that we will be doing as well. Seen the pay for the USA to win on Saturday, on Sunday, is $151, says Nov Mum. Geez, that's a fair underdog, that is fair to say. I didn't even realize the odds would go that high for that one as well. We have got Crazy NZ in the chat as well a little bit earlier on. Also, Kevin has said hello, everyone. Tough one to call, sadly. England to take it as well, says Kevin there, and go New Zealand, go, says Reed in the chat as well. And also Reed says, how's it going, says Ollie Wilson. I'm doing very well, thank you very much, mate. And he says more cake, and hopefully the hail wasn't too heavy. I do see you said that just a little bit earlier on. We have got Sebastian here in the chat as well. Hope you guys are all excited for this game. It's going to be a very exciting one indeed. And also the ball bounced awkwardly and hit Hooper's eyes as well, says Johnny Blaze. And also is Michael Hooper has had a 6 yet. He'll be more likely to hit one in your game than this one here, mate. But New Zealand were able to win themselves the toss. So because of it, it does mean that they are going to be bowling first in this game. And also for anyone who is curious about the Australia versus India game, Australia won the toss and they are going to be batting first. So they are setting the total. Where is the game being played? It is once again in the UAE, I believe. If I'm not wrong, it is the exact same ground that the Black Caps played at just only a couple days ago in Abu Dhabi, I believe it is. I will quickly get the exact name of the stadium. I normally mess it up in that regard, but they are showing the England squad for this one. They have got a very strong side. Morgan, Roy, Milan, who is a very decent player for the Hobart Hurricanes. Also, Livingston, Wokes, Bairstow, Butler, Billings, Ali, Willie Wood, Rashid Mills, and then Tom Curran, Chris Jordan to close it out as well. Hang on, I'll open the blind as well. Says more cake, but this game is being played at Sheikh Zayed Cricket Stadium, Abu Dhabi. So hopefully I pronounced that one correctly. But at this stage, Johnny Bairstow, he was on 49 in the first game that he did play for the warm-up up against India. Moeen Ali, he went out there and he was a super player when he did get the chance. 43 runs off only 20 balls, and also it's Abu Dhabi Abu Dhabi Tolerance Oval as well, says Sebastian there. But yeah, Liam Livingstone also able to get himself 30 off the 20. He actually had the best bowling figures out of anyone as well. 1 for 10 off just his 2 overs. So the spin might play a factor in this game. We did see Adam Zampa tearing it up on this pitch just a little while ago. Do you know if Waikato is playing this weekend? Says Ollie Wilson. They are indeed. 7:05 p.m. on Saturday at the same time as Japan versus Australia, and that is going to be for it is the Ranfurly Shield they're actually challenging for there. And Lightning as well, says Morkang, and also we have got their TikTok, says it Reed there as well. And at the JN Go New Zealand from Reed also. But I will mention anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This game is going to be getting underway in only around 6 minutes time. But looking through the two squads, it's going to be a very exciting one. We did see for the Black Caps, their top run scorer was Kane Williamson in that first game up against Australia. Daryl Mitchell with 33 off only the 22 deliveries. And then Jimmy Neesham going out there, getting 31 off 18. Best bowling figures, Mitch Satner able to get himself 3 wickets. Trent Bolt getting the 2. He didn't actually bowl out though. Only did the 3 overs in the opening stages. But yeah, we will have to wait and see whether or not they will be able to use that to their advantage. They've decided to send England in to have the bat, and they did start off very nicely in their game. England up against India, able to get 188 for 5 off their 20 overs. So they have to be very careful not to let that happen again. This pitch looks like it's a very decent day in Abu Dhabi at the moment. Less kind of overcast than it was for the game yesterday, so maybe a little bit less swing, banging it into the pitch. But the likes of a Kyle Jamieson might be a very good option there as well. Rugby 2022, yes, as well, says Reed. I believe it is going to be coming in January, if I'm not wrong there. And I play PS, as well, says Ollie Wilson. And also, I play PS. What is PS? Do let me know. Who's your favourite rugby team as well, says Ollie Wilson. But yeah, that is a good question. Favourite rugby team? I mean, I should probably just say the All Blacks is the easiest answer there. But Super Rugby-wise, I always very much struggle to pick myself a favourite as well. We have got Smithy Toilet in the chat as well. Welcome in to the live stream, mate. It is great to see you for this one once again. But India in their game, they are going to be bowling first. Oh, sorry, they are going to be bowling first, and then in this one, New Zealand also going to be bowling first. Having a little interview with Trent Bolt at the moment. Can he get himself a couple more wickets? I'm currently pantless as well, says says Johnny Lace. That's an interesting fact there, Johnny. Before the live stream, also Cricket 22 coming on the 25th of November, says Sebastian. It is indeed just after the World Cup. And I'm thinking about playing a little bit of that on either the Kiwi Lads Sport, Kiwi Lads Gaming, or maybe even this channel, depending on what you guys want to see, because I did have a Cricket 19 career mode a little while ago, and also a check bomb, and there's black as well, says more cake. And also we have got there, who's South Africa playing in the cricket, says Ollie Wilson. Their next fixture is going to be up against Pakistan. That's at 3 a.m. New Zealand time, and that is the last warm-up game for any side until we go into the first match of the T20 World Cup, and that is going to be on Saturday with Australia taking on South Africa as well. And Samoa in the chat from Smithy Toilet. And also we have got the coming for me, says it was more capable. We will quickly show what the table is sitting like for these sides trying to qualify into the Super 12. Scotland getting off to a very good start. 2 wins from 2 at the moment. It is the game between the Netherlands and Namibia that is about to get underway. Oman had a very good win over Papua New Guinea. Bangladesh now going to be facing off with Papua New Guinea for their next match. And at this stage, it is that close between Oman and Bangladesh that whoever wins their fixture will be able to make their way through to the Super 12 as well. Sri Lanka and Ireland, I feel, are the two favourites well and truly for that first pool. But we will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case. And where's my pants gone, says Johnny Glazer. Someone steal them, perhaps, which is very unfortunate if that is the case. Friday, tomorrow, yes, says it Reed. I believe tomorrow we have got Thursday at this stage. And also Black Caps will be licensed alongside England, Australia, and West Indies, says Sebastian. I know that they normally only have the Ashes licensed on cricket games, so that is pretty awesome that we're going to be able to have a few more teams in there as well. Proud Samoan, says Billy Tilda. And also we have got there, can you say happy birthday to Reed Nichols? It's his birthday today as well, and Thursday tomorrow, yes, says it Reed. It is indeed, so happy birthday, mate. Hope you have a great day indeed. And also we've got there, let's smash them bombs, says Billy Tilda. It is the rematch of the Cricket World Cup final, although it was for the 50 overs, that Cricket World Cup final, and we did watch it in the middle of the night here in New Zealand. This game's going to be finishing at about 2:30 a.m., which is not too bad in that regard, and carry us, Kane Williamson. So they did end up retiring one of the batsmen. They retired Daryl Mitchell in that first fixture, so I'm wondering whether or not they will do that for this game as well. If they did have the opportunity, they wanted to make sure that everyone kind of got a little bit of a bat, but with them batting second, they'll really be able to know exactly how many they'll need for the total. But it is going to be England who will be having the pads. Johnny Bairstow, I believe he came in at 3 for the last match, so I'm wondering whether or not that will be the case for this one as well. Like they are saying, they've got plenty of openers. It is going to be Joss Buttler and Jason Roy making their way to the crease. Two men who are very good at hitting a long ball if they get the chance. Dude, where's my pants? As well as says Johnny Blaze, I assume that someone has stolen them, so you might have to report it to someone. Is your wife home? Did she steal your pants, Johnny? And also we've got their happy birthday, Ollie. And at the chat says Reed. But wait, is it Reed's birthday or Johnny's? Do let me know. And also we have got the Sean Mine who's going back to Gisborne as well. It says Withington. And also, all right, Johnny, I admit it was me as well. So Sebastian is the pants stealer by the sounds of it, which is something that I didn't think I would be saying at the start of this live stream. Do you want to hear a joke? Says Ollie Wilson, go for it, mate. We will wait and see what you say. But at this stage now, Jason Roy, 31 years of age, can hit a long ball. His form, he will definitely be wanting to make sure that he can increase it a little bit. Average of just under 25, best of 78. Does get the opportunity here in this game to maybe even try and top that, depending on how it goes for the man at this stage. Now, it looks like he will be on strike for this one. Joss Buttler, the non-striker's end here, is going to be aged at 31 at the moment. And also we have got knock from Ollie Wilson, who's there, mate. Do let me know. But Joss Butler, at the non-striker's end here. Average of just under 32, best of 83 not out. And one thing that I think is going to be important here for them, it is going to be possibly in that situation of they need to get around 170. It looks like a nice day, and it could be a very good batting surface for these guys as well. Don't spell them. You will end up sick as well, says the Johnny Blaze there. It looks like Tim Southey now. He is going to be the man who will have the first over of this match. Will they go with Mitchell Satner at the other end? We will have to wait and see. But Sally, there's a whole heap of smiles at the moment on the faces of the Black Caps, which I guess is great to see, but they look like they are ready to have a good game of cricket here on a nice sunny afternoon as well in Abu Dhabi. I believe it's going to be sitting at around, I'd say it's mid-20s at the moment. But Tim Southee, he did have a decent-ish game last week. Earlier on in the week, he did end up giving away just a few too many runs. So his best is 5 for 18. I absolutely love that today. Reed is a Barbie girl in his Barbie world as well, says Ollie Wilson. Also, we've got there Rip, Sean Wainui, Hongi, Bob Mully for us, cuz as well, says Johnny Blaze. Yeah, the tragic news that Sean Wainui did pass away yesterday, it was. In fact, and also we've got there. So you're creating a Discord who's just created my account. Let's go as well. So Smithy Toilet, I actually do have it set up. It is just myself at this stage in it because I haven't worked out how to send out a link for people to be able to join it. But once I do, I will certainly be putting that in the chat for you guys as well. Christmas goods, says Reed. Tell you what, we're only a little while away from Christmas, a couple months, I should say. But Southee now bowling the first one, and he's bowled him. It's gone straight through him. And Tim Southee, first ball of the innings. He did the same with David Warner yesterday. He got the wicket, and now straight away, Jason Roy, unfortunately for him, is going to be on his way. He tried to advance as well. Everyone's trying to advance to Tim Southee at the moment, which I feel like is not the way to do it because of the fact that he has been bowled, and that is a great start to the match now for the Black Caps to be able to get England one down. And they've been able to get themselves on the front foot straight away. And we have got there, can I get it? Oh, yeah, as well in the chat. Hi, Hamish. Evening all, says David as well. Welcome into the live stream, mate. That is not how I expected this match to be starting. Jason Roy going to be on his bike after only the one. And that's going to be another Royal Duck 2 times in a row in 2 games. Tim Southee's been able to pick up the first wicket of the game. And it's going to be, or the first wicket of his innings on the very first ball. Roy is out for naught, dear God, as well. Says Sebastian. Also, we've got the bright white sky again. Says more cake there in RIP. Sebastian as well. Says Johnny Blaze. And also, we've got the wow, what a start. And also, hello, a cricket streamer as well. Says Danny Lewis. Welcome in, mate. If you are looking for a way of watching this game, I believe depending on what country you are in, you have got the option of, in New Zealand, it is Sky Sports. On Sky Sport 1 would be your best option. At this stage, we are doing the game between England and India at the same time as this one. And we're going to be keeping an eye on the score as that one has taken place as well. But nonetheless, great start to the match. David Milan now with an average of 43.19. So he is a very talented player, plays very nicely in the KFC Big Bash. Hopefully, we do get to see that man back for another season this year. And it is going to be starting on December 5th for that competition as well. And we have got there, we should catch up one day, mate, as well. Says Ollie Wilson for, do you live in Hamilton? I do not. I am actually in the South Island. Yeah, I guess at some stage I'd like to head to the North Island to be able to either go to some rugby games, maybe at Eden Park or something along those lines. And Sean Wainui's the Gear brothers Nef as well, says Smithy. I'm not too sure what that means. But we have, the Gear brothers nephew. I assume that is actually as in Jose Gear, Rico Gear, and whatnot. I'm not actually too sure, unfortunately. Sorry, mate. At the stage, he walked down the wicket, Jason Roy, and ended up just getting bowled around the legs. Just not the start to the match that he would have been after, indeed. And also, full-time YouTuber says that Danny Lewis, full-time but part-time, if that makes sense. Pretty much, I do it full-time, but it's probably, it is my only job that I do at the moment, but that is because of the fact that I did work hard a couple of years ago to try and get into the position of being able to do it. That's going to be a beautiful cover drive through the cover, and that is going to be 4 runs for Milan to get underway in his innings as well. We have got there, New Zealand has good attitude for this game as well, says Kevin, and also we have got there in the chat. But yeah, the full-time YouTuber, pretty much I am in the situation of hopefully being able to one day do this completely full-time, but at the moment it is kind of just that part-time type arrangement. Loud thunder as well, says more cake. So it sounds like it's pretty stormy over there for you at the moment, mate. It's a beautiful sunny day at the moment in Abu Dhabi for this match. For Southee now running into bowl his 4th ball of his spell as well. It's going to be blocked by Milan, just hit down to the 3rd man, and that is just going to be the single down to, I believe it was that. I think it was Jimmy Neesham, if I'm not wrong, but it could be in that regard. But now at this stage, they are going to be changing the field big time because of the fact that Joss Butler, he is going to be the right-hander in this one. May Wainui's 5-try record last forever as well. Yeah, it was very impressive for the Chiefs when he was able to score himself 5 tries in the match up against the Waratahs, I believe it was as well. Hope you don't consider yourself to be an influencer as well, says Jody Blaze. Not at all, mate. Not at all. I pretty much just end up, I sit in my lounge. I've got a green screen out now, which does look a little bit smoother, I think, for some of those ones as well. But yeah, we will have to wait and see whether or not. I don't think I'm ever going to have influencer in my Instagram bio. That's just something, I hardly use Instagram. That's a nice and swinging delivery Josh Butler able to hit it down the ground, and this is going to be at least 2 runs. Ish Sodhi going to be able to chase it down and just keep it to the 2. But Southie so far gone for 7 runs off his first 5 balls of his spell. Got the wicket off the very first ball, though. And it was Jason Roy who was able to, unfortunately, have his stumps knocked over here. And it's looking like it's going to be Ashwin who will be bowling in the end of India versus Australia game as well. And it will, no one can play worse than the Waratahs in 2021 as well, says Sebastian. Also, it is, says Amor King and Hamish, we need some cricket emojis, says David. Perhaps it's something that we can look into in the future as well. Because of the fact that the Cricket World Cup is about to get well and truly underway. And I believe the first game is on Saturday night at 11 p.m., which is going to be kind of, beautiful delivery there for Southie to end on a dot ball. 7 for 1 off the first over of the power play we have got there. Still surprised Wainoi's the first to score 5 tries, says Smithy Toilet. Was it in Super Rugby history or was it just for the Chiefs? Smithy, I believe it was Super Rugby, if I'm not wrong, because I know Will Jordan, he was able to get the 5 for international up against Tonga, but Super Rugby record, very impressive indeed. And also we have got their Hooper stuff 4 as well. I assume that is with the lightning and whatnot. And 6 and wicket emojis, says that Sebastian. And also we have got their fellow, says that Danny Lewis. And also Sebastian, those blokes probably gave up a few games in their season as well, or into their season. Says that Johnny Blaze and a ball with sandpaper emoji. We will spam when BR joins the chat as well. Says Johnny Blaze. I believe at this stage we have got ourselves, I think we've got 11 or 10 emojis, and pretty much YouTube have it that when you do end up with more channel members, you can get more emojis. So we probably have to ditch a couple of the ones that we do have at the moment to be able to add those ones. So we'd have to decide which ones are getting used, I guess, the least. I know that if I got rid of a George or a Hamish, you guys would be very much upset with that one. And also, is there a PlayStation cricket game? There is indeed. Cricket 19 at the moment, and there is going to be Cricket 22 will be coming out on the 25th of November, which should be a very exciting one. At the moment, I believe if you buy it for pre-order, you can actually play the nets at the moment is the only game mode that they've got available. But Jameson bowling the second, he's hit the hip of Milan, and that is just going to be the dot ball. What's the current time in New Zealand to stand up? At the moment, we are sitting at 11:07 p.m. So not quite as late as the last game that we did have, which was that game between New Zealand and Australia, which went down to the wire as well. Sounds like the Bock emoji is a guy as well, says Sebastian. Also, how old is Josh Butler? Seems going on forever. I believe he is 31 at the moment, so he's still not exactly, I don't believe he's the oldest player on the pitch by any means. I think Southie is actually 32 as well. And also we've got there, you're not getting rid of the George Hamish emojis as well. It says Chaos Dragon, welcome into the live stream, man. And Warner out, says Sandeep. He is indeed Ashwin, able to pick up the wicket by the looks of it. So once again, getting out very early. Kyle Jamieson is a monster as well. He's a certain unit, that is for sure, with the amount of height that man has got. I want to say that he is he 6'8" or somewhere around there, or is he a little bit taller than that? And Virat Kohli at the moment, the flaming Indian as well, says Smithy Toilet. And yeah, at this stage, Virat Kohli, he will be hoping to get himself a win in that game up against Australia. Why was Warner reverse sweeping? He has ended up getting himself LBW there, and Chris Gale, the Casanova as well, and there from Johnny Blaze. But yeah, this stage, it's going to be interesting to see who can win these games, because this game between England and New Zealand, it's almost, I guess you could say, a loser versus loser situation from the first preseason game or kind of friendly match. And then Australia, they were able to beat New Zealand. India were able to beat England. And now that is the game that has taken place at the exact same time. 6'8". As well, says Nov Mum, and also Captain Morgan, 50 runs, says Sebastian. I feel like he could do decently in this one, Morgan. It's going to be just another dot ball for Butler. And at this stage, they have actually set his height there, 6'8". And also, are you the same height as Kane Williamson, says Danny Lewis. How tall is Kane Williamson? While we are waiting for this next ball to be bowled, I am going to have a quick look to see if I am a similar height. He is No, I'm actually taller than Kane Williamson, which is kind of surprising, I guess you'd say, by, I think, about 5-6 centimeters or somewhere around there. He's 1.73. I'm kind of close to 1.8 for my height. But now Kyle Jamieson, once again, going to be steaming in for this one. He's got that deceptive, well, it's not really deceptive. Everyone can see how tall he is, but he gets deceptive bounce with that, and that can kind of end up getting the batsman a little bit stuck. But Josh Butler doing very nicely, getting himself the single there. And also, I met Virat Kohli, saw him roaming the streets of Manukau as well, says Billy Toilet. And that would have been from the tour of India, I believe. That's another wicket, and that's going to be Mitch Marsh now out in the game between Australia and India. So not a great start to them at the moment. And yeah, they will certainly have to work on trying to rebuild it, but a golden duck there for Mitch Marsh. Not what you want to see. He is a man who seemed like he was going to be in the situation of maybe being able to get himself quite a good competition. That's going to be nicely pulled away down to deep fine leg just for the single as well. We have got this, and Deep has said you can add India versus scoreboard 2 or scorecard 2 on the screen. You may get more viewership from India, says Sandeep. Unfortunately, due to the streaming software that I use, it only allows me to put up one kind of thing at once, but I will keep you guys informed. After 2 overs in that game, it is 6 for 2 at the moment. Australia batting first in that fixture for that one as well. And City Centre near Papatoto as well, says Smithy, and also half-bro, my knowledge is limited. And brothers, to be honest, I know F all about cricket, and I don't even know the rules except smash the ball. And yeah, at this stage, both of these sides, T20 is the best format to be able to get into that situation of being able to smash the ball. Definitely on the short boundary. I believe if this is the same ground as it was for the game a couple of days ago, there's a short boundary on the left-hand side on the field as well. We have got there. I love that you do something you love and get paid for it as well, says Danny Lewis. Yeah, I absolutely love doing this. And yeah, it has pretty much been what we have done for the past I believe we started the channel in August last year. And since then we have gone and just uploaded, I believe, around 700 videos and live streams or somewhere around there, which is a very large number indeed, but it is well and truly worth it, as I just absolutely love it at the same time. That wasn't Virat Kohli. That was your local taxi driver. Also, New Zealand should have defeated England in 2019. What a game, though. Stayed up all night watching it. I did as well. It was a very close one. Lockie Ferguson, he is going to be back, and he didn't actually get an opportunity in the last match up against Australia, but he has got out-and-out pace, which I feel like him partner with Jameson will be a very hard combo to try and get on top of. We have got there Virat Kohli as well. Says Billy, has he ever bowled Virat Kohli? I assume that he has at some stage, but is he off spin? I think he's off spin if he does as well. I watched the Bangladesh versus Oman and Papua New Guinea versus Scotland yesterday. I think I'm good with the rules now, says Sebastian. And yeah, at this stage, Netherlands are playing as well, and they are sitting 20 for none or 24 for none after 2.4 overs. So they are going at a frantic pace at the moment, a lot quicker than both of these other sides. There's an appeal happening at the moment for it was Bhuvishnawa as well. Oh, nice little cut there down to short third man, but they are going to rush through for the single there. And now Ferguson going to be setting his field for the right-hander of Joss Buttler. We have got there my Indian mate back. When I went to Lady of the Sacred Heart, Auckland, used to drive cabs near the airport, gave us a ride home as well. And also we have got there, do you mind sharing how much a YouTuber gets each video? Is it based off views? It is indeed based off views. I'm not sure whether or not I'm allowed to say the exact numbers, but pretty much it isn't probably as much as you think, which is why we do probably, or that's why I said a little bit earlier on about how it was a full-time, part-time kind of job, because it is full-time hours kind of for, I guess you could call it part-time kind of payment, I guess you'd say. I love our taxi drivers as well, says Millie Toilet. Yeah, they're pretty awesome indeed. But yeah, I feel like even if like the channel wasn't monetized for a long time and I was still doing just as many videos because of the fact that I love the process of the videos, not so much the process of just like getting paid, if that makes sense. Hopefully it did. But now at this stage, Ferguson once again steaming in. It's going to be a great cover drive there from Joss Buttler through the gap, and that is going to be 4 once again there for them. And love our taxi drivers as well, says Smithy. Also, you're a Catholic like me as well, says David there. And it was a great shot from Joss Buttler, a man who can really get underway in a quick hurry. Definitely with the power play, with only the 2 fielders allowed outside of the ring here. Joss Buttler, lovely shot through the covers there. And also we have got their part-time Uber driver too as well, says Danny Lewis. And also we have got there doing something you love is all that matters as well, says Sebastian. I 100% agree there, mate. At this stage, both men facing 7 balls so far. It's a scoop there from Joss Buttler, and that's going to have plenty of pace, and that's gone all the way for 6. They're using Lockie Ferguson's pace to his advantage there. Buttler very casually just scoops it over his head, and that has gone all the way for the 6 as well with his kookaburra. Well, that one's gone. And now because of it, after 2 balls, it is going to be 10 runs for Joss Buttler. Doing very nicely indeed. All the last 2 balls, I should say. 4 balls into the spell of Lockie Ferguson, already going for the 11 runs here. He's going to have to make sure that he doesn't allow too many more there. At the moment, it is Finch and also Steve Smith, who did actually top score for Australia in their game up against New Zealand. He is going to be at the crease, hopefully, getting himself a few runs. First 6 for England as well, says Sebastian. It is indeed. How many 6s do you guys think we will have? Oh, it was almost going to be the opportunity for another one, but scooped once again down that one to the fine leg region. And it is just a single for Josh Butler. But now Ferguson's over at this stage, 12 runs off it. He needs to make sure that he gets out of this with either a single or a dot ball. He cannot afford a boundary here. Went back to Rotorua boys in year 11 as well. Says it was Smithy and also couldn't do F-all. That lady of the Sacred Heart teachers were breathing down my neck as well. Says Smithy Toilet there. This stage, Ferguson. He has had quite a few injuries throughout his career, unfortunately for the man. He does have insane pace when he does get going. Pretty good with the Orca as well. When he does get the chance, Catholic schools are the worst at bro as well. Says David there. The other stage, Steeman for the last ball of his over at the moment. The run rate just under 8 here for England. Oh, it's a nice delivery close to the off stump there from Milan. Not a lot of bounce with that delivery, and that's going to be the dot ball that Lockie Ferguson was after. So many people take jobs they don't enjoy, but you do what you do, or you do what you love. Great stuff as well, says Danny Lewis. And also, I think 10 sixes is about right as well, says Sebastian Harbro. Says Smithy Toilet there, and those priests, and those one, oh no, Rod Johnny Mace. At this stage, 3 overs, halfway through the power play at the moment here. And 22 for 1 at the moment is how it is sitting for New Zealand bowling figures. Sim Southey's going to have another one at this stage in the power play. So he'll more than likely bowl about the 18th or 19th over perhaps if he does get the opportunity later on in this game. They have still got maybe Trent Bolt. I haven't seen him in the field yet. But with the warm-up games, you're actually able to change around your side quite a bit and also move to Auckland for my second year of intermediate, and also he's still in Rotorua as well. Says that David to Smithy Toilet, but at this stage now, Southey 2, it was Josh Butler. A little bit of a slower delivery there. And it does now mean that it's just going to be a single down, 2 long on. Or sorry, long off it was. And also we've got there, what is power play as well, says Novmum. Pretty much the gist of the power play is you get 6 overs at the start of the match. And during that time, there is a 30-meter ring kind of around the pitch. And you're only allowed 2 fielders outside of that ring for the first 6 overs, which is why it's the batting power play. And then after that 6 overs, you're allowed 4 or 5, I believe it is. I believe it's 5 that you are allowed outside of that ring. So it pretty much gives the batsman just that little bit more of an advantage while the bowlers are kind of using that new ball just a little bit. It's going to be a big appeal. That's going to be the 3rd wicket, and Finch is going to be on his way now. Jadeja able to pick him up with his first ball. And what town in New Zealand do you live in? As well, I am in a small town in South Canterbury, halfway in between Oamaru and Timaru, which I feel like are the 2 kind of more well-known regions. It's going to be a 3rd wicket down here for Australia. That is not ideal for them. Live the game as well is the little logo that we have got on the screen at the moment. The Cricket World Cup is going to be extremely close to getting underway. These are warm-up games. We have currently got those games taking place as well for the qualifying to see who is going to be going through to the Super 12. Just joking, brother. Ignore me. Just having a laugh. Having a laugh as well. Says Johnny Blaze, and also we've got the I'm on the east side. Says David. Sally once again. 2 singles so far off his over. That one's tried to be whipped away to the side, and it is just going to be the dot ball once again. So what is the name of the town as well, says Danny Lewis? It is called Waimate, which I'm not too sure whether or not you would have heard of it, as it is pretty much, unless you zoom right in on a map, you don't see it pretty much in the gist of things. And also we've got their 4 block as well, says Johnny Blaze. And also True Cuzzy from Smithy Toilet. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think is going to be winning this game at the moment? Australia are under a huge amount of pressure. It's going to be Maxwell and Smith at the crease. Both not really facing too many deliveries. Southey hit straight back over his head there by Butler. And that is going to be 4 more runs here for England. Beautiful shot for the 4 runs as well. I wouldn't really call it a small down average as well. Says, okay, Australia. Also, we have got the Lifton Kutu as well. And also the block. Says David. But yeah, beautiful shot from Josh Butler. Almost a baseball-like swing. Just straight back over the head of Southey. And it did lead to the 4 runs. Butler at the moment on fire. 19 off 12, and I feel like he isn't done yet. He is going to be speeding this one up by the looks of it. If he can continue to go the way that he has started. Oh, and that one's gone as well. Southey just a half volley, and Josh Butler hits it over long off. And that is going to be another 4 runs there. So 2 boundaries back to back for Josh Butler. He did that in the last over as well. Honestly, I think England won't get bowled out around 180 to 190 runs. Feel like that is a very decent shout. They got 188 up against India, and it wasn't actually enough. So they will be aggressive in this innings and try and get themselves possibly towards that 200. Also, I love this office smell in Rotorua. It smells beautiful as well. Says Johnny Blaze there, and also we have got the OKBs as well. Says it is a David, but now Butler on strike once again. He's always wound up that one, almost ended up hitting the stumps. It's going to be an inside edge, and it is going to be a harsh one for Tim Southey because of the fact that he has rolled away for the 4 once again. Rodney City equals Rota Vegas as well, says Smithy Toilet, but not the end of the over that Southey would have been after. Started with only 2 runs off the first 3 balls. Then from there, 4-4-4 for Joss Butler. He's looking like he's going to be trying to hit a 6 with the swing that he just did while they are waiting at half, or halfway down the pitch, I should say, as well. Almost 2 runs are ball for him at the moment. India, they seem to be getting the better of Australia at this stage. 3.4 overs down, 13 for 3 into that fixture. It was just a very nice shot by Joss Butler to start off those boundaries. The last one, he ended up French cutting it almost between his legs, but it did run away for the boundary. And now at this stage, who have they decided they're going to be going with? It's going to be David Milano, who will be on strike, like I mentioned, plays for the Hobart Hurricanes throughout the KFC Big Bash, which is going to be starting up on December 5th, which is going to be very exciting indeed. But Jadeja at the moment looking like he's going to be closing out his first over with only going for the 3 runs, also picking up the wicket as well. Netherlands, 4.4 overs down, 33 for none at this stage. And Satner now going to be brought in to the bowling attack, was able to get himself 3 wickets in that first matchup. Up against Australia. We also got there, I'm an original Kutu brother as well, says Smithy. Also, did you see the Scots singing Flower of Scotland during the Bangladesh captain's press conference? Masters in the art of taking the piss as well, says Sebastian. I do see at the moment Scotland, they're sitting in a decent position to be able to qualify for the Super 12. I will show the table as it is sitting at the moment. They have been able to get themselves 2 wins, and with that net run rate, I believe unless the last round is going to be Bangladesh playing Papua New Guinea and then Oman taking on Scotland. So if Scotland don't beat Oman, Oman might actually be the team who do make their way through to the next stage, and that is the Super 12. And we will get to see those sides joining up with the likes of the Black Caps, with England, Australia, India. All of those guys are going to be all playing off, and it is going to be very exciting indeed. We have also got there Taharangi Street as well, says David David. And also I want to go Kmart and Rotorua as well. I need new underpants, though. I like to shop in store, not online. Am I allowed to come to Rotorua from Waikato level 3 to level 2 environment as well? It's a tricky question, but that one's going to be over the top for Milan. And once again, it's going to be 4 runs there. And they are well and truly working their way towards getting to, I want to say they'll get 60 before the end of the power play, at least, maybe even 70 at the moment, the way that they're going. Picked up the length early there, Joss Butler, and just hit it straight back over cover. But yeah, I absolutely love Kmart. Kmart is a great store. That is why they've got the slogan, where good times start, because they do at Kmart. You can get yourself a well and truly a bargain, but now it's going to be just a dot ball there. Mitchell Satner able to bring it back just a little bit more there. And also we have got there, I honestly don't know if I'm allowed to do that, says Johnny Blaze. I don't believe so, unless it's essential. I think if it was essential, it's a tough one though. I'm not actually too sure. It's kind of been, anytime there's been a lockdown here in the South Island, we've always been kind of like the same level throughout the whole island, if that makes sense. So I'm not too sure about kind of splits and whatnot. Do you have a Waikato Kmart, Johnny Blaze? Do let me know. And also, we have got there, my house was around the corner from there as well. Says, but they do that now. Whipped away to the leg side, but at short mid wicket came Williamson, able to stop that one from going through the gap. But Butler at the moment off to a flying start, 31 runs off the 17. Milan just ticking over at a runner ball, but Jason Roy, he only got to face the one ball, and he was ending up getting bowled by Tim Southey, or giving himself some space there. Satner is over the top, and now it is going to be once again the 4 runs from Joss Butler, ended up really stepping away to the leg side, just hoiking it away, out cover way. It was almost a glorified golf shot of some sort. And also we've got there, Spencer said, are you sponsored by Kmart? We are not, but maybe one day, who knows? It would be pretty awesome. Just Google Waimedi. I would love to travel there one day as well. Says that Danny Lewis, sorry. And also we have got there, we could see beautiful or Lake Rota Vegas as well. And also we have got their underpants are essential, is no knickers a South Island thing as well, says Johnny Blaze. I believe if it is essential, hopefully they would let you, but then I'm not too sure whether or not they would end up kind of being able to transfer you between the 2 regions of the island. But we will mention at the moment, 5 overs down, 45 for 1 at the moment in this fixture between the Black Caps and England. Both sides, unfortunately, missing out on a win for their warm-up matches, but now at this stage, both sides would love to be able to get themselves one victory heading into the Cricket World Cup that is going to be taking place on Saturday as their first fixture, and that's going to be Australia versus South Africa as the opening one as well. We have got there Glenn Massey of it is Whangaro, hopefully pronounced that, of Whangaroa, I believe it is, road off the bush. No mum as well, says Johnny Blaze. And also, Johnny, get of those fancy underpants that come in a tube. Zebra stripes for the Blaze Master as well, says Sebastian. And also, what made you live in Waimeti? Pretty much because of the fact that my parents, we were originally in Christchurch and then moved down about 18 years ago. And then have kind of been same house kind of that whole time. And I do like it here because of the fact it is a small town. The thing that you miss out on is the likes of like a KFC or a McDonald's or anything kind of massive, I guess you could say, but we've still got a couple parks and whatnot, which is pretty nice indeed. We have also got the in the chat as well. Went to beautiful Mount Manganui as well this morning, and also we have got the Ashel Mainui Rest in Love as well. Says that Toilet Smithy, and also played a couple games for Vaka as well. Says that David at this stage now. Milan going to be on strike once again here. Ferguson going to be given another over. It's risky bowling Lockie Ferguson here purely because of the fact that at this stage he's got enough pace with only 2 men outside of the ring. Putting up head into the boundary. It's a good ball though. Nice and straight from Lockie Ferguson. A good length. And it does mean that it is just going to be the dot ball. Hamish loves his McFlurries as well. Says Smithy Toilet. And yeah, I think like anytime you go to a bigger city, like the Uber Eats side of it is just absolutely awesome. Like for a small town, seeing Uber Eats, like someone delivering your food is like amazing. Because we have to go out and get ours. Like the nearest KFC or anything like that is actually half an hour away, unfortunately. And also we have got there, bro, you make cricket more interesting as well, according to a Kiwi in Holland, says Liquid Images. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate you being here for this one. That's going to be a covered drive. It's going to be stopped at cover though. And it is once again going to be the dot ball. David Milan at the moment sitting on 10 off 12. Very talented batsman. I believe 40 plus is his average for this one as well. Yeah, Tahuriorangi as well convinced him. As well, says David, and also Kamate equals Waimeti there. But yeah, Liquid Images. Who do you think is going to be the top run scorer for the Black Caps in this match? Do let me know. Is it Kane Williamson? He actually had a decent day with the bat in the last one. All bouncer there from Lockie Ferguson. It is just going to be the single there. Not really able to strike it well. But then it is very hard to pick up the speed when he's bowling at around 145 kilometres an hour. Waimeti, Kia ora as well. Now at this stage, they are actually showing the wickets in the Australia game. And at this stage, David Warner once again getting out. Mitch Marsh ending up with the slip catch there for that man. And then there was one more one, and it was Finch who ended up getting LBW'd as well. TTT's one hardy fella went to score with him as well. Says Smithy Toilet, and also, yes, sadly, can't travel out of Waikato and can only do click and collect for Kmart and Warehouse. Says Nov Mum, do they still have the return policy? Because I guess that would be the only way that you'd be able to get yourself your underwear, Johnny Blaze, although it does depend a little bit in terms of, it does depend on, I guess, the region once again. We have also got the what to do in Waimeti. There isn't really a lot, Danny, to be honest. We recently, there's a skate park, but I don't skate. There's a golf course and a couple parks. I feel like that's about it that we have got here as well. We have got there. Ferguson said, enjoying these streams, mate. Are you going to do some of the proper tournaments too, despite the time difference as well, says Fergus? We are indeed, even though the games are going to be starting at 11 p.m. and then also 3 a.m. I'm going to be doing quite a few of those games. We're hopefully going to do every single Black Caps fixture that they have got, alongside hopefully every single Australian fixture as well, and then England, India, and everyone along those lines. I'm hoping to do maybe about, of the group stages, I feel like I'm going to be able to do around 5 or 6 of those games per week when we have got them on. But yeah, hopefully with the schedule, we'll be able to link up and we will be up, because my time zone at the moment for myself, I'm pretty much at lunchtime at the moment, even though it is 11:28 p.m. at the moment here in New Zealand. But pretty much because of the rugby that I have been doing on the channel as well, it has got me into kind of a weird time zone at this stage. And also we have got there, into there, Hamish loves his hot rod packs as well. Says Chaos Dragon, and also we have got there, or delivery as well. Says Novmum, and also we have got there, what's the name of the Black Cap dude that pulls his tongue out? Pulls his tongue out. I assume that is Ross Taylor, if we are talking, and Spencer said Ross Taylor there as well. And also that's a bowl and a half. That's not ideal as well. Says it's really toilet. Yeah, those are my casual sayings that end up creeping in for pretty much every single one at the moment. Lockie Ferguson only going for one run off this over so far, and that is going to be whipped away to the leg side by Josh Butler. Pushing for the second, and they haven't been able to get only 2 from the over for the last one of the power play. That is a very good over from Lockie Ferguson there. And because of it now, outside of the power play 47 for 1 is what England are going to be sitting on. Trent Boult is running the drinks at this stage, so more than likely he is not going to be bowling for this fixture, and instead Lockie Ferguson is going to be there for that one as well. Do you think Australia will make a decent score, Hamish? It's a tough one to say at the moment. They've got Smith and Maxwell both only sitting on the 4 runs, 20 for 3 after their 5 overs, 20 for 3 after the 5. I feel like they're going to get around 150, I'm going to say, around there. Joss Butler as well says it is with his own. Ross Taylor, he's the guy. I've seen him at the Time Zone in Hamilton, and he put $500 on his card for his kids to play arcade games, and I was whinging, putting 50 on our kids on as well, says Jody Blaze. But yeah, that's one of those ones. I haven't been to Time Zone in a long time, but it is somewhere that I quite enjoyed going back in the day. I remember there was one of those ones how you had to hold the it was like a cannon thing, and you had to shoot the teeth out of the horse's mouth, I believe it was. I remember that one. For some reason, that's like the smoothest one. And the ear hockey as well is a lot of fun. And Butler doing his best to make up for Roy's butchery as well, says Sebastian. And yeah, at that stage, Ish Sodi, I should say, going to be given the ball for the Black Caps. Dot ball to start his spell. 73 wickets he has been able to take. Best is 4 for 28. I believe he got that not too long ago as well there. Will you be going live for the West Indies game later? Says Aiden. I believe that is the game at 3 a.m. and they are going to be taking on South Africa. No, actually, it is going to be Afghanistan versus West Indies. I do see they aren't actually showing that game in New Zealand, unfortunately, so I wouldn't be able to do that fixture. That's a decent throw. It's going to be the single of the second ball of Ish Sodi's spell. Did bowl decently in the last fixture up against Australia, but Joss Butler at the moment, he has been able to get himself to 36 off only the 23 deliveries, looking very impressive in the early stages. And now Milan is going to be on strike, a player who does have the ability to hit a long ball as well. We have got there in the chat, out of the horse's mouth. Is that the game with New Zealand's PM? It is not, but I probably ended up setting that one up for a little bit of the alley-oop there. And also we have got there, predict our Whakapaka as well. Says Smithy John. Also, will you be doing any other games this evening? That's going to be... Oh, I thought that was clean bowled. I wasn't actually watching for a second there, but Ish Sodi has got straight through Milan, but it did miss the stumps, and then it was stumped in the end. But he is still going to be at the crease. Milan, he did keep that foot grounded. Will you be doing any other games this evening? I believe we are going to be having this kind of next game, the 3 a.m. game, off because of the fact that Australia are going to be announcing their side for Japan in the early stages of the afternoon, I believe, tomorrow. So we might end up doing a little bit of an earlier night, although it will still be late. That's going to be Plum, and that's going to be the wicket. 2-ish Sodi that time. He has got Milan, and he is going to be on his way now. He's done that very nicely. And tell you what, reverse sweeps at the moment. I believe that's about the 5th wicket I have seen from just the 2 or 3 games that I have witnessed that have been a reverse sweep wicket. And Nov Mohamed said wicket as well, and that is going to be Milan. Will be on his way here for England, unfortunately. Tries the reverse sweep, just didn't quite get it. A little bit more pitched up than he was anticipating, I believe, and that is going to be a nice, easy decision for the umpire. And that is going to be Milan out 11 off 15. LBW bowled Ish Sodi. I'm excited to see who they bring out next, though. For the man, it's going to be Ewan Morgan, the captain of England. What can he do here in the number 4 batting position? Although they've still got a lot of very talented batsmen who they could bring out a little bit later on if they need to here, England. Oh, yeah, we will have to wait and see what the captain can do. Virat Kohli's my favourite player, a bloody chill fella as well. Says Smithy Todd. I really enjoy watching him and Kane Williamson chat because of the fact they did play for the same IPL team. I believe they're still playing for the same IPL team as well, and they're just very chilled out individuals, like you mentioned. Just have a catch up, have a laugh while they are out there as well. Ewan Morgan at the moment, 28.78 is his average. He's got 91 in a match. He got anywhere near that today. 30s. He has been able to get 16. 50s, he's got 14. So that means when he does set himself, he really misses out on getting to the 50. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case in this one as well. Off the field, especially when he's shopping in Papatoto, as well as says Smithy Thorne. And also the umpire pointing at the wicket like the Royal Rumble winner pointing at the WrestleMania sign as well, says Bashan. And also we have got there, do you currently play any sport? I don't actually. I have pretty much been doing the YouTube side of it pretty much full time. And also, I don't believe we've had too many sports running at the moment, but I did used to play cricket. And also, right back in the day, I did used to play a little bit of rugby as well. That's going to be pitched up nicely by Ish Sodi, whipped away to the leg side, and it's just going to be the single down to long on Gup to way able to field. And what a catch that man took for the opening ball of the over and the opening ball of the innings for the match up against Australia was David Warner. Unfortunately, also got dismissed Virat Kohli, he is actually going to be bowling. So the one that I said a little bit earlier on about whether or not he was an off spinner, we're about to find out. I believe he still is, though. Virat Kohli. So both sides going with spin at the moment for the 7th over. We have got their captain Morgan on the field. Says Sebastian, and yeah, at this stage he will be open for a. Oh, that was a rough ball from Ish Sodhi. Way down the leg side. It's going to be the wide. Probably lucky that Joss Buttler didn't get onto that one as well. And did you play first 15 in your score as well? Says, first. No, that is first 15. Says Danny. I didn't actually end up playing first 15, and our school didn't really have enough people to be able to get a first 15 team together. So I believe in the 8 years or so, I think they probably had about 2 or 3 years that they did actually get enough players for the first 15. And I went to Bunnings today and into Rapa as well. Took me 1 hour to get inside the trade entrance, bloody hell, as well. Says Johnny Blaze, and also we have got there. That's right, Captain that's right, Hamish E. Morgan is the captain as well. Says David. He is indeed. Ewan Morgan. He is a very talented player, and he will be able to get himself a decent total here. He's actually been able to hit the ball, or Butler actually hit the ball for 4, out through point for the final ball of that over to close it out at 54 for 2 after the 7. This one's flying by at the moment. Hamish the bus from Waimiri as well, says Billy Toilet. Also, we have got there a little bit earlier on about the Bunnings. So I assume Bunnings, they are considered essential, aren't they? Because you are building. Are you able to still kind of build for other people, Johnny, or is it kind of a little bit of a tricky one at the moment? Also, we have their captain Morgan run as well, says Johnny Blaze, but Satner now going to be the one who is going to be bowling this one as well. At this stage, it seems like once again the spinners may have a little bit more purchase in the surface, because we saw it the other day when it was the Black Caps taking on Australia, that it seemed to be the better option out of the pace or the spin, although Ferguson with his out and out pace, and also Jameson, I would say as well, is another one to watch out for due to that kind of extra bounce. Satner now going to be hit back down the ground just to Tim Sally, who was at short mid wicket, so it's going to be a dot ball for Ewan Morgan's second ball that he is facing here. I'm still working, yes, as well, says Johnny Blaze. So yeah, hopefully you are able to keep it up and keep on doing it. Oh, advancing there was Ewan Morgan. He has been able to pierce it out through the gap at mid-wicket just for the single to Phillips, who was in the deeps. And now it's going to be Joss Buttler on strike, sitting on 41 off 25 so far. So we're going to have to wait and see. I've said wait and see about 17 times so far throughout the first 7 overs of this one. I was about to say it again. We haven't got the I got to say, I've got to wait to say our wallpaper glue is ready to pick up from Bunnings as well, says Nobman. Also can't wait to see or to leave Tauranga. The whānau want to move over to Perth, says Smithy Toilet. And Perth is a very nice region. Indeed, you got the Perth Scorchers. If you're into your cricket, or if you're slowly getting back into cricket, the Perth Scorchers are a team to watch out for. They were able to get to the final of the KFC Big Bash, and I believe they were facing off against the Sydney Sixers, who did win it. But Satner now once again going to be whipped away to the leg side, and deep mid wicket is going to be cutting that one off once again. It's going to be Daryl Mitchell. Had a decent day with the bat for the first game up against Australia. We have got there. I played first 15 for 2 years. We were absolutely useless as well. Only one other high score in Rotorua was worse as well, says David. And also watch your Wallaby score prediction, says Aiden. It's a tough one for the Wallabies. I feel like they are going to be able to get the win by, I think it will be similar to the Argentina. I'm going to say that the Wallabies are going to win it by 15. That is a rough ball from Mitch Satner, and it's gone straight through the hands of Tim Seifert, and because of it, it's going to be an extra 2 runs as a gift there for the English side. So that is not ideal there. Western Heights as well. Also, I had a few job fizzles out because of COVID. Some people, about their random people in their house. Also, I can't source timber for decks as well. Usually heaps to build before summer. Yeah, at this stage, I believe my dad's having the same problem with trying to get timber kind of for anything at this stage with the big shortage that they have got, but now whipped away to the leg side for just the single once again. Butler back on strike. He has already got himself 1 6 throughout this one, a few 4s as well for that one. But yeah, this stage, I would say that the Wallabies are going to be able to get that one by, did I say 15 or did I say a few more? I'll go by 16. Satner now bowling almost in and onto his stumps once again there, Butler. That's the finish of the over, and he did only go for the 5. And at that one, it must have been 6. Mitchell Satner, so now after his 2 overs, sitting on 15 for none for his statistics. But he was able to get himself 3 wickets, I should say, and at the last fixture that he did have. But anyone who was wondering what the scores in the other games are, 7 overs down at the moment for India versus Australia, 39 for 3 is the total that they are sitting on for Australia's batting. Netherlands at the moment, after 9 overs, are sitting 62 for 2. Namibia are really flying through their overs at the moment, it's fair to say. And also we have the I never get along with Western Heights students as well, says Smithy Toilet. But now it is going to be the tall timber of Kyle Jamieson, who only went for 3 in his first over. Got to play in the IPL this year, which did take place a few of those games in Abu Dhabi when it did get delayed and kind of transferred from India to the UAE. But now running in 7.5 for the run rate at the moment. Ewan Morgan at the moment, he has hit that one straight down to mid-off, almost considered taking the quick single, but decides against it in the end. At this stage, though, I will say Ewan Morgan, he's got a very high bat lift, which does mean that when he swings through, possibly as long as he gets that technique right, that ball is going to fly off that bat, and he will be hoping to possibly be very precise with the placement on the field as well. There's a short boundary out to the offside, I believe it is, for that man at the moment. Also, we have got that Hamish went to high school college pro, as well as with the also we've got the we built a big ass house, 440 square meters. It is a very large one. Morgan just guiding it down to third man for another single for England. So New Zealand at the moment, they've been able to bring back that run rate very nicely from what it started as, because they were sitting on about 41 of 4.1 overs, I believe it was. And it was like 6 months ago. Still can't remember, or still can't get timber weatherboards. So it's still not finished as well. It's getting ridiculous, Hamish. Tell you, old man, he's a legend as well, says Johnny Blaze. Yeah, at the moment, the timber just doesn't seem to be about here. I can't remember what the reasoning is. Is it because of them not being able to ship it kind of over here? Unfortunately, that's going to be whipped away to the leg side, down to fine leg, and once again, another single. So like I mentioned, if New Zealand can keep England to around that 160 or so, I feel like they'll be doing extremely well. 2019 worst year ever as well, says Johnny Blaze, and also that final was mental. And also, I suppose we're not allowed to talk about the 2019 World Cup on this channel. No, I don't mind at all. Definitely not when it is to do with this match between New Zealand and England at the moment. Like, at the end of the day, it went right down to the wire, and I stayed up all night to watch that one as well. And it was just that super over. The super over is something that New Zealand have struggled with. I believe after that game, we had about 4 super overs, and we almost lost all of them, if I'm not wrong. Also, geez, that would have cost a bomb. That is a new section size here in the Tron as well, says Nov Mum. And also we have got the, I was at Lakes Pro. Western Heights was one of the top 3 high school teams in the country at the time, says David there. And also Lakes All Goods, I was going to go there, says Millie Toy. And also, no, good brother, says David. And also, who do you think will make the Wallaby squad? Says Aiden, I assume that is for their starting lineup for the match. I believe they're going Samu Karevi, although I do see Quade Cooper might be unavailable for some of those fixtures. That's going to be hit down once again, too long on. And it was Ewan Morgan who actually advanced there with that one. So they're going to be in this situation at the moment. England, I feel like they can get themselves 170 plus on this pitch. It looks like a nice batting surface. I wanted to go to Hamilton Boys. My mum was living in Hammy at the time, but all the cousins around my age at the school as well, says that Smithy Toilet. Oh, I had all my cousins, sorry. But yeah, at this stage, I believe they'll go once again, of course, Michael Hooper as they're starting, but they'll have to make sure that they muscle up with those big Japanese forwards because they have been building up quite a nice side. They haven't got Marika Koromberi. I believe they'll go Callaway and maybe, I guess they'll go maybe like a Tom Wright or Muirhead maybe. Give him an opportunity since he hasn't had too many so far. Seifert not too happy at the moment with that throw on the deep. I think Japan will beat the Wallabies as well, says Kronis. And also, yeah, the client is a big-time dairy farmer in Taupuri as well. Like, money isn't an issue at all. Keeps us heavy, I suppose, as well. But I was stuck in Vegas with the rotten eggs as well, says Smithy Toilet. And also, there are quite a few large sections in Hamilton with houses being removed and townhouses being put up. Yeah, I think even here at the moment, we've got kind of the subdivision kind of opening up. Like, people are buying bigger sections and then just kind of cutting them into about 6 mini ones. Like, near the golf course has quite a few. Morgan now with almost this golf stride at the ball. It's going to be whipped away to the leg side, and that is going to be the 4 runs. Awkward fall there for one of the Black Caps players trying to cut it off, but that is going to be the end of the 9th over. 69 for 2 at the moment. 44 for Joss Butler. Who was it? It was actually Trent Bolt who was running around the boundary. We'll rate BK channel as Japanese fans as well, says Sebastian. And also we've got there Sir Buck Shelford and Steve McDowell went to Western Heights High School as well, says David. But yeah, this stage the Bunnings NPC is getting closer and closer to the end of the kind of season. It was almost going to be over by now, I believe, if they had it the way that it was originally supposed to. But with those delays, it does mean that the final is going to be in a few more weeks' time, but it's going to be around the same time as the Cricket World Cup final, but we're going to be covering both of them on the channel. So if you guys are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But at this stage now, Morgan off to a little bit of a slow start, but he's building nicely, given the strike to Josh Buttler to be able to possibly work his way towards that 50, as no one was able to for England in that very first match. It was in the end Johnny Bairstow, unfortunately, out on 49. That is the worst feeling to have. Or actually, no, I'll take that back. A golden duck or a royal duck probably makes you feel a bit worse. It's going to be a wide there from Mitch Santner. Tried to just give him the wide one, see if he wanted to have a swing at it there, Buttler, and he does decide against Caleb Ralph. Went to heights, I think he was safe as well. So Smithy and also, yeah, I don't do townhouses as well. Those are an eyesore and a sad, depressing looking things. I don't want our country to end up looking like a slum. So I've never done one as well. It's going to be whipped away to the leg side there, and they're running hard here, England. They will be able to get through, and it will be the 2 runs. Not the best throw either. It was almost a half volley. Santner is looking out at the field and not too happy with that one. Maybe a little bit slow for Sheikh Zayed to get there as well, and BK will be livid as well. Says Johnny Blaze, definitely if Japan were able to beat Australia. But that's the thing. They had a good contest with the British and Irish Lions. They also had a good game up against Ireland. We don't see too much of Japan recently for international fixtures. That was a big big swing from Ewan Morgan. Sorry, it was actually Josh Buttler who did have the big swing there. He was looking for the 50, still sitting on 46 miles all around at the moment between batter and bowler. But if Sheikh Zayed at the other end, if they decide to go to him once again, maybe could be able to pick himself up another wicket. We have got there. If I ever won Powerball, I'll buy a house on the large section, and build a new big one as well. Says Novmum, I believe, if I'm not wrong, the 42.2 million Powerball was won by a single person in New Zealand, which is just a huge amount of money, and they'll be able to do plenty with that, I believe. And I was actually talking to my mum about it the other day, or actually earlier today, and she kind of asked the question of kind of what I would do if I did end up kind of winning Powerball, or if they won Powerball or anything like that, and they were to give me some money. And I said that I feel like I'd still end up doing the exact same thing I'm doing at the moment. I wouldn't stop doing the YouTube side of it, which I feel like is kind of a strange statement, but I feel like I just enjoy doing this so much, and I'll probably just end up upgrading the equipment so that it looks a lot smoother and be able to keep on doing it. Santner now bowling the ball once again. I said Novmum, but that is your name rather than Ferguson, who is out there on the field at the moment. And also we have got there Novmum. I can't believe the pen pushers at Hamilton City Council are happy for townhouses to pollute the Tron. Build one next to their house and see how they feel about it, as well, says Johnny Blaze. But now at this stage, 21 and 21 for Smith and Maxwell. So they're doing quite well to bring it back to a decent position for Australia after the 9.2 overs for them, 54 for 3. And now at this stage, 10 overs down, 72 for 2 at the moment for England as well to close this one out. Although this says 73. So I'm not sure whether or not that is the case. Or maybe, okay, now it's gone back. They gave them an extra run and they took it away from them. But at the moment, I would say it's probably still 50-50 or so in terms of who is going to be able to win this one. We'll actually have a quick look to see exactly what the odds are saying for this fixture at the moment. 55% for England to be able to win it, 45% for New Zealand. So it's still pretty much 50-50 in that regard. But yeah, we'll be excited to see how the next 10 overs goes. And we will have to see exactly how many they get. I feel like they'll still be pushing towards that 170 at least here for England to be able to get a decent chance of winning this game. But Namibia at the moment, they seem like they are trying to slow down the Netherlands, but it's very tough to do. The Netherlands at the moment sitting 72 for 2 after 10.3, so almost exactly the same score as this one as well. We have got there, do you know, Hakunui, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, and Holland Road, several houses being removed and townhouses being put up on Hipfini Terrace as well. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly as well. Decent sections in Tapiri, Narua. It is Narua Whahia. Hopefully I pronounced that one as well. North Waikato as well. And yeah, then they moved to Christchurch as well. We have got there. Will you be commentating Wallabies versus Japan? Says Fishy Boy. I will be indeed, mate. We are going to be doing that game, and also All Blacks versus USA that has taken place at 8:30 on Sunday morning here in New Zealand. We are going to be covering that game on the channel, and also a few of these other fixtures of the Cricket World Cup alongside some other international rugby and Gallagher Premiership. We may even have a stream or two here as well. What's the Aussies looking like as well? Says Aiden. At this stage, they are sitting on 57 for 3 after their 10 over. So they lost all 3 of those wickets in the extremely early stages of their innings. They lost, it was David Warner. Then also out was Aaron Finch, and then there was one other as well who I am trying to think of, it was Mitch Marsh, who did also get out nice in there from Fishy Boy. And yeah, we have got plenty more rugby, plenty more cricket, and maybe, who knows, maybe we could cover a couple other sports eventually on the channel as well. I've really been enjoying the process of kind of doing these live streams, getting to chat to you guys about all things sports at the same time. Johnny Bairstow, they did show that last time England and India in the game a couple of days ago, he was able to get 49 runs, 43 not out for Moeen Ali as well. So at this stage, Jos Buttler, he's sitting on 46 not out. Can he push his way towards the 50? The only 50 in that game between between England and India came for India, and that was Rahul and also Kishan, who was able to get himself the 50s. But now at this stage, Jos Buttler sitting on 46 of 36, going to help in terms of being able to build their way towards that total of 170, 180. Ish Sodhi now being brought back into the bowling attack, though, was able to pick himself up the big wicket of, it was the second wicket. Who was the second wicket? I've forgotten who it was in this one. It was Milan, who did end up going out as well. Do you like Virat Kohli as well, says Danny Lewis? He's a very good player and also just a very good leader. Seems to be, when they're out on the field, he is very aggressive, but as soon as he's off it, he is, is that going to be the wicket for Ish Sodhi? No, just a little bit of an inside edge there, almost able to pick up Ewan Morgan as well. And also 56 for 3. Australia batting 10 overs gone as well, says Victor. They are indeed. And at this stage, Steve Smith and also Glenn Maxwell going to have to try and set themselves for a biggish total. I feel like 160 is probably where Australia need to aim, at least 150, absolute minimum. Ish Sodhi giving that one a little bit of height, whipped away to the leg side. Just going to be down to Kyle Jamieson. 3 men out at the moment on the leg side. And also we have got there the GOAT, says Smithy Toilet, also one of my favourite Crusaders of all time, old Caleb Rickett Ralph as well, says Smithy Toilet there, and also the Firing Indian, says Smithy Toilet there as well. But at this stage, Sodhi actually one of the most economical bowlers for New Zealand. He has been able to pick up the wicket as well, alongside Tim Southee, who did get the golden duck, or the royal duck of it, Jason Roy. Sodhi now once again going to have the dot ball, putting the pressure back on England. They need to try and slow them down near the warm-up match. This is the last match before either of these sides have their first fixture of the Cricket World Cup, I believe. If I'm not wrong, New Zealand's first game is actually going to be up against India, I want to say. So that will be a very tough game for them straight away. Advancing down the wicket there, Jos Buttler able to hit it out to cover, and that is going to be just a single 180 to 200 maybe, says Victor there as well. So England, New Zealand are going to be playing Pakistan as their first fixture, and then a little bit later on the 1st of November is their next one, and that is going to be up against India. So they've got 2 massive fixtures as the first 2 games that they will be playing. England, they are in what will be, that's going to be close. Yes, it is going to be out there. And Ewan Morgan goes for the reverse sweep. I'm telling you now, that is not a smart shot to play in this one, because of the fact that everyone who plays a reverse sweep, they've ended up, unfortunately, did he get the bat on it? Oh, did it hit the gloves? I don't believe so. And now it is going to be Ewan Morgan who will be making his way off the field, unfortunately for him, and that is going to be the 3rd wicket there for England. And we have got there some people call him arrogant as well. Do you think sports players should have likability? Virat Kohli is great, but some people love him, some people don't as well. I think it is one of those ones that a lot of people sometimes mistake his kind of confidence as that kind of arrogant side, because of the fact that, he's just one of those players. He plays with his heart on the sleeve. You can see it in his captaincy that he just absolutely, he loves doing what he's doing to be out there for those games. Tell you what, that's a massive swing there for Maxi. But they are saying there that maybe he did actually end up getting a little bit of bat on that one, Morgan, and Captain Morgan has sunk as well, says Sebastian. Also, not River Road, but Flagstaff Riverside lane. Can see the river as well. And that one, and G1 million for a 800 square meter section on River Road. Geez, that's expensive. And that's the thing. At this stage, some houses, like the land that they're on, is worth more than the house. Just the way that the kind of prices are going in that regard. But at this stage, I will say exactly who England have got as their next few fixtures, I should say. And they are going to have the West Indies as their first one. Then their game after that, like that group is a very tough one to be in. It's West Indies. Then a little bit later on, they are going to have their game up against Australia. It's going to also be a very tough fixture for them. But that Group A is the absolute, I will call it a pool of death, because it has got Australia, England, West Indies, South Africa, probably Sri Lanka, and then Bangladesh could be added in there as well. That's 6 sides that they've got to cut down to only 2 for the semi-final. But now at this stage, Johnny Bairstow was able to get himself 49 in his innings up against India. We want to make it all the way to the 50 today, but at this stage, maybe we'll just end up feeding the strike for Buttler to be able to get 3 more runs for himself. But Sodhi now, this stage, bowling well. It's a nice ball. Once again, a dot ball to finish the over. 1 wicket and 2 runs off that one for Ish Sodhi, currently bowling 2 overs, sitting on 2 for 9. On their Flagstaff, what an ugly area to live as well. Our houses are all the same. The architect just copies and pastes the plans and turns the house directly as well, or direction as well. How are these guys even in a job as well? And Owen Farrell is the same. Some people like him, some people don't. Is he cocky or passionate as well, says Danny Lewis. Yeah, Owen Farrell, unfortunately, it depends on who you talk to for Owen Farrell. I quite enjoy watching him playing because of the fact he is going to be playing for England in the upcoming fixtures. Marcus Smith as well as another 10 that I think a lot of people want to see get a little bit more of an opportunity in the upcoming kind of fixtures. But Owen Farrell, he had a very good game for Saracens where they were able to beat Bath 71 points to 17 and what was just an incredibly impressive game. Daryl Mitchell now is going to have this ball in hand, and it looks like he's going to be holding it cross seam here by the looks of it, with just the way that he is holding that ball. And he is not a spinner, or is he? Is he a spinner? Daryl Mitchell, no, he's medium pace, I believe. We don't really see him bowl too often here, but Daryl Mitchell, this could mean here that Josh Buttler, yeah, it's bowled that one. It's gone straight through the covers, and that is going to bring up the 50 for Josh Buttler, not the ball that Daryl Mitchell would have been after for that very first one, but now well batted by Josh Buttler, able to bring himself up to the 51 off only 39 deliveries, quite a few boundaries, including the 1-6. Happened a little bit earlier on, but Mitchell just getting it on the half volley outside of off stump. And Josh Buttler, he is an experienced batsman, and he will be able to put that one away for the boundaries out. Yeah, we live near the Green Park, or the new Green Park subdivision, where you can hear your neighbour fart as well, says the mum. And also, I like Owen Farrell. He's a true warrior, in my opinion. I'd love to see him get boomfed more often, though. So says Johnny Blaze, that one is going to be turning Buttler back around. But at this stage, very good innings from Josh Buttler there. And also we've got there heaps of Hamilton talk about, heaps of Hamilton talk from Dunsdale as well, enjoying the tour as well. And they're from Liquid Images in Zealand. Also, we have got there, he could be a bit cocky at times, but I'm telling you, as a Harlequins fan, there's no one I would trust more to put the ball between the sticks as well. Yeah, very consistent with his goal kicking. Oh, it's an edge on the outside there, and that's going to be rolling away to the boundary. Or is it? Oh, it was a good chase in the end, but it is going to be going to the boundary, and that is going to be 2 boundaries so far off this over of Daryl Mitchell, and he's only been going for 3 balls so far. So a risky choice of going with the 6 bowler of Daryl Mitchell, maybe just testing it out though, see whether or not he's got an opportunity of being able to have a few in the actual Cricket World Cup that is starting up in only a few days' time. We have got there Josh Buttler, half century. He did get it indeed. Very well batted by that man. He's up to 55 runs now, and he is pushing his way perhaps towards the 100, which I don't believe he has had in T20 cricket. They are going to be running the single, and that now means that it is going to be Johnny Bairstow who will be getting the strike right here. We have got there Green Hill Park even, as well, says Number. And also, yeah, I don't like that Number. House is all packed in like sardines, not right. What happened to the Kiwis quarter acre section as well? Kids need space to play. It's all about dollars now, says Johnny Blaze. Yeah, we're very lucky. We've kind of, in our small town, I believe the house prices are almost one of the lowest in the country, and sometimes you do get yourself a nice little back. Because of the fact we've actually been very lucky with the section that we're on, because we have got kind of that area for a cricket pitch, kind of lengthwise, which does mean you can play a little bit of backyard cricket, a little bit of rugby as well. That was a slow ball from Daryl Mitchell there, and it is just going to be the dot ball. Bairstow on the strike at the moment. That's the end. Oh, sorry, that's one more ball. The commentator was trying to confuse me there at this stage. New Zealand squad for this ICC Cricket World Cup tournament, it is going to be Williamson, Conway, Guptill, Chapman, Mitchell, Neesham, Satner, Phillips, who will be the wicket-keeping option, Seifert, who is also wicket-keeping option, Astle, Sodhi, Jameson, Ferguson, Bolt, and Southey. Going to be decently bowled there for Daryl Mitchell, closing out his over, only going for the 9 runs, which isn't completely too bad because of the fact that he did go for 8 runs in just the first 3 balls of the spell as well. We have got there, if the All Blacks and England rugby played a cricket game, who would win as well, and who do you think would be the star for each team, says Danny Lewis? Oh, it's a good question, but in New Zealand, we actually end up having it's called the Black Clash, and it's pretty much team cricket versus team rugby. So I've gotten to see a couple of the All Blacks actually pick up the bat and ball in that regard. So I'd say Will Jordan, he's very good at rugby, but he's also got a very good bit of skill with the bat. And also Geordie Barrett is another one for New Zealand that I will watch out for. I haven't really seen any of the English guys playing cricket, so I'm not too sure about their ability, but I'd say I'll go New Zealand purely because of the fact that I have seen a couple of them play and they're not too bad. They were able to hit a few of those ex-cricketers to the boundary quite a few times there. Black Caps will win this as well, says Arian. And yeah, at this stage, do let me know how many runs you think England will have after their 20 overs. We've already been going for 12. It's going to be now Todd Astle, who will be getting the opportunity here. 5 matches played, 7 wickets. Best is 4 for 13 as well. He only got the 1 over, but he might be getting a couple more in this one as well. We have got there, Sammy has said Varun Chikaworthy, I feel like I pronounced that correctly, as mystery bowler and will be surprise package. Everyone will be in trouble facing him as well, says Sammy. So yeah, it will be very exciting to see all the fixtures that are coming up for any of these sides. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier on, England's first couple of games that they are going to be playing is the West Indies, and then I believe they are versing B2, I believe is the one. Still now advancing down the ground. Josh Buttler sees the space and hits it out through cover for the 4. Once again, very nicely played by Josh Buttler. Nathan Estel as well, says to me. And also we have got there, do you think Australia will beat India tonight? Says Aiden. They've just actually lost the wicket of Glenn Maxwell pretty much as we speak. So I'm going to say I think India are winning that game. I think it's going to be a decent game, but I think India, because of the fact that Australia have got such a strong batting lineup. They've got Zampa and also Kane Richardson, I think, will be their 2 key bowlers. Dragged down there by Astle and straight away through that gap once again, and that's going to be Josh Buttler. He is on fire at the moment. 64 off 45, ramping it up now as well. We have got there. You can check out after live, Hamish, the England Cricket Tour in the West Indies, 50-minute highlights for each game on the Windies channel, says Sebastian. So that is pretty awesome that they are willing to give like that many highlights for those fixtures as well. And also we have got there, Joe Marler is a great cricketer, says Danny Lewis. He's great at interviews, great at rugby, so I'm sure he would be decent at cricket as well. I feel like he'd be very good at chirping. Like you put him in the slips and he would just constantly talk to the batsman and probably make them break character and just end up laughing the whole time as well. We have got there in there. And what is with these 2-car garages where the cars park one in front of each other? Like why as well, says Not Mum. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense. Because of the fact that it just becomes an extra chore of having to move one of those cars so that you can get your other one out. But at this stage now, Astle, he has started in a similar way to Daryl Mitchell, going for a few boundaries. That's going to be whipped away to the league side by Johnny Bairstow, getting his first run in this match. So far, I imagine Brodie Retallick playing cricket as well, says Danny Lewis. You'd certainly need a long bat for that man to be able to get down to his toes. But I guess they made one for Kyle Jamieson. So, yeah, I guess Brodie Retallick could be worth a crack as well there. Do you follow WBBL? I have been watching a few of the games. I've been keeping up to date with the fixtures, but I haven't been able to watch all of them so far. But we are going to be doing the KFC Big Bash, the men's competition on the channel. So anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is hugely appreciated. All the support you guys have been showing on these cricket live streams. And imagine Carl Tornuki Afi playing cricket, says Sebastian. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to see it because of the fact that Team Rugby will need a team of 11 players at least. And they have got Will Jordan, they've got Geordie Barrett, and I believe they've also got Richie McCaw possibly coming back. Kieran Reid is actually going to be picking up the bat and having a go as well. There is still Stoinis as well, says Aiden, and that is true. At the moment, they're sitting, or it is actually Virat Kohli who is going to be bowling to Stoinis, but they've got such a strong batting lineup. But then also Stoinis bowls, which I believe is what you are getting at for that part. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough game for both sides. But India, with that momentum of beating England last week, I feel like that might be the case of them deciding that maybe if they can keep Australia to less than 160, I'll say India will win. But if Australia can get over 160, I think it will be a little bit closer in that regard. And also we have got there, into there, we have another 4 or 5 years on our mortgage. Any place we move to must have fibre, and I still want to be close to the shops as well, says Novmum. Yeah, I believe we're actually getting fibre in our small town, which is something that, like my internet, as some of you guys know, I have to reset my modem about 7 times just to live stream. Sodhi there gives a little bit of whip there. What a shot. Oh, it's not going to be taken on the boundary there. And that sounded like it was a very tough one for Mitch Santner, just smacked into the hands. That's going to be a 6. Josh Buttler winding up to 72 now from 48. Match 6s, we've had 2 so far, and Josh Buttler has been in charge of both of those ones as well. India trying their options for 6 bowler and Kohli if Pandya was dropped because of his form as well, says Samay. So it is very smart in that regard. Oh, Santner, I believe that really would have hurt the hands as it went flying past. And it is actually a spinning hand, unfortunately, for him if they do end up in that situation of him being injured. We have got there. But going back to that kind of trying out the sixth bowler, I believe that's similar to what New Zealand were doing for Daryl Mitchell, just seeing whether or not he would be an option in the future. But Sodhi, once again, advancing there was Josh Butler just hitting it down the ground for the single down to long off. But at the moment, it seems like England are going to really set themselves for a probably storming few overs at the end of this innings. And Marco Vunipola playing cricket as well, says Smithy Toilet. I feel like he'd probably be relatively decent. Like some of these guys who play rugby, they have got very good hand-eye coordination. So some of them maybe even played cricket. I know that as an example, Lachlan Bouchier's brother, Kalen Bouchier, he was actually right on the verge of either choosing professional cricket or professional rugby. And he went down the ranking he went down the path of professional rugby instead. And we have got the excuse me as well into there. And also we have got there into the chat as well. Josh Butler is not getting tired of this game. Will he stick around for the century as well, says Sebastian. I feel like the way that he's striking it at the moment, Butler, the only player or the only person who can get Josh Butler out here is probably himself. The way that he is going, he's just trying to reverse sweep. He almost ended up edging it straight into the hands of Seifert. So yeah, he's got to be careful there, Josh Butler. He's been playing very good orthodox shots. He doesn't need to go unorthodox now. Just hit that one out through cover, possibly could have been the option for that one. I think you Hoodie is missing tightening string as well, says Danny. It is indeed pretty much. One of them was about way down here, and then I ended up I believe it was when it was about to be washed. We just ended up taking it out, advancing there. Josh Butler hasn't got it, and that's going to be the wicket. And he is going to be on his way, unfortunately, Josh Butler. That is the end of his innings. And Ish Sodhi going to pick himself up another wicket now. And that is going to be 3. And Josh Butler, he is disappointed. My crush, Smiti Montana, as well. She lives in the city as well, says the man. Also, we have got there, hey, did you see my crushes? Says Aiden. I did not, Aiden. Do let me know. A little bit earlier on. There we go. My biggest crush is Elise Berry, Sophie Molyneux, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, Darcy Brown, Maitland Brown, and Stella Campbell, Kim Garth, as well, says Aiden. I think I've only heard of Elise Perry out of that list, which I feel like isn't that kind of, maybe I'm uncultured in that regard of the kind of crushes department. And also we've got there, who's winning? Don't understand the game that much as well, says Millie Toilet. So pretty much England have been doing decently in the early stages of this one. And what I can do is I can scroll down a little bit, and this kind of tells you the live win probability. So England at the moment, they're saying, have just got that little bit more of an edge over New Zealand at this stage of the game. 56% likeliness of them being able to win it. But it looks like England actually going to be bringing in a new batsman to get himself the opportunity here. And I will quickly, I believe it's Liam Livingston who is making his way to the crease. Yes, it is. I remember for the Perth Scorchers, he had a very good season for the IPL, but then he also ended up being the one player who got hit in the box twice in a row as well, unfortunately for him. And also we have got there, not dating anyone again, as well as says Billy Toilet. No, I am single as a Pringle, other than the fact that Pringles come in boxes of about 100. So I do not have 100 girlfriends, I guess. And I drink them on Black Caps as well, says Billy Toilet. Also getting awesome innings for Butler as well. Literally less than a minute from when I praised him as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, it was terrible timing in some regards, I guess you could say, in terms of the fact that you had just said, is he getting himself the 100? I agreed, though. I said that he was getting it. And now Sodhi has been put away down the ground, and it is just going to be the single to get him underway. Liam Livingston, he is going to be able to have the strike for the next over here as well. 103 for 4 after 14, 6 overs to go here. And Ishan Kishan wicket keeping instead of Rishabh Pant. Nobody's spot is fixed in the team. And that's the thing. India have got such great depth in their squad. Like they've got 15 players or so, but all of those players could easily kind of get switched out for these guys who are just waiting in the wings for their opportunity. And yeah, hopefully we do get to see some very good cricket being played by India. I believe they will be close to the favourites heading into this one. I believe they are ranked 2 in the world for T20. England are actually ranked first, but if they win both of their warm-up games, India, I would say that they are probably the favourites going into the later stages as well. And I do see that they've got a T20 series up against New Zealand, which is going to be pretty awesome to see straight after the World Cup, only about 3 days later after the final. But Glenn Phillips is actually going to be the man who will be bowling now. So New Zealand really trying everything in these warm-up games to see how it goes. Dear God, please let the New Zealand bowlers bowl Johnny Bairstow out. Amen as well. says it is David Davenhorst. Where's Australia ranked? Says 8 I believe they are around 7th or somewhere around there. Do you do any podcasts? Says Danny Lewis. I have got a rugby podcast, but not a cricket podcast. The rugby one is called the Rugby Down Under podcast, where we pretty much talk about all the international rugby teams and fixtures. Oh, he's bowled him there. And unfortunately, Liam Livingstone going to be on his way. And it is the part-timer, Glenn Phillips, for his bowling, who has been able to bowl him. Put it on the stumps as well. They are teammates in the IPL, and that one quicker and straighter there. And he tried to ramp it there, Liam Livingstone, rather than just hitting that one down the ground or somewhere else. And it does now mean that Liam Livingstone out for the one run off just the two. No Ben Stokes, no Jofra Archer for England. England will miss them badly as well, says somebody. Yeah, not having Ben Stokes, he is a match winner as well. So it is going to be one of those ones that they will be sorely missing him for this one. Jofra Archer for his pace as well would be important throughout this tournament. But then in that, the pacey, it seems to be the spinners are getting a lot more purchase at the moment. So possibly that is why they have decided to go with so many spinners throughout this one as well. I believe for England, though, it's Moeen Ali. Liam Livingstone does a little bit of spin, and he's actually pretty decent at it, even though he is only part-time for that one as well. We have got there no Ben Stokes. I read that one, and also India should have depth. There's 1.7 billion of them as well, says David. And also we have got there, you didn't count the ones at all. And also Ben Stokes is from New Zealand, right, as well, says Danny Lewis. He was born in New Zealand. But yeah, this stage he represents England. All right, we've got a few, I guess. Have we got any South African borns? I know that we've got about 5 different guys for the Black Caps who have a South African accent, but I'm not too sure whether they were born in New Zealand or South Africa for that one. Livingstone and Roy should have shared that joint before the game. Shouldn't have shared that joint before the game as well, says Sebastian. And also there's a million South Africans in the Browns Bravo as well. But just straight down the ground for Josh Butler ended up going out, caught by Jameson and then Glenn Phillips. So I would get just that little tiny bit of turn that did end up cleaning up the stumps of it, Liam Livingstone. So at the moment, England need to be a little bit careful. 2 unset batsmen at the crease here. Sam Billings is going to be now at the crease. Oh, it's well bowled by Phillips as well. It is going to be the single down the ground, though. And it does get him off the mark there. Bairstow sitting on 2 from 5 so far. He was able to get 49, like I mentioned, in that very first match of the preseason / warm-up games that we have seen as well. But I will mention, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to like, also subscribe, because we are going to be covering plenty more of the Cricket World Cup, including all of the semi-final, all of the final, and all of the other fixtures that we can fit in to our schedule. Even though the games are on at 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., we will still be up as well. And also we have got there, what do you think of poaching of rugby players, buyback internationals as well, says Danny Lewis. I know that a lot more of it is going on at the moment. Oh, that was close. But it's going to be the dot ball for Phillips just outside of the off stump. But yeah, there are a lot of players who have kind of that, I guess you could almost call it dual citizenship, in regards of they've got about 2 or 3 teams that they could pick for them to be able to play for. And I guess it just comes down to who is offering the better deal or who they want to play for the most as well. Morning all, says Shane as well. Welcome in to the live stream. I just ended up poking myself in the eye. That was slightly unfortunate. And a good on you, Blaze, as well, says that Victor. And also we have got there, it's been 3 weeks without joints. Very, very sad time for me. I will start again in Xmas. Fingers crossed I'll last as well, says that Johnny Blaze. And I guess it is almost coming up to that stage of New Year's resolutions in terms of what everyone is going to be making. I know that normally it's diet, exercise, and that kind of thing for a lot of people. So do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, have you guys got your New Year's resolutions already kind of worked out for what you want to kind of achieve next year, as we are getting very close to 2022? And it should be an interesting year. We've got so much sport happening as well. We've got the Rugby League World Cup. We've got the Rugby Women's World Cup as well. Another Cricket World Cup, I believe it is the women's, that has taken place. The Sevens World Cup for rugby, and just everything along the lines of Commonwealth Games as well is another big one that will be happening in 2022. FIFA World Cup as well. Everything's happening at the moment in the world of sport. But now at this stage, whipped away to the league side, it's just going to be the single. So a decent first over for Glenn Phillips. Only going for the 6 runs, getting the 1 wicket, the big wicket as well of Liam Livingstone. And now Bairstow and Billings are going to be the men who are set at the crease. At the moment in the game between Australia and India as well, they are sitting 14.5 overs down, and it is going to be 93 for 4 at the moment for Australia. So they've been able to come back quite nicely, but the run rate of 6.27, I believe they'll have to increase that to around that probably 6, or I'm going to say 7.5, and get to that 150 if they do want a chance of being able to take down India, unless, of course, it is just a batting surface that hasn't got as much in it for the batters as it does for the bowlers. But at the moment, it's going to be Thakur who has got the final ball of his second over. But Sodhi now, he has already been able to pick himself up 3 wickets on this pitch. It's his final over as well. Whipped away to the leg side just for the single once again, down to Satner in the deep. We have there. Wouldn't Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga be a great side if they hadn't, if they played for their countries, e.g. Moonga for Tonga, as well, says Danny Lewis. Yeah, they'd have a very strong side. I know that Malakai Fekitoa was very recently, he was actually going to be playing for Tonga due to the fact that he qualified through the sevens, I believe it was. So it is going to be unfortunate for the man that he did end up with the injury. Advancing there is Shodhi. Once again, going to have the once again, going to have the dot ball. Bowling very nicely for a spell so far. I got vaccine. Where's Rugby League World Cup being held? Says Shane. I believe it's in Birmingham, England. But I could have the wrong location there. But I believe it was in England, unless it's the Commonwealth Games. But it is in England nonetheless, Shane, for where it is going to be. Sodhi now, once again advancing to him. It was Billings. He has whipped it away to the leg side just for the single once again. So if Sodhi can get out of this over without any boundaries, would be doing very nice indeed. Diet exercise mine. Don't be racist. Be respectful to pregnant ladies and never hire an electrician with no eyebrows as well, says Sebastian. And also New Year's resolutions. I think I need to not be so emotionally attached to the All Blacks. I still get upset thinking about the 2019 semi-final. That is a big hit right there, and that's gone all the way for 6. So that has gotten rid of the chance of getting out of that one without any of the without any of the boundaries. And also we have got there Moanga is Tongan heritage, and McCaw has Scottish heritage as well. And Varan Chikaruevi bowling right now. Chick is bowling as well, says Samay. Right, I am about to see it as well. He's only played 3 matches, 2 wickets with the ball in hand, but his best is 1 for 18. So I will be keeping an eye on that one as well. And also we have got there Richie Moanga would be a waste in the Tongan side, bro. And also who's in the England team as well, says Shane. Is that for the rugby league or for the cricket? Shane, do let me know. But at this stage now, Sodhi once again getting away with the dot ball. So now if this one can be a dot or a single, that would be a very good close to his very decent spell as well. Getting himself 3 wickets so far is Sodhi. At the moment, Bairstow and Billings at the crease. And then also they've lost a few wickets so far. Joss Butler, also Ewan Morgan out as well. Cricket, says Shane. So yeah, they've lost Morgan, also Butler. Sodhi just bowling a little bit wide, and it's going to be once again a ball, but very good spell there for Ish Sodhi. 3 for 26 off his 4 overs, and now 117 for 5. England are sitting after their 16 as well. So they have got for this matchup. I will quickly see whether or not my application is going to tell me the right names. It was actually telling me lies yesterday in terms of the exact kind of players who we're playing. But so far they have lost the wickets of Bairstow, also Billing, are still at the crease, so they are going to be out there at the moment. Butler, Morgan, Roy, and then there was also a couple other wickets. I will quickly get them up. Actually, while we have got a little bit of a stoppage in play, while Satner is getting set, I can actually scroll down so you guys can see the scorecard. So Jason Roy out for a royal duck for this one. Joss Butler getting 73 off 51. Milan off to a little bit of a slower start, 11 off 15. Ewan Morgan 10 off 11. Then Johnny Bairstow, Liam Livingston are both out there at the moment. They've got Sam Billings as the option, and then yet to bat, they have got all of these guys as their options. Because of the fact it is a warm-up game, you don't actually have to use kind of the same players, if that makes sense. It's kind of a weird process, but they can actually afford kind of mix and match, I guess you could say, for England as well. But now at this stage, it is going to be Satner once again. The ball in hand, whipped away to the leg side, and it looks like they are running hard here to try and get themselves 2, but they will not be able to get back. And it is once again just a single. Very nicely done by the Black Caps here to really slow down that run rate. The run rate at the moment, 7.3 for England in this one. We have got, what is your name, by the way, as well? It is Hamish as well. You actually worked it out before I ended up telling you as well. And also we've got the Hamish heritage appearance from as well, says Danny. I want to say I've got Scottish heritage, but I think that is the case, yeah, because of the fact that with my name Hamish as well, I want to say. Hopefully I am right in that regard. And wins New Zealand's first cup game as well, says Shane. So if we are looking at the domestic competition, or are we talking World Cup game, Shane? Because if it is the Cricket World Cup game, they have got their first match, and it is going to be up against Pakistan. It is in the middle of the night, and it is going to be a very interesting fixture, and that is going to be taking place on, I am quickly going to get it up, Satner. once again going to be swept away, and that's going to be very nicely done by Bairstow, finding the boundary for the first time in his innings, and it is very nicely done indeed. I actually had a 6 earlier on, so I will take that one back, but it was in the total of Pakistan versus New Zealand, 3 a.m. on Wednesday, the 27th of October here in New Zealand as well. We have got there in the chat as well. Hi, Hamish. Enjoying your commentary from Devon, England as well. I just wanted to let you know that Ewan Morgan seems to pronounce his name Owen as well, says Charlotte. So I do apologize about that pronunciation in advance, and I will be working on it. That's going to be very close to out. No, Mitchell Satner asking the question to the umpire, saying whether or not that should have been out, but I will pronounce it as Owen, sorry. So I do apologize for that in advance of World Cup, bro, as well, says Shane. So yeah, at this stage it is Pakistan versus New Zealand on the 27th of October, and that's the 3 a.m. game. Then the next game for us is going to be up against India on the 1st of November. That's a nice shot, lobbed over the top, and that one is going close to the boundary, but it's going to be taken nicely in the deep by Phillips, and that is just going to be the 2. So at the moment, Satner at this stage, only the 1 ball left of his spell. Hasn't been able to pick up any wickets so far, but he is going to be sitting in the situation of, at worst, you'd think he's going to be going for 33. That is if a 6 is coming as well. Australia is screwed. Just saying, Hamish as well, says Aiden. Yeah, at the moment, they really need to get that strike rate going. That could be a 6 there. And it's going out. Oh, Phillip, he really struggled to try and run around there to get that one, but it is going to be another 2 to end Satner's spell. However, ended up going for 11, unfortunately, for the man. It's got there. England versus New Zealand are quite close in cricket as well, says Shane. Yeah, going right back to that 2019 Cricket World Cup final when it was just, it was so very, very close for that matchup as well. Was it 2019 or 2020? I believe it was 2019, the 50 over one as well. And also we've got their crowds in this game. It doesn't look like they've got many people watching this one, unfortunately, but I believe there will be a game that has taken place at this ground straight after, and it might be actually the game between Sri Lanka and Ireland might be taking place at this fixture or in kind of this ground as well in Abu Dhabi. We've got the Amapral Mari as well. Says Smithy, also we've got that we will be lucky to make 130. Says Aiden, yeah, at this stage they are struggling a bit, but Steve Smith's still at the crease, 41 from 38. He needs to make sure that he keeps on ramping it up here. My heritage is Hungarian as well. Lots of relatives in Hungary, says Sebastian there as well. And my heritage is Maori and Scottish. I'm a hardy New Zealander. I love our country. I wish they wouldn't allow any more people here. Is that bad for me to say as well, says Johnny Blaze. I don't know. I feel like I can't read it out on the live stream, possibly, depending on. But at this stage, I believe our population is slowly kind of increasing. Got ourselves up to almost, is it 5 million at the moment? That's a beautiful shot there from Steve Smith, straight back over the head of Thakur, and he's been able to make it to the, he's been able to make it to the boundary once again. Hungarian woman, a mighty fine as well, says Johnny Blaze. At this stage, it is going to be for Southey. It's actually picked up the wicket. I wasn't even watching. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't a wicket. It was actually the first ball of the innings that they were showing. He had a wide. It's a big swing from Billings. They are appealing there, saying that there was a little edge there, but the umpires have none of it as well. European women are hot, bro. But Mrs. was from Finland as well, says Smithy Toilet, and are Australian playing as well, says Shane. They are indeed. At the moment, they are versing India. Steve Smith at the crease, trying to make his way towards the 50, and now he's going to be sitting on 49, really speeding it up for them. But at this stage, 16.5 overs gone. Australia sitting 116 for 4 at the moment. Scandinavia as well, says Smithy Toilet. Also, we have got there, yes, they are, Johnny 10 out of 10. And there from Sebastian there. And at this stage, it's going to be, once again, Tim Southey. It's another slower ball. Billings is trying to throw the kitchen sink at this one. He hasn't missed it once again for the man, unfortunately. And it does mean that it is once again going to be another dot ball. So Southey had the first ball as a wide. Now in his last spell for the match up against New Zealand and Australia, his last ball went for 6. So we have to make sure that he doesn't have that, but he is going to be more than likely bowling the second last over of this game as well. We have got there, Hamish, do you have a girlfriend? Says Danny Lewis. I do not. I hardly actually leave the house with kind of the random hours that I do my live streams because of the fact that this one's going to be finishing at 2:30 a.m., but that's actually going to be a decent time compared to some of the fixtures that we do on the channel. They're going to be running the 2, and Billings able to get back there. And now at this stage, it's going to be Southey with 3 balls left of this over. Like I mentioned, he's got one more. They haven't bowled Kyle Jamieson out yet. So I believe that he will be another option that they use a little bit later on as possibly a later kind of death bowler, I guess you could say, for the actual fixtures, depending on how he goes. And we have got there, have we ever had someone with Viking blood in the chat? Unfortunately, rugby and cricket are not popular in Nordic countries, says Sebastian. I don't believe so. I don't think we've ever had someone from Iceland or Norway or kind of anywhere along there. I think we've had someone from Sweden for kind of that European region. It's going to be Guptill once again throwing the ball in for just a single. And at this stage now, Southey will be hoping to keep them below 160 here for the Black Caps if they want any chance of being able to win this one as well. When was your last relationship? Says Danny Lewis. Oh, that's a good question. I feel like, to be honest, it was probably like year 8 or 9 at high school. It's been a wee while. Probably a little bit rusty in that regard for talking to people outside of my lounge. But yeah, it's got there. Be a good game. Aussie versus India. Well, indeed. Oh, it's a full toss there from Tim Southey. And it's not going to be called. Yeah, and Johnny Bairstow there has just said that's a no ball. So now at this stage, Johnny Bairstow is not happy. Him and Sally are exchanging words at the moment. And he can't believe it, Johnny Bairstow. Slipped out of the hand. I think it's very close to the no ball there. And also, who is our New Zealand team, bro? Any changes? Says Shane. Oh, and Johnny Bairstow absolutely smacking the bat on the ground at the moment. He is an angry man. But that now means that more than likely he nearly broke the bat on the pitch, the commentators are saying. And he's just absolutely whacked him. And Southey has gone for the 6 of the last ball of the over as well. Johnny Bairstow fired up at the moment for the later stages. And he is still not happy, Johnny Bairstow, for that one as well. And we also got there. This is Finn and McCarthy as well. Welcome in to the live stream once again, Finn. And I see you have changed your name as well. But yeah, it's got there. Such a good game so far. Maybe a close finish as well. Yeah, Johnny Bairstow will be very happy to have hit that 1 for 6. And I believe the words may still be exchanged between Bairstow and also Southey there. And he is just showing the mark to the umpire, saying that it did hit him above the waist. And he is still asking the question to the umpire as well. He can't believe it at the moment. And also we've got there, where is the Balkan brother as well? Greece, says Sebastian. And also we've got there Gisborne, Maya, Ming Foon, fluent in Te Reo as well, says Jennifer Blaze. And also we've got there, what happened to the bro Tesla? I believe he is still about. It is just he doesn't really watch too much cricket. I don't believe it. Are you on Twitch? Says Danny Lewis. I don't actually have a Twitch, but we do have the Kiwi Lad Gaming channel, which is one of our other channels that we have got. And it is the pinned comment. The second link does take you to the Kiwi Lads Gaming channel, where we have been playing pretty much any games such as a Far Cry 6 or a GTA 5 and those kind of ones as well. I like India to beat Australia as well, says Shane. I guess it's one of those ones that if they do end up losing this game, Australia, then they will be more fired up for that group stage, because they have got in their pool Australia, England, South Africa, West Indies, probably Sri Lanka, and then maybe Bangladesh as well. So that's going to be a very tough pool to get out of, which is why Australia will need to be informed. But Steve Smith at the moment, 51 runs off 41 balls. He's been able to work his way towards that half century. And yeah, we will have to wait and see whether or not he can have a good last few overs. Stoinis looking like he's going to be striking the ball quite nicely as well. Just throwing it out through cover for the 4. But Jameson now bowling for the Black Caps once again. It's a ramp shot, and it is going to be Billings who has been able to get it all the way to the boundary with the ramp for 4. And now at this stage, England are pushing their way towards that 160, maybe even 170 if they keep going at the moment. Who's your favourite player in this game, says Finnan. I believe Kane Williamson will be batting, and I feel like he's a very good one to watch just because of the fact that he seems to be just as if he's got all the time in the world while he is batting. And I feel like he will be able to maybe get himself a decent score in this one as well. And also we've got there, sadly, I'm not fluent in Te Reo, but I'm able to form a lot of sentences with the words I know. As well, says Smithy Toilet, we actually did a term of Māori. And, that's a big shot from Billings. That one's going to be gone. And that is another 6. And England at the moment working their way maybe even higher than that 170 we will find and see. Yeah, this stage, Sam Billings striking it nicely. He hasn't really hit the ball too well up till this point, but now he's really starting to find a little bit of momentum there going as well. Have you been to any live games as well, says Shane? I believe the last cricket match that I did go to was last cricket match. I think it was actually the Boxing Day test about 2 or 3 years ago. It was the Black Caps taking on Australia in Melbourne. That is one of the only fixtures that I have been to for a cricket game. I don't think I've ever been to a KFC Big Bash game, though, which is something that I really like to tick off the bucket list at some stage as well. They've been there a few times. Actually, favourite holiday destination is Greece as well, says Sebastian there. And also we have got that you should do a post-match commentary of games and give us your thoughts on the game as well, says Danny Lewis. I have considered kind of doing a post-match review and kind of like a preview of some games as well. So maybe I could look at doing that for a few of the later games of the kind of Cricket World Cup, I guess you could say as well. But we do normally look through the scorecards and everything straight after these matches are over as well. He's done a few post-match reviews of the Rugby Championship games, says Sebastian. Also, we have got there. I got to go now. See you next time, says Finn, and we will see you later on, mate. At this stage now, Jameson, I think that ball has been lost, unfortunately, for them. We always got it there. I never bothered to practice Te Reo. Now I regret it as well, says Smithy Toilet. Yeah, I believe I know 2 or 3 sentences, which is Homa e rima kotahi kono kata kata, which means high five, just kidding, because of course that is an important sentence. And then also kake te koe I tira wiki, which is see you next week as well. I've always wanted to go to the MCG as well, says Shane. It is very awesome. Like the music, even just the music playing with the bass of the stadium was just something that I will certainly never forget. But that one as well, me too. I ignored my mother's teachings and I wanted to be a gangster when I was young. One of my day as well, says Johnny Blaze. Jameson once again going in. Billings, it's an awkward one. Oh, it's being put down though, unfortunately, off the glove. Would have been Billings. It would have been on his way, but unfortunately just juggled by Seifert behind the stumps. I think he was expecting it to carry just a little bit more than it did, or something along those lines for Seifert. He had it in his hand, but unfortunately just ended up putting it down. Just kind of popped in, popped out. And now because of it, it does mean that Billings is still at the crease with more of an opportunity. But something else that was important in that ball is the fact that it was a dot ball. And now at this stage, it is going to be once again another opportunity for Johnny Bairstow and Sam Billings. Try and build that partnership towards the 50. Jameson now, it's a bit wide, and it is going to be called a wide as well now. This stage, trying to use a little bit wider, a little bit more of the pitch, I should say. But at this stage, 18 overs gone in the game between India and Australia. They're sitting on 131 for 4. It was actually a very good over for Steve Smith here, up against Vishneshwar. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly as well. Is baseball more popular than cricket overall, says Danny Lewis. I don't think so. I think baseball is more of the kind of USA and a couple other countries, whereas for cricket, you've got India, New Zealand, England, South Africa, Australia, and kind of the Caribbean region as well. So I feel like it is one of those ones that I think cricket is more popular than baseball, but then, of course, football is probably, it's actually a good question. Is football or cricket more popular? I believe football is. But I feel like cricket's relatively up there as well. That's a beautiful shot there from Billings, being able to hit it over the outfield. And that is going to be once again another force of Jameson at the moment, getting knocked around a little bit. 15 off the first 4 balls of his over. And also, Hamish, no lie, I was a naughty wannabe idiot when I was a teenager. I got into heaps of trouble. I thought I was a gangster when in reality I was a moron as well, says Joey Blaze. It was a hard cuzzy. I regret not learning it. Mum always used to try teaching me as well. My older brother can speak fluently, says the Smithy Toilet. The stage, last 12 balls, 25 runs for England. They are really ramping it up. And now at this stage, they're on 153 for 5 with 1 over left. They could actually push their way towards 180 here by the looks of it. My favourite Australian players were Adam Gilchrist and Shane Warne and Brett Lee. So some very good players there. Shane Warne, king of the leg spin. That's going to be, by the looks of it, another 4. Not getting the Yorker right there, Kyle Jameson. And now because of it, it does mean from the last 12 balls, 28 runs. And now that brings Jameson's over so far up to 19 with still 1 or 2 balls to go. Trust me, at different times, it's becomes ridiculously difficult to balance 3 languages. Can't remember a word in the language you need, but in another, and it's annoying for me. It's Romanian, Hungarian, and English as well, says Sebastian there. But yeah, also Brett Lee for Shane as one of his favourite players. Very, very solid cricketer with the bowling. And Freddie Funtiff was as well, says Danny Lewis. Now, he's got that one almost right, Gold Jameson. It's going to be hit down the ground, and that is just going to be the single. 20 off that over, and now 158 for 5 is what they are sitting on with 1 over left here for England. So they are looking to really up their run rate, close out the game. They've got wickets in hand. They can go for it in this final over, and I believe more than likely it will be Tim Southey, and the partnership has just been brought up 55 from 35 balls. So they are doing very nicely indeed, working their way towards a decent score here to put the Black Caps under pressure at the moment. Marcus Stoinis, last 10 balls, he has got 35 runs off 20 at the moment, and he has been really ramping it up for Australia. So they are trying to build their way towards that kind of 160, 170 mark as well. And also we have got that Freddie Flintoff is great too. He hosts Top Gear now as well, and I want to learn Gaelic. That'll be mean as well. And what game or rugby games coming up for you this weekend? Any NBC, says Shane. We have got the game between Otago and Canterbury on Friday night at 7:05. And then I am very disappointed because of the fact that the game between Japan and Australia is actually taking place at the same time as the Ranfurly Shield Challenge between Waikato and Hawke's Bay. So it does mean that I will have to miss out on that one to kind of do the international. But other than that, I want to say that we might have an earlier Saturday game as well. Maybe Taranaki versus Manawatu at 2:05. We won't be covering the friendly game between Wellington and Southland, though. So it will be between those two, Manawatu and Taranaki, and then also Otago Canterbury are the two that we are looking at as well. And we have got there. I would like to learn how to do Māori carvings. Smithy, the fellow I score off, he's a Rasta fella who has cones and then carves wicked Māori designs on Totoro wood as well. I would love to learn, or I would love to learn mate, as well. Says that Johnny Blaze there, but at this stage now, Billings at this stage, dot ball for Lockie Ferguson. So because of it, they have decided to go with him as the final over, which does make sense because of the fact that at this stage, a lot of other bowlers have gone for a lot of runs. Kyle Jamieson, Billings at the moment sitting 25, 3 4s, 1 6. They're going very well at the early stages as well. Same Cuzzy would love to learn as well, says Smithy Toilet. Now, at this stage, Bairstow going to be on strike, and he is absolutely smacking the pitch at the moment. He wants to whack this one for 6. It's a good bouncer from Ferguson, and he does get him out there. Slower delivery, and Bairstow is going to be on his way, and that is going to be the wicket for the Black Caps. So at this stage, Ferguson, first wicket back since getting back into the side. 2 overs bowled so far, and just a little ramp there from Johnny Bairstow. Didn't get a lot of it. Tried to almost... without the slow ball, I feel like he would have been able to get it over the circle. What time is NZ versus USA kickoff? It is going to be 8:30 a.m. New Zealand time for that one. So that will be 8:30 p.m. UK time, 6:30 a.m. Australian time, depending on what part of the country you are from. And then in the USA, I believe it is a kind of afternoon kickoff, if I'm not wrong as well. I've moved quite a few times in my childhood as well, says Smithy Toilet. Also, who is your favorite Japanese rugby player, says Danny Lewis. I quite enjoy watching, I believe it is, is it Nakarawa who is out on the wing? No, that might actually be the French player, if I'm not wrong, but they have got a young, talented winger from the Japanese top league, whose name I'm trying to think of. I might actually quickly look it up so that I don't say the wrong name. In that regard, I quite like watching Michael Leach, though, play because of the fact that he is their captain and he has been working hard for the boys as well. We have their take to care, Johnny, 10 out of 10 as well from Sebastian. And also, brothers, it's 12:30 a.m. This is way past me bedtime. I'm out of here, lads. Good night and all. And we will see you later on, Johnny Blaze. Thank you very much for tuning in, mate. Hugely appreciate you being here for this live stream. And hopefully we do get to see you for the rugby this weekend. Good, almost Yorker there from Lockie Ferguson. Just a little bit over pitch, but it's going to be kept to the single. And Wokes is going to be off the mark straight away. So the name of the Japanese winger that I was thinking of is, it's Matsushima. He is actually my favorite player for Japan, and he is a very talented player as well. And Nakamura in the number 12 jersey is actually pretty decent as well. In that regard, Borden Hamilton raised in Rotorua before moving to Porirua. Then we moved to Auckland, back to Rotorua. Now I'm in Taronga as well. Says Smithy Toilet, that is a good ball from Lockie Ferguson, a wide Yorker, and it does now mean that there are going to be 2 balls left. And at this one, Sam Billings asking the question of whether or not that was a wide. Any change for the Black Caps tonight? So Lockie Ferguson has been brought in, which I feel is one of the biggest ones. And then I believe other than that, though, they're pretty similar to what they had yesterday, or the 2 days ago, sorry. But it is pretty much that case of, because it's a warm-up game, you're actually allowed to make changes on the go type arrangement. So they can pretty much change however they'd like to. In the later stages, Billings just whipping that one away to the leg side. It is just going to be the dot ball, though. So New Zealand, they've come back from that second last over that went for a lot of runs. And now Chris Woakes going to be on strike for the final ball of this innings for England. If he hits it for 6, I'm sure he would absolutely love it. And it would be 166 for 6 if that was the case. But they need to make sure that they try and clear this one and get it all the way to the boundary. I believe it was the second last ball. Yes, it was indeed. They are just a little bit slow, kind of updating the scoreboard on the actual ground. But now it's going to be Lockie Ferguson once again running in for this one, and it's going to be struck down the ground by Woakes. just going to be the single. They're thinking about running for the second, and I believe they are going to get there as well. Oh, he's been hit in the spine, though, Chris Wokes, which will not feel too comfortable. Lockie Ferguson found it funny. And Chris Wokes, he's trying to laugh, but that is probably pretty painful when you do get hit on the spine by the ball. That is going to end the innings of England. They have been able to get themselves to 163 for 6. And what's the score in Australia versus India at this stage? We are just seeing Steve Smith try and absolutely whack that ball away. I believe it was a dot once again. But yeah, at the moment, in the game between Australia and India, with 3 balls left, Australia are sitting on 148 for 6. Or sorry, 148 for 4. So yeah, it's getting relatively close to the end of their innings. And then also there is another game going on at the moment, and that is the game between the Netherlands. Oh, that was a big swing from Steve Smith. Was it a wide? No, it wasn't. It was a dot ball there. And Steve Smith not too happy about it by the looks of it at the moment as well. But the Netherlands at this stage, they were able to set the total of 100, and it was 164 for 4. So Namibia need 165 if they do want to win that one as well. Matsushima plays in France. Do you like Himeno too? Oh, yes. Kazuki Himeno is a very good player for them, I believe. It was because of the fact that I didn't actually see him in the loose forward trio on the starting lineup, but played for the Highlanders, and he was a very good player indeed. And then Himeno played for the Highlanders there from Danny Lewis as well. And good score, come on, Black Caps, says Victor. I was born in Pukekohe, lived in Port Waikato, and Tuakau Taupo, Auckland. Husband and I moved to Hamilton in 2005, and I believe that is a wicket there. Steve Smith going to be on his way on the second last ball of the game between Australia and India. Is 150 going to be enough for Australia? Is 163 going to be enough for England in this game? We will have to wait and see as well. But yeah, at this stage, I'm all of a sudden very peckish. I don't know what's happened. All of a sudden, I've decided that I'm quite angry with what's got there. Is this our warm-up or final warm-up game, says Shane Hayes? It is indeed. So the last game that we do play is now, and then our first game is going to be on, I want to say it's the 25th of October, but I could be wrong, so I might quickly make sure that I have got the right date there. But it is going to be up against Pakistan in 6 days also, so it must be around the 26th or 7th. It is going to be on the New Zealand versus Pakistan is on. It's going to disappear, so I haven't quite got it yet. But I know that the first game for South Africa and Australia is going to be taking place on, it is the Saturday. But our first game is going to be on the Wednesday, and it is going to be us versus Pakistan for our first match. Then our next game only a couple days later, and that's up against India. And then we have got the third game up against, I believe it is A2, then B1, and then the last game is going to be up against Afghanistan. And at this stage, I would say it is between Pakistan, India, and New Zealand for Pool B. And then the big question is who is going to be going through for Pool A, because they have got themselves a huge amount of talent. Australia, England, West Indies, South Africa, probably Sri Lanka, and then also possibly Bangladesh there as well. That's going to be a 4 to end. Matthew Wade able to hit himself to the boundary, or not hit himself, but hit the ball to the boundary as well. So Australia going to finish with 152 for 5 for their one as well. But what we will do is we will quickly go like this, and I will change it. And we will put this one down the bottom here. Australia were able to get 152 for them in the end. 152 for the total of it was. I am just typing at the same time. That is why my brain seems like it's probably not working as well as it possibly should. But we will be back in just a very short moment. I'm just going to quickly update this so that it does say that they were 5 down for 152. And I will add that to the bottom there so you guys are able to see it as well. We have got there, you fellas moved around. Oh, you fellas moved around a lot as well, says Victor. And also we have got there, can you speak Japanese? My wife is Japanese, says Danny. I cannot, unfortunately, but I feel like it is a language that I would quite like to be able to learn at some stage as well. Tough games for New Zealand as well, says Shane. Yeah, they start very tough with that game between Pakistan and New Zealand, and then India and New Zealand the next game. But for them to be able to go through to that group stage, or the semi-final, sorry, I believe all they need is to beat one of either India or Pakistan. I feel like that's exactly what they'll need, because the points differential and kind of net run rate, I believe, will be able to propel them up nicely. But we will have to wait and see. Of course, we have got there. I think that was great bowling by the Black Caps. India conceded 188 runs against the Lions as well. says it was Sebastian. So, yeah, it's one of those ones that as long as New Zealand can get a good start, England had a very, very good start. They had 40 runs of only 4 overs, but it is just that case of whether or not they can kind of keep themselves in that consistent kind of run scoring mode, because England had quite a few quiet overs. As you can see here, 54% for England to be able to win this match up against New Zealand. So they've been able to get the total on the board. Runs on the board is very important, and we will have to wait and see whether or not it was enough. But for anyone who is wondering who was able to score the runs for England in this one, Jason Roy, unfortunately getting himself the royal duck, bowled by Tim Southee, who was able to pick up the very first wicket of the game. Josh Butler, he had a great day with the bat, 73 from 51, and then in the end was ending up getting caught by Kyle Jamieson, bowled for Ish Sodhi. Then David Milan, unfortunately for him, did end up only getting the 11 off 15. Owen Morgan ended up with 10 off 11. Johnny Bairstow went out there, was aggressive, was able to hit himself 2 4s, 2 6s, 30 runs off 21 balls. Liam Livingston ended up with a 1 from the 2. Sam Billings not out with 27 of 17, and then that was 3 4s and 1 6 as well. And then Chris Wokes, 3 for 2 for the later stages of this one. For the bowling figures that we have got ourselves here, they actually went with 6 bowlers here for the Black Caps. Tim Southee was a bit expensive, but so were quite a few of the other bowlers. Lockie Ferguson bowled very nicely, 19 for 1 of his 3 overs, and then Ish Sodhi able to pick up the 3 wickets alongside a 6.5 economy rate, 26 off his 4 overs as well. But nonetheless, New Zealand will need 164 runs to be able to win this game, and they are going to be batting in a very short moment as well. We will go back and we will have a read of the chat as well. And we have got them on my phone. I just said your hairstyle is samurai style as well, says Danny Lewis. It is kind of tied back at the moment. It is because of the fact that I am worried if I chop it, it probably won't grow back. So I have kind of just let it grow out for a little bit longer, but I haven't really decided in terms of what to do with my hairstyle yet. What's your biggest cricket game you went to as well, says Shane? I would say pretty much my only game I have been to, and it was a pretty big one, was that Boxing Day test match for between Australia and New Zealand. Feel like that's my best kind of cricketing memory. We went for the first day, and then, it was just absolutely awesome being able to feel that atmosphere and just really enjoy it as well. It was just an awesome ground and an awesome experience as well. And Australia came back into it. Not enough for India, I think, as well, says Victor. And yeah, unfortunately for them, I think they just ended up, I want to say that if Australia had been able to get themselves to 170, it would have been a very tightly contested or kind of contest. But with India, the way that they chased down that 188, it might be one of those ones that it might just not quite be enough. But then saying that, I feel like sometimes when you don't need as many runs, you don't feel that need to really push for it. And then if you lose a couple of wickets and also have a couple of quiet overs, then the pressure can really start building for yourself. So maybe that is something that they'll have to take into consideration here for this one as well. And also we have got their crowds. Would have been amazing at the MCG, as I said, Shane. It was indeed. I remember the ball. Trent Bolt was able to bowl. It was Burns in the end, Joe Burns, who did end up getting bowled right at the start of the match. And the crowd just erupted with like the 80,000 people who they did have there. But yeah, unfortunately, it would be in the situation of, it would have been one of those ones that I don't think they're allowed 80,000 in any ground at the moment around the world. Most grounds don't hold 80,000, to be fair. And sorry, my wife said you should wear a samurai outfit while you do the Japan rugby stream as well, says Danny Lewis. The closest that I have got to a samurai outfit, unfortunately, is probably a sumo wrestling, one of those like inflatable suits, which I feel like might not be the way to go if I do have it. But I have got it out in the shed, I believe, if I'm not wrong, from a little, I think I got it as a birthday gift about 10 years ago, and it still kind of fits me. So yeah, happy days, but it has got a bit of a rip, I believe, as well. But at this stage, do let me know, are the Black Cats going to be able to chase down this total that England have been able to set? As we can see here, it is pretty evenly split. New Zealand, 52% of you feel that New Zealand will be able to win this game from the 120 votes. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case. But at the moment in New Zealand, we are sitting 12:50 a.m. at this stage. So it is relatively late at night, but not as late as the game that we did between Australia and New Zealand, because the fact that that actually ended up being a finish at around 6:30 a.m. So this one's going to be finishing just that little bit earlier on, which is great to see as well. But yeah, hopefully they are allowed some sort of crowds at these grounds as well for these matches that will be coming up for the Cricket World Cup starting on Saturday is when we get to see the real big stuff happening, and that is going to be South Africa versus Australia as the opening game of the Cricket World Cup. And I will mention anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are going to be covering every single match that we can on the channel. Some of them are going to be kind of played at random hours of the night, but we are going to be still doing quite a few of them as well. We have got their biggest rugby game you went to. Mine was New Zealand versus South Africa in Dunedin, says Shane. Oh, biggest rugby game. To be honest, this might surprise some people, but I haven't actually been to an international rugby game ever. I've never watched the All Blacks play in person. The biggest game that I've probably been to, believe it or not, is probably like Canterbury versus Otago for an NPC game, or maybe it was the Highlanders versus Crusaders, but either way, it was in Christchurch a long time ago, and that is the only game that I have got there that I have actually been to. So I wish I could go to a lot more, and I feel like in the future I will be trying to as well. The poll is actually pretty close to the win probabilities as well. Says Sebastian, it is indeed for the first time ever. I feel like it will definitely change in a short moment, but it is pretty awesome that we are almost sitting exactly what it is for the win percentage at the moment. As you can see there, just 54% for England to be able to win that. That will change a little bit later on, though. So they need 8.2 runs per over here for New Zealand to have a chance. It looks like it is going to be Cypher and also Guptill will be opening the battle. And Guptill in the last game up against Australia did hit the ball relatively well, but then ended up going for the reverse sweep, the dreaded reverse, sweep. Do you have a samurai sword by any chance? Sorry, my wife thinks you are a samurai fan as well, says Danny Lewis. I don't actually have a samurai sword. I feel like I would end up accidentally slicing my finger off or something along those lines. But yeah, I feel like it would be a pretty cool prop to have at some stage if I did get the opportunity. Mine is All Blacks versus Wallabies at Eden Park. I did see them play England and Hamilton, but feel that Eden Park was bigger as well, says Novmum. Yeah, I really want to be able to get the opportunity of going to one of those games. And it's like, 2027, if it's in Australia for the Rugby World Cup, perhaps we might make the trip over as well. Guptill was a great player, says Shane. He is indeed. He is able to hit the ball well. Also took an incredible catch in the field for the first ball of the innings for the Black Caps in that last match up against Australia. But Seifert at the moment, very good batter as well. If he can find a little bit of momentum and a little bit of rhythm early, average of about 25, best of 84 not out. Can he up that in this game today? He's got a smile on his face, which is great to see. And Bairstow at this stage, I think Johnny Bairstow, he'll still be a little bit annoyed about what happened out in the field when he did get smacked with the ball. But then he whacked it for 6 straight after as well. It's going to be Liam Livingstone now. He actually picked up an early wicket in the game up against India because the fact that his off spinners, he actually can get a little bit of turn going. Plays for the Perth Scorchers throughout the kind of BBL season, and he has been there for the last couple of seasons, I believe, as well. But nonetheless, we are just about to get on our way. It will be Martin Guptill, I believe, on strike. And Seifert will be at the non-strikers end as well. Did you watch Samurai Jack as a kid / teenager? I haven't actually ever seen it. Guptill straight away says he will have some of this, thank you. And he has hit that one for 6 off the very first ball of the innings. Liam Livingstone just kind of chucking it up there. And unfortunately for him, Guptill was like, you know what? I feel like I can continue from where I left off last time. Just swung through the line of the ball and hit that one all the way for 6. What a start to the innings for the Black Caps. I've seen the Black Caps live. That was against the Bangladesh in Dunedin as well, says Shane. And also, do you like sushi? I haven't actually had proper sushi. I remember at school we had to make it. And I remember it quite well because of the fact that I didn't actually want to eat the seaweed side of it. So I actually faked eating the sushi when the teachers were looking so that they thought that I had tried it. But I have never actually had sushi. So perhaps that is something that I will have to try out in the future as well. Guptill kicking off with a 6. Roy on the end as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, unfortunately for Jason Roy, just didn't quite go his way for the first ball. But then saying that, who came to the crease? I believe it was actually Joss Butler. No, sorry, it would have been David Milan. I think he had a 6 for his first ball that he did face. Or actually, no, sorry, it was Joss Butler because they did cross. No, they didn't. They didn't cross because he got bowled. Maybe it was David Milan who did hit it for 6. But now Guptill once again going to be on strike. Great start to the match. Strike rate of 600. Livingstone. Oh, it's a decent ball outside the off stump, and Guptill does miss it. So now it's going to be the dot ball. Now, the big question is, are any of the New Zealand batters going to be able to get themselves to 50 in this fixture? We did see that Joss Butler, that was a full toss there from Liam Livingstone. Probably pretty nice at Guptill. Hit that one down the ground. I don't think he was expecting it. Who's Sophie Devine playing for in the Big Bash as well, says Shane. I believe she was actually playing for one of the two teams that played earlier on today. I will quickly find that one for you, but I believe it was either the Stars or there is the other side that we're playing today. It was the Stars or the Sixers. I believe she actually might be at the Sixers. But I'm going to get the scorecard up very quickly, but now there's going to be another dot ball there from Liam Livingston. So it was actually one moment. We will go here. So she does play for... Nope, she doesn't play for them. I swear I saw her name a little bit earlier on, but maybe it wasn't her. I guess she does play for a different side that I didn't have there as well. And also we have there, what you need to go to your local sushi shop and try it as well, says Danny. See, that's the thing. I live in a very small town, so we don't actually have a local sushi shop. I believe we've got supermarket sushi, which I assume isn't as good as authentic kind of Japanese sushi. Tell you what, he sent that one, Martin Guptill, straight down the ground, and that's going to be another 6-2 in a row for Martin Guptill in this first over, or I should say 2 in this first over. Sushi is pretty good. It's basically fish and rice, Hamish. Nothing to fear as well, says Sebastian. Oh, yeah, at this stage, I'm sure I saw Sophie Devine's name, so maybe she was actually playing for the team a little bit earlier on. I can't actually find her. I swear I saw her name a little bit earlier on, but she doesn't seem to want to put her head up and say hello. Unfortunately, we also got there about sushi being pretty good. So what is your favorite type of sushi, Sebastian? Do let me know. That was a beautiful swing of the bat by Martin Guptill. So Liam Livingston's first over, unfortunately for him, went for 14. So it looks like the Black Caps, they're trying to keep this one going at a frantic pace and trying to maybe chase this down with a few overs left and not let it come down to the last over. Definitely not come down to a super over like we have seen many times in the past for New Zealand, because unfortunately for them, they just don't seem to go into many of them. YouTube, Hamish, make your own sushi as well, says Victor. Maybe could be an idea. And Didier said, when the pandemic is over, if we gift you a samurai sword and a homemade sushi, can we stay at your house while we travel to New Zealand as well, says Danny Lewis. I feel like it's a decent offer, to be fair. And also we've got their favorite type of sushi, Japanese, definitely as well, says Sebastian there. But yeah, I feel like having a samurai sword is very risky because of the fact that I'm not sure whether or not you would have known one of the other Kiwi lads, George. He can end up, like, anytime he has anything, even if he's having a cookie, he'll get crumbs on the floor type thing. So if you gave that man a samurai sword, my wall would get sliced more than likely. But now Chris Wokes bowling his first ball of that one, and that is going to be once again a dot ball. Having a duck for that one, Seifert. And did you get your vaccine? I did indeed. So I have had both of mine. I believe you mentioned that you had as well, Shane, if I'm not wrong. You've had the two so far, but I know that they are speaking about maybe some people having to get thirds at this stage as well, because I believe it's the first two and then it's 6 months after that you can get the next one, but I think they're bringing that forward maybe a little bit, if I'm not wrong. But now Chris Wokes once again going to be bowling this one here for England, shining up the ball, getting ready for another pacey delivery. A little bit of swing in the air perhaps for Chris Wokes. Off, Seifert advances through the gap as well at backward point, and that is going to be another 4 runs there. And if you don't like, I don't know the sushi varieties, I'll be honest, to be honest, usually if it looks good, it should taste good as well. And also we have got there, I had mine yesterday, arm sore as well, says Shane. Yeah, normally it is kind of a little bit sore for, I believe it was about 2 or so days after, and then it slowly gets a little bit better. Normally you can only lift it to about there or so before you start to kind of feel that tenderness as well. And also we have got there, make sure your friend doesn't chop your ponytail with the sword. I can guarantee you I would not let him anywhere near myself if he was holding that one. And kind of sushi, or Kina sushi, as well, says Victor. But now at this stage, Wokes running in once again, whipped away to the leg side, and they are going to be able to squeeze through for the single there. And Guptill very quick between the wickets as well, which will be able to benefit the Black Caps throughout this one. He's currently sitting 13 off 4, so he's currently very quick when it does come to the strike rate that the man is going at. And also Rahul, and it will be Rohit Sharma who are opening for India in their innings, where they do have to try and chase down 153. However, it's got the Californian roll and Dragon roll are good as well, says Danny Lewis. And I wouldn't trust this guy George with a katana as well, says Sebastian. And yeah, George, I hardly trust him with like a cricket bat or anything along those lines. Wokes now, it's going to be a shout for an appeal, but did skid on, and Guptill not quite able to get onto that one And it was just a dot ball. And we have got there. Manasha said, love from India. Welcome in to the live stream, mate. Thank you very much for tuning into this live stream. What time is it at the moment in India? Manash, do let me know. And also we've got there's George joining you for international rugby, says Shane. I believe if he is available, he will be coming around for some fixtures. So far, he's only really been on for Bunnings NPC live streams, which are normally pretty unorthodox, as some of you guys do know. But it is more of the case of because he does work and he's kind of in a job that can end up with, like, if it had to, it would be 7 days a week kind of thing, because he is working in silage and that kind of thing for contracting as well. Your friend can play Fruit Ninja with real sword and fruit as well, says Daddy. So that will be a lot of fun indeed. Also, we have got that you can't trust him with an energy drink can as well, says Sebastian. That is a fair point. He did actually almost end up swallowing the little tab that goes on top. Evening 5:30 p.m. here, as this is Manash. So a beautiful time to be able to watch a bit of cricket. And at this stage, India, do you think they will be winning that game up against Australia, Manash, after they have been able to keep them to only the 152 for Australia? And welcome in, mate. Hope you're well, says Sebastian there as well. But at this stage, the end of the second over, 21 for 2. Oh, sorry, 21 for none after 2 overs here. They have still got 4 more overs of the power play. It looks like Gupta was just telling Cypher to skidding on a little bit for this wicket. I believe it is an afternoon game over there in Abu Dhabi for this match, and it is going to be Chris Wood now, who has got a ton of pace. I mentioned Lockie Ferguson's pace. Chris Wood, believing he can get it up to 155 if he does need to. Although I assume they wouldn't want to risk him too much in terms of trying to throw it down there at 1,000 miles an hour for this one. I think India will beat Australia as well, says Shane. Yeah, at this stage does seem relatively likely because of the way that they were able to chase down that 188 total that they did need in the game up against England. Although, like I mentioned, it can kind of be in that situation of if you don't need as many runs, sometimes you don't really put your foot on the gas as early. And then if you have a couple quiet overs, then you get yourself in a little bit of trouble. But at the moment now, it is going to be Mark Wood steaming in for his first over. It's a beautiful Yorker as well. They are going to be running the single and Cypher able to just hit it for the single down the ground. We have got the arm from India, but I'm a great fan of New Zealand as well, says Manash. So we'll ask the question, out of scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for that game that is going to be taking place between the Black Caps and India? That is only around 10 days or so away. I assume you will be absolutely buzzing for that fixture. And yeah, it should be a very exciting one indeed. And we are going to be doing that one on the channel, even though it starts at 3 a.m. New Zealand time. We are going to be up for it, and it should be a very awesome one indeed. I see Pat Cummins actually going to be bowling here for Australia. It's going to be whipped away, and it did hit the foot of Martin Gupta, I believe, there. Leg by, so it is going to be 4. And Mark Wood not too happy with that one as well. India versus New Zealand will be a lit in the group stage as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, it's going to be a very awesome one. And also we've got their scale from 1 to 10. Easy 10 out of 10. And also surely a samurai sword as well. If we had a zombie apocalypse and you only have one weapon, what would you have as well, says Danny Lewis. I feel like, a samurai sword is risky though, in some regards, because if you get it like stuck, then you're kind of stuck that way. So I feel like you need something. Like, it's very good because of the fact that you have got unlimited ammo, I guess you could say, because of the fact that you can just keep on swinging it. But yeah, it would be tricky to decide. I feel like Zombie Apocalypse, I would be well and truly just gone, pretty much, because of the fact that don't think I'd have a lot of fight in me. Like, I'll look at a zombie, and then it would look kind of sad, and then I wouldn't be able to put myself into the mindset of being able to put it down. If it's got there, you won't be getting much sleep with all the live sport as well, says Shane. Yeah, it's kind of weird hours at the moment for myself because of the fact that I kind of go to sleep at about 7 a.m. and then wake up at afternoon time and kind of end up in the situation of, I'm pretty much in that situation of random hours. I sleep during the day a lot of the time, so the way that we're going at the moment. So much excited. India team are full of youngsters, rest for experienced players in India versus New Zealand series as well. And yeah, it is awesome to see that we are going to have a 3-match series. That's going to be another wide there. Unfortunately, just not quite finding the muck early on here. Mark Wood going for 4 leg buys, and then now another wide. So up to at the moment sitting 14 off 8. We talked about sleep, Shane, and now that is the first yawn of the night. Samurai sword wielding Kieran as well. I don't do violet as well, says Victor. Then also we have got there. Also, you can get infected with the blood on the blade of the sword. Definitely a long range weapon, a rifle of some sort as well, says Sebastian. There, but now it's going to be Guptill once again on strike here. It's just hit that one, or it's going to be a little bit of a yes. No, it's a direct hit, was it? No, didn't quite get it, and Gupta was laughing about that one as well. A little bit of the yes, no. And now at this stage, they were able to scamper through for the single, but it looked like it was a little bit uncertain there. Gupta ended up running. Then he kind of did that little bit of a hesitation as well, very close. And it would have almost been the opportunity for the run out of the side. But Chainsaw Axe cricket bat many options as well, says that Danny Lewis there as well. Now at this stage, Seifert is going to be on strike, sitting on 8 off 7. So both men getting off to a decent start in the early stages of this innings. At the moment, Rohit Sharma at the moment is sitting on 1 off 3, and Rahul sitting 7 from 7. Oh, he's taken the stump, and Mark Wood able to get the wicket of Tim Seifert. And I said that both men were off to a decent start, but that is going to be the end of the start. It is going to be the finish as well for Seifert, as his wicket has just been knocked over. We have got there. I would love to see India versus New Zealand in the final, says Shane. Who knows? Maybe. Could be the case. It would be pretty awesome. Seifert just not too happy with that shot. Off stump out of the ground, and it was Mark Wood who was able to get him out with a bowled. That is the first wicket against the Black Caps in this one as well. 28 for 1 after 2.5. And at the moment, it looks like that is the first boundary of the match for Sharma. He has been able to do decently there. Big Shane, big cool Shane as well there. Says Victor, wicket. Says Sebastian, yeah, clean bowled him. And now it is going to be Devon Conway making his way out there. Found some very good form in the earlier stages of the year. We'll be hoping to continue that into this Cricket World Cup. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, is this his first Cricket World Cup? I believe it would be for Devon Conway. So he will be open to be able to have a good performance here. If you had to take 3 things to a deserted island, what would you take as well, says Danny? Oh, it's a good question. Average of 59 for Devon Conway. So he is very impressive indeed. 99 not out is his highest score. Right. Deserted island. I guess it depends on what's considered something. Because, I mean, can I say, like, I guess you can't say unlimited water. But then if I'm on an island, I guess I got to get something. So you want some sort of lighting fire device, food, water, and a helicopter as well. Says Sebastian also is New Zealand. So New Zealand has a higher run rate than what is required. Yeah, at the moment they are doing very nicely. They have got 9.88 as their run rate, and they need it at 7.92. So if they continue at this rate, although they are in the power play, so they will have to wait and see whether or not they can keep that momentum going. I know that England was sitting 40 off 4 overs, but then they did slow down for the later stages of that power play. But Mark Wood now once again steaming in, got a bit of spring in the step. Conway able to get it off the edge, and that is going to be just the single, and he is going to be off the mark. End of the over. That is the third 29 for 1 at the moment in this fixture between the two sides. But it's Ashton Agar now who will be bowling. Australia need early wickets up against India if they want any chance of being able to get themselves into the position of winning that one as well. I'm getting emails from Burger King, which I feel like it's just trying to tease me at the moment. So would you take, what would you take that you can carry as well, says Danny? Or I guess a lighter of some sort, because of the fact that I want myself to be able to get into that position. Some sort of weapon as well, I guess, so that I can try and spear fish, although that's probably not big enough. Or that's probably, I could carry a spear, but I'll go a fishing rod actually, rather than a spear of some sort with a little lure on it. And then I guess if I had to pick one other thing, I guess some sort of axe or something like that, some sort of appliance to be able to chop down something and whatnot. That was a 6 there. Very nice shot there from Rahul. And now India getting off to a very good start as well. But Devon Conway on strike with Chris Wokes bowling. It's going to be a hit out through cover, but there's about 4 men trying to mark up that one, and Livingston on the circle was able to stop that one from rolling through. Chris Wokes at the moment. Yeah, Seifert just didn't quite get that one where he needed it to, but Mark Wood definitely found the line and the length that he was after. And it was a very nice one indeed. But Mark Wood, when he has got as much pace as he does, makes it very tough. Even if you have just that slight hesitation of going, oh, do I go forward or back? Then all of a sudden your stump is on the ground and you are going back to the changing sheds. At the stage now, Wokes, another dot ball from that man. He's bowling well so far. Does like to pitch it up a little bit more than some other bowlers because of the fact that he can get quite a bit of swing. We've seen it in the Ashes, which are also coming up very soon as well, which I'm very excited for. There will be a Boxing Day test match, and that will be taking place. I believe that is the 4th test match of the series as well. Axe, fishing rod, and flares are probably the smartest choices as well, says Sebastian. And yeah, have you guys read the book Hatchet? I believe it is called. We actually read it at school, and I found it quite interesting. And it was just pretty much the guy surviving with just having himself just an axe, pretty much. But that is another dot ball, 3 in a row here for Chris Wokes. Chris Jordan, another Chris on the side, and he will be bowling a little bit later on by the looks of it. Very talented player. Played for, I want to say he was playing for the Perth Scorchers, but I believe before that he was at the Sydney Thunder for the KFC Big Bash. And he can certainly, he's definitely an all-rounder. Chris Jordan as well. Cooking pot, says Danny Lewis here. That is a very decent shout as well for that one. But Devon Conway now on strike advancing, and that's going to be another dot ball here. So good pressure building from Chris Wokes. And also we have got that as New Zealand under lockdown, says Manush. We have got kind of different lockdowns for different areas of the country. So I'm in the South Island of New Zealand. So we have got level 2 lockdown, which pretty much means out in public, you're supposed to wear your mask and kind of a little bit of spacing out, a little bit of, I can't remember what the word is, social distancing, that is what it is. And then also in the North Island, there are some regions that are in level 2 and then some regions that are level 3. And level 3 pretty much means unless you are an essential service, you aren't actually allowed to work. Whereas level 2 down here, you are allowed to still kind of do your work. So we are in lockdown still, but the cases have been slowly going up and up over the last little while. So we might end up in a little bit more of a stricter lockdown in the coming weeks, unfortunately. But at this stage, Chris Wokes, just the one leg buy-off is over so far. It looks like Owen Morgan just having the conversation. Trying to decide what they are going to be doing there as well. We always got there, stick a branch through them and cook them on the fire, unless you want to make soup or stew as well. Says Sebastian there, that one's going to be whipped away to, it was mid-on there for Martin Guptill, and that is just going to be the single. So a very good over from Chris Wokes. Just the 2 off it, the 1 leg by and the single off the final ball as well. And people don't even wear masks out as well, says Shane. I believe you're supposed to, but they don't seem to be enforcing it that much anymore, unfortunately, there. But pretty much anywhere that you go, they've got the COVID tracing kind of QR code that you are supposed to do, which is kind of the best way to go because of the fact that you are able to keep track of where you are and what you're up to as well. But now Conway at this stage, he will not have the strike here. It will be Guptill on strike. And I'm interested to see who they decide to go with. Do they give Mark Wood another one? They were going very, very well at the 3rd over, but now once we're up to the 4th, now it is dropping right back off with that very solid over from Chris Wokes. So now at this stage, Guptill going to be on strike to Mark Wood, who has got a ton of pace and a ton of skill as well. Speaking of pace and skill, Pat Cummins at the moment getting hit to the boundary, which is something you don't see too often for that man. Definitely not in Test cricket, but this is T20, and that is going to be a shot down the ground from Martin Guptill, 1 bounce 4. And it has gone over there to Chris Wood. It almost looked like he was going to fall over there. I also use app. And how many cases today? Says Shane. I believe they had 90-something in kind of that North Island region. I want to say it was 90... 94 or somewhere around there. I'm not too sure about the number, but it has been going up slowly as well. I will wonder if Hamish would go spearfishing, meat hunting, or picking berries or fruit to survive as well, says Danny Lewis. I'd probably go spear, or if I had a fishing rod, I'd go fishing with the fishing rod. But spear fishing, I feel like I don't know. I feel like the safest option for myself because I'm not exactly, like, I don't know how I would fight an animal. So I probably have to say that I have to go berry picking, but then they'd probably be poisonous and I'll probably be down in like an hour of getting to the deserted island. But I would say probably, I guess, spear fishing. The 94 yesterday, 60 today, says Nov Mum. So yeah, hopefully the numbers do keep on going down for those ones as well. And we can kind of get down to it because I'd love to see Auckland and Waikato and everyone who has gone up go back down to level 2. Kind of in the coming weeks, although they are extended for another 2 weeks of level 3 at this stage. What's happening in India versus Australia game at this stage, India are looking like they're going to be relatively well set. They will show the score in just a little short moment, and we'll let you know exactly what they are sitting on. But at this stage, Namibia, I can tell you, after their power play, they are sitting on 41 for 1, and they will be trying to work their way towards a massive win. It's going to be whipped off the leg there for Devon Conway. Just the single, though. Oh, almost a misfield, but it is still going to be on their side. So at this stage, India are sitting after 3.5 overs. They are sitting on 29 for none. So they are doing decently. They need 124 runs of 97 balls. And the Black Caps here, they need 127 runs of 93 balls. So it's very close in that regard. And are you Ocean or Bush, New Zealand Lovely Nature Reserve as well, says Kevin. We're kind of, I guess in my location, we're just a little bit of both. We've got like a nice hill scenery, and then there is kind of the sea about 20 or 30 minutes or so kind of going that way. And so it's kind of quite nice. And in that regard, in terms of location, although it's not really a beach, it's more of the kind of stones and whatnot. Although there is a nice beach about half an hour up the road as well. Guptill there, hitting that one just over the ring. It wasn't timed very nicely, but it's still going to the boundary. And it is going to be another 10 runs now off Mark Wood's first 4 balls. We have the club the animal to death, Hamish. It's a matter of survival. PC doesn't exist as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, but I feel like even in a survival situation, I guess at the time it could be different, but I can't hurt well, I mean, I could probably squash a fly if I had to, but anything else, I don't think I'll be able to muster up kind of the courage to be able to do it. I've never been in a fight with anyone because of the fact that I find it very, I can't really be angry. That struck a lot nicer for Marlon Guptill, and that's gone to the boundary as well. I've never actually been I'm grumpy, which I feel like you can tell from that, for my grumpy face, I guess you could say. And thank you for the live streams as well, Shane. No worries, mate. I absolutely love doing these, even though they are at random hours of the night. We are going to be up for most of the Cricket World Cup matches. So if you guys are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button we have got there. If your friend with Samurai Sword came to the deserted island, what would you do? Says Danny. It's risky because of the fact that I feel like we'll probably he'll probably somehow be able to talk me around to saying, if we get hungry enough, he would be allowed to cook me pretty much, because of the fact that I feel like I would be too nice and be like, yeah, I guess you got to do what you got to do. So I guess that is kind of what's going to happen. But I would be scared if I was with him on an island. I even just traveling anywhere with him is a risky enough situation. It pretty much is a matter of survival when you're kind of hanging around with him. Just because you never know what he's going to do. He'll probably end up eating Hamish. Yes, exactly as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, I feel like, but that's the thing. Would I be able to? I'll be like, yeah, I guess if you got to do it. But then saying that, there's not a lot of me, so he wouldn't get much of a feast as well. Cannibal as well says, or Hannibal says, Daddy Lewis. Yeah, I feel like if that was the last ditch effort, or the last kind of straw, I feel like that would be, I guess, the way we'd have to go with it there at this stage. Now 4.5 overs down, and Mark Wood at the moment, he has got 1 ball left of this 5th over, and then we are into the final one as well. I didn't even know that was on tonight, and is India versus Australia a cup game or warm-up game. It is also a warm-up game. Guptill has not struck that one well, but mid-on has gone back to long on. It's gone through the legs for Bairstow, and they have been able to get back for 2 with the missed throw, or the missed field, sorry, from Johnny Bairstow. 17 off that over of Mark Wood, and that is a very costly one. 41 for 1, or sorry, 47 for 1 at the moment for the Black Caps. And also we have got there, how would you boys build your shelter? As well, says Danny Lewis. I guess it depends on the island that you've got yourself, but I assume something along the lines of you get a few leaves, all those big kind of palm leaves, I guess you could say. At the moment, they are actually showing Pakistan. They are waiting for their chance to play. They are going to be taking on South Africa in only a couple hours' time. And also, it's game over for Australia, says Aiden. Yeah, unless they get themselves a couple wickets very soon, they will be in a very tough position of being able to win that game. But who knows, maybe they will be able to get themselves going in this game for India, or for Australia, I should say. But it's not the end of the world if they lose this game up against India, because of the fact I feel like that will give them that little bit of extra kind of drive to be able to go out there and become one of those 2 sides that qualify for the semi-final. At this stage now, it is going to be England, who have got Mills, who is bowling. It's a slower ball, very nicely bowled there. And now at this stage, it's going to be just a single from Devon Conway, but that was certainly a deceptive one. And Conway acknowledges the fact that it well and truly stubbed it. We have got the England versus West Indies and Australia versus South Africa are the first day matches on the 23rd as well, says Minash. They are indeed. The first game for the Black Caps is going to be up against Pakistan, and that is going to be a very exciting one as well. But Tymel Mills is a player who hasn't really had a lot of international T20 cricket so far, only playing the 6 matches. And at this stage, it looks like he is going to be switching it. They are saying that Martin Guptill perhaps tries to put him under a bit of extra pressure, as he is still very new to the international game. Just having a bit of a field change here, dropping 3rd man back and then bringing up point due to the fact that they are only allowed 2 men outside of the circle here. It's a full toss there from Mills. And it is going to be just the dot ball, though, during India versus Pakistan matches. India will be like being under lockdown. Everyone will be in their home watching the match. If India wins, then it's a festival in the nation as well, says Minash. I have heard that is a very strong rivalry between Pakistan and also it will be up against India. That's going to be a great game. And I'm hopefully going to be doing the live stream for that one. I believe it's going to be a 3 a.m. game, but we are going to be up for it as well. If you had Kiwis in the island, would you hunt it and eat it as well? Says Danny Lewis. I think it would be, that's a beautiful shot there. For Martin Guptill being able to find the gap, trying to cut it off, but it is going to be 4 runs there. Once again for Guptill, he is on fire at the moment in the early stages of this one as well. Guptill is an awesome player to see live, says Jane, and at the moment, it's looking pretty good on the TV as well. The fact that he is just being able to find the gaps in the field. And hi, mate, says Johan, welcome into the live stream. It is great to see you here for this live stream at the moment. South Africa playing at 3 a.m. and that is going to be up against Pakistan is their next fixture, the last warm-up game for them as well. But Mills under pressure for his first over of this Cricket World Cup up against the Black Caps. It's going to be whipped away to the leg side, and it's just going to be the single there. The match is at 7:30 p.m. in India. I believe we are sitting at, I think it's going to be about a 3 a.m. kind of time in New Zealand, which is going to be a last one. Kiwi question as well, says Danny. So I would say, I mean, if we had to, we would, but then I feel like if we didn't have to, we would just let them kind of chill out and kind of just be a part of the island as well. I feel like you got to have animals or a pet of some sort while you are deserted on an island, because then you got to make it fun, you got to play fetch with your Kiwi as well. I was coming up for the live stream, for live stream cricket as well, says Shane. So at this stage, I will have a quick look. That one's going to be a slow ball from Mills there. A little bit of an exertion noise, and that's going to be 4 once again for Martin Guptill. Oh, sorry, that was actually Devon Conway now getting in on the action. 6 runs for him off just the 9 balls as well. So the next live stream that we are going to be doing for the cricket, I believe, is going to be that game on Saturday night, Australia versus South Africa at 11 p.m. I believe is the next game that we are going to be covering on the channel as well. And then after that, I believe it is going to be India versus Pakistan, followed by maybe South Africa, West Indies, and then Pakistan versus New Zealand, I believe, are our next ones. So we're kind of trying to do maybe, I want to say about 70 or so % of the games that are taking place. It is going to be a quick run there, Conway able to get through though. And that's 11 off the final over of the power play, sitting on 59 for 1 at the moment here, the Black Caps. And looking down quickly at what that is doing for the odds in terms of how likely they are to win, 68% at the moment for New Zealand. The big thing here for England is they need to find their way into getting themselves either Martin Guptill or Devon Conway out in the next 2 overs for them to have any chance of being able to win this match. I have a feeling they need to make sure that they can get that massive wicket. And at this stage, after the power play for England, they were sitting 1 for 47. So New Zealand off to a brilliant start in the early stages of this one, but that is purely because of the fact that they did have Martin Guptill just whacking the ball everywhere out there on the field. And also we have got there, if you could bring 2 other rugby players to the island to join you, who would you bring and why? Says Danny Lewis. So you got to get strategic with that as well. So 2 rugby players. You've almost got to go with 2 guys who are relatively small, because of the fact that you got to think, if there's not a lot of food there, you don't want to have to try and feed such as a big prop or someone along those lines. So I would say if you brought a couple halfbacks, it would probably be a good time in terms of a lot of banter kind of being out there. So I'd go like maybe, I guess, it's a tough one. I haven't really thought about it in terms of getting stuck on an island. I don't have any plans of being on an island with any rugby players anytime soon. Although I guess New Zealand is an island, I guess. And also we've got there go New Zealand. When is the funeral of Sean Wainui? I'm not actually sure when they are going to be having it, because unfortunately, I believe with restrictions, they wouldn't actually be able to have too many people in attendance. So hopefully that the kind of restriction goes down a little bit and they will be able to have a nice send-off for him. TJ Perenara, he's pretty small, as well, says Sebastian. So I guess you could go him and Aaron Smith and then just pass a coconut back and forth with the halfbacks. That would be pretty awesome. I feel like you become a very good rugby player by the end of that kind of deserted island venture. It's going to be another single there. Adil will be the man who is bowling now. And Guptill is going to be on strike once again. Now they are allowed a few more men outside of the circle here for England. But it is Adil Rashid, who will be bowling here for England at the moment. He's got quite a few wickets, best of 4 for 35. I feel like he'd be able to take that. Where has Aaron Smith joined the All Blacks? He has not. He actually has stayed in New Zealand due to the fact that his wife has not had her baby just quite yet, I don't believe. But Rashid now, Guptill's seen that one early, and he has hit that one hard, down on one knee as well against the spin, and that one is going all the way to the boundary for 6. And at this stage, Guptill, is that about his 3rd or 4th 6 that he has hit so far? He is just doing phenomenally throughout this stage of the match. India at the moment, they are doing very nicely in their fixture up against New Zealand, up against Australia as well. But Australia, they've got a strong side that we have got there. Justin Langer is the man who has coaching them throughout this tournament. And their reserves is Dan Christian, Daniel Sams, and Nathan Ellis as well. I am very glad to see Nathan Ellis there because he had a phenomenal T20 kind of bash with the Hobart Hurricanes as well. I believe he's actually signed for someone else, though. Having Perenara and Smith as your personal trainers, you'd leave that island. A very skilled scrum half as well, says Sebastian. And also in there, Guptill, says Victor. Yeah, hitting the ball very nicely. And at this stage now, Rashid just having a little bit of a second guess about where to put this ball, but very talented bowler. What is it going to be that he does offer up for Guptill here? Oh, it's in the slot, or is it? Has he got enough of it? It's going to be caught there, and that is going to be Martin Guptill on his way on the very next ball. It does mean that he is going to be going, and it was the googly that Rashid did bowl, and that is going to be Guptill out. 41 off 20 balls here. I've met Aaron Smith. He's an awesome person as well, says Shane Hayes. And also we have got there, if Nadolo and Tenialatupo came to the island, what would you do as well? Says Danny Lewis. I feel like you'd have to try your best to get along with them because, I mean, Tenialatupo, he seems like a pretty, kind of light-hearted guy. But if he's hungry, you're going to make sure that you are feeding that man a second wicket as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, they are now 2 down, 66 for 2 after 6.3 overs. So now I did say that they needed a wicket in the next 1 or 2 overs. They needed Guptill. Now they're probably going to need Conway, or I believe it is actually going to be Tim Seifert making his way out. So I would say more than likely, if they can get another wicket, in fact, no, I'm going to make a big prediction. If they can get 2 more wickets before 10 overs, I would say that the momentum's slightly going in the favour of England for this fixture as well. So then TJ Perenara will go to the November tour for the All Blacks. He is indeed, alongside Finlay Christie and Brad Weber, are their other 2 options. And hopefully one day he comes to South Africa, says Kevin. I really want to, whether it is just to watch a game of rugby or kind of go for just a bigger sporting event or something like that. I'd absolutely love to be able to go and kind of be able to explore the country. I've never been anywhere further than, I guess, about 4 hours from New Zealand or so. In terms of, I've been to Australia, and also I did go to Indonesia a very long time ago, to Bali. So it would be pretty cool to travel to South Africa or somewhere along those lines in the future. But now at this stage, it is going to be Rashid once again. He's going to be bowling to, it will be Conway on strike due to the fact that they did change over in terms of crossing. Oh, it's well bowled there from Rashid. It was the googly once again, so he is mixing it up at the moment for him. He has learned from his mistakes of putting it up there. Who scored more tries for the ABs, Jonah Lomu or Doug Howlett? As well says Johan. I think it was it Doug Howlett? Johan. I think he was right up there anyway. I think they were very close. But I think Doug Howlett may have snuck it. Conway blocked once again. And at this stage, the current run rate is just below 10. The required is sitting at 7.44 now. After that ball, in England versus New Zealand games are close as well. How's India versus Australia going at this stage? India are sitting at, it will be 58. Yes, it is going to be 58. So 58 for none after 7 overs. So they're doing very nicely in the early stages of their game as well. Conway able to get himself the single to end the over, and a 9 from the over. So that, 8 from the over. But he was able to pick up the big wicket of Martin Guptill, who was on fire in the early stages of this innings. Definitely in the power play as well for Martin Guptill. But now it's going to be Phillips. Did struggle a little bit. I believe he was 2 from 6 in the last game that did take place. But anyone who was wondering who was the top scorers for Australia, was 57 runs for Steve Smith, 41 for Stoinis, and Maxwell was able to get himself 37. And at the moment, Rahul is set with 34 not out after 22 balls, and Rohit Sharma sitting on 23 with 20 as well. And Doug, don't touch the head, Howlett, as well, says Victor. And also, we have got actually back to the island topic. I think I think it wouldn't be wise spending your energy on rugby. Should focus on fending for yourselves as well, says Sebastian. I guess it depends on how secluded the island is, because of the fact, if you kind of know that more than likely you're not getting rested, you might as well play a few good games of rugby before kind of the inevitable there. And also we've got there, if you had to go for a 10-hour drive with a packed car, which rugby player would you take as well? Oh, that's a tough one. that's a tough one. That's going to be a single down to square leg there. And once again, Mills is going to be handed the ball for this 8th over. 10 hours with a rugby player. I feel like someone like an Artie Savi or someone along those lines would be pretty cool to get to chat to, or maybe a Richie McCaw or someone like that. Someone with a lot of experience and also just someone who seems like they are a pretty down-to-earth kind of individual. India will win that game, says Shane. Yeah, at this stage, they are looking very good to be able to get the win in at that fixture. But now Mills, can he pick up a big wicket here for England and once again put New Zealand just a little bit further onto that back foot? Phillips facing his first delivery. It was a good Yorker, and they are going to be hitting it down the ground, and it's just a single for Phillips. And also 24/7 banter as well. I'll take Joe Marler. Actually, yeah, that is a very good shout, Sebastian there. Yeah, it would be an interesting car ride. I feel like you get into that situation of about 5 hours through that you might end up regretting it, but then by the 6th hour, you'd be back to kind of being on the same wavelength as you were at the start. Who do you think is stronger, Artie Savia or Kiriwani? From what I've seen on the rugby field, I would actually say Artie Savia, because Akiriwani, he has decent games sometimes, but other games he's almost kind of invisible in terms of he's a solid individual, but sometimes he doesn't use that power that he has got. So I would say Artie Savia for that leg drive, like unless you tie that man's legs up, he is going to keep on driving. Any new players for England as well, says Shane. I believe at this stage, Mills is actually one of the players who hasn't had too many opportunities so far. I haven't seen a Moen Ali yet. So I assume that he is not actually going to be playing for this game, even though he did have a decent performance in the last matchup. I want to say maybe Sam Billings. I'm not too sure whether or not he was there for that one as well. Gareth Mason is back on YouTube as well, says Johan. I did see that he did upload a video, which is great to see G-Man back and in the rugby swing of things as well, because there are plenty of games coming up. Devon Conway trying to do the pull shot. It's going to be the slower ball once again. And it is just going to be the single for them. Hamish and Sever Reese would be a good for a 10-hour car drive or 10-hour drive as well, says Danny. I mean, it would still be probably a fun conversation to have in terms of getting to talk to any rugby player, like no matter who it is. I feel like as long as like they are kind of easy going, I feel like it would be pretty awesome getting that opportunity. And yeah, I mean, or maybe one day, who knows, where you can try and start a series of just driving places with the rugby players. Now, at this stage, it is going to be Mills once again. So far, only going for the 3 runs of the first 4 balls of his over. These games are flying by at the moment, I have noticed. Going to be hit behind by Phillips, and it is going to be just a single once again here. So at this stage, if Mills can get out of this over without going for a boundary, it will be very impressive. D, what's your favourite music as well, says Shane? I find that pretty much for myself, I have I think I've called it the 100-hour power tower, which I mean is a little bit of a weird name, but it's pretty much 1,600 songs from all eras, all genres, and pretty much everything like that. So it is pretty much in that situation of I'll just put that on while I'm editing or anything along those lines, and it just makes it fly by kind of thing. But also because of the fact that I just love editing as well, does make it a lot easier in that regard. But now Mills running him for the last ball of his over. Whipped away to lead by Conway. And it's just going to be the single. It's a little bit of a misfield, and it is just going to be the one. So a good over from from Mills, only going for the 5. And also we have got that, hey Katie, I love EDM as well. Says Shane, and also we have got the hey y'all, welcome into the live stream, Katie. It is great to see you here. And also we have got the Hamish and the George emoji there in the chat as well. Try to do a live stream with an All Blacks player like Bowden Barrett as well, says Johan. It'd be pretty awesome if one day we were able to secure some sort of even interview outside of a live stream with him, because we have done one with the next All Black, Norm Maxwell. We've done a couple with him in the past, which is pretty awesome. And welcome in last as well with the 10-10 from Sebastian. It is going to be Rashid once again, but the last 12 balls, 13 runs. So it is kind of what the Black Caps were able to do to England in the later stages in terms of being able to cut down that run rate. And that is something that they'll have to be very careful, but not right at the end of the game, I should mention, because that was when they well and truly ramped it up for England to be able to push towards that 163 that they were able to get themselves. Rashid now advancing there, Conway. But it is just going to be once again another dot ball. So doing very nicely here so far, Adil Rashid, to be able to keep them in a little bit of a tricky situation here for the Black Caps, not really being able to get their front foot going forward for this one. But they did have such a good start with Martin Guptill, ending up with 41 off 20, which does give them just a little bit of leeway. But Rashid now, he's put it up there, and it is going to be swept away. It's a good shot as well, and it's going all the way off the boundary. Was the man down at third man, and at fine leg, and he doesn't look too happy with that one, Rashid. He did strike it well. Devon Conway got it all the way to the boundary. Got to jump on my laptop. I suck at typing on my phone. I always drop it on my face as well. Says Katie Dixon with the bumper and the George emoji as well. It's a good sweep from Devon Conway going to backward square leg. And he was able to get enough of it. A good boundary and a much needed boundary there. Mark Dunphy has said, good evening all as well. Welcome in to the live stream. It is great to see you. And hopefully, I assume you have got your VPN on once again so that it does work. Oh, it's going to be swept once again by Devon Conway. That one's gone a little bit more square, and that's going to be going for back-to-back boundaries for Devon Conway. And also, we have got I'll try to do a live stream with Richie McCaw. That would also be pretty awesome. I always use the phone for Hamish's live streams as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, I guess that is a question that I don't really ask in terms of what you guys watch these live streams on. Are you guys all using your phones other than maybe a couple on the laptop? Or I know that some people say that they have got us on their TV, which is just an awesome feeling. And evening, Mark, as well, says Sebastian. Also, we have got their VPN on, says Mark. So that means hopefully those comments do not disappear today. And Hamish and Justin Marshall for 10-hour drive. How good, tell you what, it would be a very chatty 10 hours, that is for sure. And I mean, it's one of those ones. My rugby knowledge only extends for the past few years, which is when I've really kind of gotten into it. And his knowledge is certainly huge as well. Dan Carter interview, says Shane, and also hi Sebastian and Katie from Mark there as well. But another dot ball for Rashid. So only going for the 8 runs so far off the first 4 balls, but needs to make sure that he closes out the one. I have 2 monitors as well, says Novmum, and also I use my laptop on the TV as well, says Johan. It's a wide ball from Rashid. It is going to be stretched out there and put out point way by Devon Conway, running it hard. And it's going to be almost a run out, is it? I don't know whether or not he was able to get there. They checking this one. Was he able to get back there, Devon Conway? It was a brilliant throw from, I believe it was Sam Billings, who was able to throw that one in. They are claiming it. It is the wicket there. Great throw from Sam Billings right to the stumps. Exactly what you want there. And Devon Conway trying to get the 2. Ended up run out, and that is brilliantly done there indeed. And tell you what, Devon Conway now going to be on his way, 20 off 22. And I did say that they needed 2 wickets before the 10th over. That is 1. And now we will have to wait and see whether or not there is going to be another one as well. Wicket, says Novmum. It was indeed not ideal for Devon Conway. Just tried to risk the 2, which I'm not sure whether or not that was the best one. Umpire with the finger. 3rd wicket as well, says Sebastian. And yeah, not ideal for the Black Caps at this stage. But they have got now Mark Chapman making his way out to the crease, someone who we didn't get to see in the kind of earlier stage as well. We have got there. Can you please put India, Australia updates on screen, please, as well, says Shane. I can read them out for you just because of the fact that it only allows me to put 1 box here at the moment. But the score in that game between India and also Australia, Mitch Marsh almost able to pick himself up a wicket there, but not quite. And India are sitting 67 for none after 8.5. So they are still going at a decent rate. But I will start updating that after 10 overs. I will put it kind of down the bottom so you guys can see what it is sitting at the moment and kind of try and update it every over heading into the later stages. But now Mark Chapman can hit a long ball. He's a talented batsman, but just hasn't really had too many opportunities for the Black Caps. And now at this stage, like they are saying, it is still under 7.5 at the moment. Whoever's got there. If you had kids, which rugby player would you entrust to take care of your kids as well, says Danny Lewis. Oh, that's a tough one. Who would I trust giving my kids to? Or is it like as in just a babysitting job? Because I feel like you could trust them with pretty much every single player. Or I guess I'd go. I feel like I'd let them hang out with the Bowden, Barrett, Geordie Barrett, Scott Barrett, just hang out on the Barrett farm perhaps. But the day would be pretty cool. I remember Gupta Kiwi batsman, unbelievable, or Gupta Kiwi batsman, unbelievable he was as well, says Mark Dunphy. That is going to be just the dot ball at the end of the over. So now Adil Rashid once again having a very nice one. 12 balls, 14 runs so far from the last 12. And at this stage, going to be interesting. Honey Badger to babysit as well. That would be an interesting one. That is Sean McCaw as well, says Novmum. Yeah, I feel like he would be very good with children. As well as Kieran Reid probably is another one as well. Barrett Farmstead for Wee Hamish Jr. says Sebastian also. That's better. Hey brothers, hey chat fam. Sebastian, Mark, Shane, Novmum, and anyone I missed as well, says Katie Dixon there. But at this stage now we see that New Zealand are well and truly ahead when it comes to the run rate required because of the fact that they have the current run rate of 9.17, required of 7.43. How are you, Katie, as well, says Shane. And that is going to be a big hit there for India. It's going to be taken, though, by David Warner, and that is going to be the first wicket. Ashton Agar gets Rahul out for 39 off 30 as well. India 69 wickets for no wickets in 9 overs as well, says Minosh. And the very next ball almost it was going to be hit awkwardly by Chapman, but it's going to run away to the boundary. It was actually Phillips who ended up getting too much width on that one, Liam Livingstone, and just kind of chopped it a little bit of the edge as well. My husband said Aaron Cruden was my boyfriend, as says Nov Mum. And also we have got there doing well. Thanks, hope you're well too as well, says Katie Dixon in the chat there. Yeah, Aaron Cruden's another player who I haven't actually... Is he still playing, Aaron Cruden? I haven't really seen too much of him very recently. I think, does he have a brother who's playing for Manawatu or someone along those lines? Although I could be wrong in that regard. Just a single down the ground, too long on, and at the moment Phillips is sitting on 7 for 4 as well. Here's a controversial answer. I'd let Peter O'Mahony watch my kids as well, says Katie Dixon, and I'm good, Katie, apart from a sore arm as well, says Shane. So O'Mahony, I don't actually know too much about him off the field, other than the fact that I know that he's a bit of a workhorse when he is out there, and I believe he is going to be in the Irish squad for the later stages. Liam Livingstone just not quite happy with that running as well, and also I remember a Katie Dixon lookalike in Ted's luncheonette in Clearwater in 2000, Florida, but I doubt it's you as well, says Mark there. Livingstone now pitching that ball up, and it is going to be now. Oh, I thought for a second there was the yes-no call. But at this stage, it's going to be another dot ball for England. They need plenty more of those. And I did say that they needed 2 wickets more than they had, which would be 4 down. If they can get one in the next 3 balls, then they would be on track. But at this stage, 78 runs needed for the Black Caps. And they are going to need it from 62 balls. And I'm wondering why this isn't updated quite yet, because it's still saying that it is 9 overs gone. But I assume we'll be updating very soon, so that it is up to it a little bit more. But now it's going to be hit to the leg side. Going to once again be the single there. And hey, mate, as well, says Mr. Legit. Welcome in to the Losing Rate. It is great to see you here. Who do you think is going to be winning this game? Do let me know. At this stage, Black Caps are sitting in a relatively comfortable position for this one. But Liam Livingstone will be trying to change that just a little bit here and be able to get himself into the position of maybe getting himself 1 or 2. He could get 1 or 2 wickets. He got a wicket in the last match as well. I used to work at Ted Luncheonette. Mark, who are you? At Abu Dhabi as well. It's a wicket. It's a wicket. Liam Livingstone picks up 1, and that's going to be Phillips on his way. So I did say for them to be able to get into the position of being in a winnable position here for England, I said that they were going to need 1 more wicket before the 10th, though, and that's what they did. Still very far behind at the moment. It says 9.1 at the moment for that one. So hopefully it does catch up while we have got our drinks break coming up very soon. I got 87 for 4. That is what I have got as well. Has Kane been in yet? He has not yet. So I assume more than likely he might be out there next. Were you my waitress as well? Says Mark, and also wicket. Says it Nov Mum there as well. At this stage, Phillip on his way. 7 for 5 or 7 off 5 as well. So New Zealand now 4 down. It's a little bit risky for them. I see Jimmy Neesham is out there, but he is he batting? No, he's not. Someone in the background, number 76. I believe that's actually Mitch Satner, who will be making his way out there. And also we have got there, you are from Albuquerque as well, says Mark. And also, Mark, I used to work there when I was a teenager, says Katie. And also Livingston redeemed his naught batting with batting with the wicket as well, says Sebastian. And yeah, it's one of those ones that hopefully we do get to see some more very good bowling from Liam Livingstone in the BBL, because he does play for the Perth Scorchers, was one of their very talented opening batsmen. Him and Josh Inglis as a combo was pretty awesome. Another wicket, and it's going to be a close match, says Mr. Legit. It will be indeed. And also, no, I moved there in 2019 as well. I went to college in the States, says Mark. And Neesham, a good player as well, says Shane. Although they have held off him just a little bit longer, it is instead going to be, who did I say? Santner, I believe it is, making his way to the crease. And I feel like he needs to get himself some momentum as well heading into the games, because he's been doing decent with the ball in hand, but it's the batting that I think for him to be that all-rounder that they are probably going to be selecting him to be, they need to make sure that they can get themselves into that good position. Best goal kicker, a rugby goal kicker right now. Oh, okay, I want to say either Owen Farrell, because he is well and truly right up there. And then there's also a French, was it Jalabert? No, it might not be Jalabert, but one of the French players for the France series up against Australia was just very consistent. No matter where it was on the park, he was putting them over. And I feel like he probably kicks at about a 90% rate or somewhere. As Taylor playing, he isn't actually on this tour. Unfortunately for him, it did mean that he was missing out, although they have still got quite a few of those players that do have the ability as well. Livingston should get that form back as well. Yeah, I'm hoping to see him have a very good competition and a very good tournament as well, because of the fact he's a talented player, Liam Livingstone, and he's actually been working very hard on the bowling side of it, which I think is something that kind of gets swept under the rug just a little bit more, but he's very good at what he does as well. When did you eat it, Teds? Help remind me of who you are. George, Jimmy plus George, Vicky as well, says Mark. Jesus, this is going to be says Katie, it's going to be one of those ones that will go down memory lane, I should say, as well. But at this stage, it is almost caught up here, but they still seem to be about a minute or so, or maybe about 5 minutes behind. So we're going to try refreshing, see whether or not it does help us out here. See if we are up to date. Right, we are there at the moment. So hopefully it is going to be continuing to go at a little bit of a decent rate here. But Rashid, they've done very nicely here, England. Chapman's out. I missed that ball. Chapman is now out. And now England are in the box seat, ladies and gentlemen. And also we have got there used to eat at. He's got a lot of sausage, Mark. And also, who is your favorite who is the most famous person you met? Sausage Danny Lewis. I feel like most famous-wise, it's probably Norm Maxwell, to be fair, seeing as the fact he was an ex-All Black in that regard. But that is a wicket there. 87 for 5 now. And Kane Williamson in the background. He doesn't look like he's in any hurry to make his way out there. So now it's going to be Mitch Santner also at the crease, and also game over for New Zealand, says Shane, and also Marcus. That is so cool. I was probably a waitress when I was a teen. Holy moly, small world as well. And is Milan right for T20, even if he's number one, says Mr. Legit. It's a tough one. He's very good for the KFC Big Bash. I do enjoy watching him for the Hobart Hurricanes, but it's whether or not, because they've got such a good top order in terms of the fact that all of their players for England can hit the ball very hard. Chapman is completely overrated at this level as well, says Dragon there as well. New Zealand problem is we have no genuine spinning all-rounder. Ravindra is the guy and will replace de Gronholm as well in the test side long-term, in my opinion, as well, says Dragon. Also, we have got there game over for New Zealand. And how awesome would it be if it actually met Grand Story Bruin in the chat as well? Says Sebastian, yeah, it would be pretty awesome indeed. And no, you are teasing me as well. And also, we have got their fifth wicket. How did it affect the probability? Says it is a Sebastian. We will check it in just a very short moment after this one. But at the moment, I would say it's well and truly swung it. Santner blocking that ball of Ashwin, but we are just seeing that wicket once again. He ended up just going straight off the edge. It actually ended up flicking the glove of Josh Butler as well, I believe, who is Norm Maxwell. I met Justin Bieber at the airport. He got arrested for bringing a monkey to the country as well, says Danny. So that is, he's bowled him straight to him, Rashid, and Santner on his way. And now it is 6 down, and this will change the probability well and truly because of the fact that now we will be sitting at a completely different total. Look at that, straight through Santner there. And it is another wicket as well we have got there. But Norm Maxwell is an ex-All Black for that one as well. But now at this stage, Santner not happy at the moment with that one. But Rashid is on fire at the moment. The win probability, it has a 23% now for New Zealand. It seems to be not updating this part. Just there, we will quickly kind of fresh and see whether or not it does kind of work it out. At this stage, it is still a little bit behind. I believe it is actually just the kind of live scoreboard, I guess, that is struggling to keep up. So we will kind of keep it up to date, but just a little bit behind, I guess you could say at the same time. But at this stage now, India also having a very decent run. They need 75 from 55 balls at this stage. And what Santner fails again, he should bat at 10 or 11 as well, says Dragon. Now at this stage, Tim Southee making his way out there. Daryl Mitchell also has not faced a ball. And New Zealand needs 77 from 57 balls as well. And also we have got there, what the heck has Chapman done against the best sides in the to be continually selected as well, says Dragon. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't believe we'll get too many opportunities overall for that middle order in the actual matches, I wouldn't think, because he's not really much of a bowler either, I don't believe, Chapman. And that one, and also we have got there, I'm actually losing my mind from shock as well, says Katie Dixon. Also we have got the game over, and Adil Rashid, what a guy, 10 out of 10 from Sebastian. He's doing very well. And former All Blacks lock, says Sebastian there as well. Tell you what, I thought he was going to be able to get that one as well. But as we can see, the required run rate, even though it is frozen at the moment, hopefully does it start updating itself? Okay, it's actually slowly catching up now. In fact, it's actually ahead now from my coverage. So that is good in a way. We don't mind if it's one ahead, if it does mean that it is going to be just the single down the ground there for Tim Southee. And now at this stage, they're going to have to work hard here, the Black Caps, because of the fact that you can't be 6 down at this stage of the game as well. My aunt has a place in Sankey as well, as if King Kong or Godzilla had a fight, who would win? I believe there's actually a movie based off that, isn't there? If I'm not wrong. But yeah, I'm not too sure in that regard. I feel like it would be an interesting fight. I haven't really seen enough of King Kong or Godzilla movies probably to be able to comment completely on who would win it. They kind of look like Matt Henry on the barbecue, but I believe it is someone else who was just cooking up a feed while they were at it. I woke up I was on very sore after the vaccine as well, says Shane. And also we have got this. So wait, I don't know beans about cricket at that moment. That one's gone very high in the air, and that's going to be out as well. It's going to be a no ball, I believe, up against Liam Livingston, almost able to get Southey's wicket there. Southey caught at Deep Square League very soon as well. Yeah, it seems like more than likely, is it called a no ball or is he on his way here, Tim Southey? I believe it is going to be a free hit here. So Liam Livingston, they were able to run a single down to there. They've actually lost the scoreboard at the moment on the actual cricket, I do see. But at the moment, I believe they will be sitting on 90 runs at the moment here for the Black Caps. And it does mean that Daryl Mitchell will be on strike for the free hit now as well. That's absolutely insane. I used to spend every evening after a shift at Ted's at Sankia. I'm losing my mind as well. Oh, it's going to be hit down the ground. Hurt the finger of Liam Livingston there. And they are going to be just running the single here for this one as well. So at this stage, seems like this is not updating itself anymore, but also it seems like we haven't got a scoreboard at the moment on the actual cricket either. Come on, New Zealand, says Shane. And also we have got that. If you had to bring a rugby player to a bar fight, who would you bring as well? Says Danny Orr. Rugby player to a bar fight. I feel like I would have to, who do you bring? I feel like I need someone big because of the fact that they've got to be able to take a punch and they've got to be able to take my punches as well in terms of, because I would be getting hit and probably down. So they've got to be able to take double the amount. So I'd say someone like a Taniela Tupou would be quite an interesting one there. Just going to be the single down the ground there for them once again. And at this stage, Southey very lucky to still be at the crease, but it was the no ball that did lead to it as well. We have got the come on New Zealand and also see an earlier forward, says Shane. Yeah, very decent shout there. In that regard, still only one down in the game for India. That's going to be nicely played by Daryl Mitchell. And also rugby player to a bar fight. It's easy, Sonny Bill Williams as well, says Dragon there. And hoping the Black Caps won't get bowled out would be a bit of a shame, says Sebastian. Yeah, hopefully they can keep on fighting. I believe they've still got the option of Kane Williamson if he did want to kind of have a run a little bit later on. They got Southey, and it is also Daryl Mitchell, who had a very good first innings up against Australia for the warm-up matches as well. But for some reason, the scoreboard has decided that it is not going to be updating itself today. Southey smacking that one over cover, and that is going to be 4 runs there. Very nicely done there for Tim Southey as well. We're going to see whether or not updating this one once again. It is stuck at the moment for some reason, which is not ideal because of the fact that we've had about an over and a bit since it has updated. So I might have to try and quickly work that one out as well. Even Etzebeth, that is a very good shout as well. He boxes, remember, as well, says Dragon. Also, we've got there, he'll be my second. And also, we've got the Arcane is yet to come on. This could be good as well, says Sebastian. And Thomas Lavanini. Yeah, he's certainly a passionate player, that man. And also, Saley can hit a ball, says Shaney Kennedy. Pablo Matera, says Danny. And are there some kind of software that you have to install when you want to do a live stream? As well, says Johan. So pretty much the software that I use is StreamYard because of the fact that it is pretty easy to be able to set up, and I can kind of have the freedom that I need to for that kind of thing. But normally before a live stream, I have to reset my modem about 6 or 7 times just to make sure that it is going to run smoothly because of the fact that my internet is not that great at time, unfortunately. But what we are going to be doing, because of the fact that at the moment this live scoreboard has decided to stop going up, I am going to quickly get up another one so that I can have it there as well. Conway needs to open with Gupta as well, says Dragon. And yeah, I believe in this one. Who do they go with for this one for the openers? Can't quite think of it off the top of my head, unfortunately. I believe everything is slightly frozen at the moment. It's a big shout of no at the moment for that one, and they are not going to be going for. We haven't actually got in terms of the scorecard, unfortunately, for some reason here, which is kind of strange. And also we have got there Jamie Cutmore for the fight as well, says Mark. And also we have got there, you're coming in clear, bro, says Shane. And also Conway needs to open with Gupta and Tupou, says Danny as well. So at this stage, it does just seem to be the scoreboard that is a little bit behind. So I do apologize in advance for that, but I will keep you updated with where it is sitting at the moment on the scoreboard kind of for the actual game, because of the fact that it's a little bit behind. But Mark Wood now going to be bowling to Daryl Mitchell, and it's another wicket. And now the Black Caps are going to be 7 down, and Daryl Mitchell going to be on his way now after 12 overs. The Black Caps still needing 67 from 47 balls as well. Tupou would get destroyed by Edzabev as well, says Danny Lewis, although he would probably have a bit of a chin on him. Danny Tupou, I would think, yep, Edzabev will batter him as well. He certainly got the reach advantage in that regard, but I didn't realize we were going to a bar fight to fight other rugby players. I thought we were just taking a bar fight with a single rugby player there, and this game might be over soon and got an FL. Big love, Hamish in chat. Stay safe all as well, says Sebastian. But Daryl Mitchell on his way now. 2 runs for that man, 5. Unfortunately, balls did end up having. And now it is going to be Kyle Jamieson, who can also hit a long ball game over for New Zealand as well, says Shane. Yes, 7 down at this stage. It is looking relatively unlikely for them to be able to win this game. Just like it is looking relatively unlikely that the scoreboard is going to update itself. So at the moment, they are sitting at the total of, at the moment, New Zealand are sitting on 80, or sorry, they're actually sitting on 97 for 7 at this stage. But yeah, at this stage, it does seem like it's not going to update itself. We have got the Eben Etzebev swinging Faf de Klerk around like a battle axe as well. That would be an interesting sight. That is for sure. But now, Kyle Jamieson going to be the man who is at the crease. He can hit a long ball. We saw it for, I believe, it was in one of the games of the Super Smash. He did hit the ball across the road at one of the grounds. And also, we have got the Have a Good One, brother, says Katie Dixon there as well. Now, Kyle Jamieson. Got a large bat. We were saying earlier on about Brodie Retallick. If he was to play rugby, or sorry, if he was to play cricket, what would it look like? And probably similar to Kyle Jamieson. He's solid. He used to open as well. Kyle Jamieson is a bit of a fun fact. Used to be a batsman, but then just ended up keeping it on growing. So then became that bouncer. And kind of, are they playing at Lords? Says it, Johan. They are playing in Abu Dhabi for this match. So yeah, they are in the UAE for these fixtures. And also we've got there what's next World Cup game you are doing as well, says Shane. I believe the next one we are going to be covering is the match on, I want to say it's Saturday, and it's Australia versus South Africa will be that game, just due to time zones and everything along those lines as well. Now at this stage, it is going to be once again Mark Wood running in. Solid from Kyle Jamieson once again there. And also, can we let shoot idea battle axe with a blonde wig? That says Faf de Klerk underneath as well. Says that Katie Dixon. And also, we've got there. This is going to be your longest live stream. Why not rugby? Which it's a quick game as well. Says Barry Green. I believe our longest live stream, I want to say we did about a 4.5 hour Cricket 19 live stream on the live stream that we did hit 1,000 subscribers, I believe. We've been able to do a relatively long one. But yeah, it will be our longest cricket live stream perhaps on the channel as well if this match continues at the pace that it is. But I'm going to be very excited to see how this one is ending, because at the moment there's a lot of pressure on New Zealand. The scoreboard looks like it's pretty much caught up as well, which is great to see. Kyle Jamieson hits it straight down the ground. He hasn't quite got enough of it, but it is going to be falling into the gap. And now it is going to be just the single. Mark Wood tried to hit that one, or tried to get that one, I should say. Hey, the scoreboard's back. That is great news indeed. And also, if Mitch Hunt and Damian McKenzie got into a fight, who would win as well, says Danny Lewis. I mean, I saw Mitch Hunt try and start a fight with Dane Cole, so I feel like for that reason, I mean, he'd probably throw more of the punches, but Damian McKenzie could probably take more of a hit because of the fact that we see him get run over by big men every single day that he is playing the rugby, but he just keeps on getting up. So I'll say Damian McKenzie for kind of that. Oh, well bowled by Mark Wood. Just ended up following in just a little bit there, Tim Southey. And that's the end of the over. It is only 1 run off it and 1 wicket. So now all of a sudden the run rate that New Zealand need is up to 9.21 at this stage. How many overs left at this stage? They will have 7 more, which is 42 balls to try and make something of as well. I like Faf, cheeky little bugger as well, says Victor. And also we have got there, absolutely, man, I cannot get over that. As I says, Katie Dixon, here's a question. Do you remember liking Ted's luncheonette food as well? You won't hurt my feelings if you didn't as well, says Katie Dixon there. But at the stage, just wickets. That's what has been happening for the Black Caps in this one. Down to 7 already down. And at this stage, India doing a lot better. They need 47 runs from 40 balls at this stage. Me too, Fuff is a character as well, says Katie Dixon. Now at this stage, it is going to be Mills who will be bowling now. He did get hit for a 6, I believe, very early on in his spell, but from there he's been able to bring it back very nicely is what I was going to say. But also anyone who is curious about the game that has taken place between the Netherlands and Namibia, it's looking like it could go down to the wire. Namibia need 28 runs from 24 balls at this stage. And then in the game between India and New Zealand, or sorry, India and Australia, India need 45 of 38 balls and New Zealand requires 66 of 41. So all the games looking like they may go into those last kind of couple overs or two, which is going to be pretty awesome. We did see for that game yesterday. India were able to win that game up against England relatively comfortably. Or sorry, it was the day before, actually. Mills now bowling. Oh, Jamieson trying to hit that one, swing and a miss. Looking out through cover. He looks like he's out there just to have a big hit here. Kyle Jamieson with that big bat of his that he has got in his hand at the moment. But the big thing is he's going to have to find his timing pretty early because the run rate is slowly creeping up. It's almost at 10 already now. Only a little while ago, they only needed 7 and over. So that is just showing how it has kind of changed as well. I've been trying to find live stream of the World Cup as well. Says Shane, are you in New Zealand, Shane? Oh, no, sorry. You said morning a little bit earlier on, I believe, if I'm not wrong. But depending on what country you're in, yeah, it will depend on your options as well. Mills once again with the slower ball. And Kyle Jamieson just holding the head up, looking to try and swing that one through the line, and it didn't quite get to it. Unfortunately, I was young. I was so young, so I like all food, but they did good eggs as well, says Mark. But now Mills at this stage, 2 dot balls, only going for the 16 runs off his 14 deliveries he's bowled so far. So he is only going at just over a run a ball. We else got there. Just want to make it perfect, or just want to make it perfectly clear from the early conversation. I do not have children, but if I did, then I'd let Peter O'Mahony babysit them as well, says Katie Dixon. Oh, it's a nice ball from Mills, and it is just going to be whipped away to the leg side for the single. So now at this stage, it is going to be Tim Southee on strike. He will have to just swing almost there as well. If you had to turn into any animal, what would you be as well, says Danny? Any animal. I would say something that flies is a good shout, but then you got to pick something that's kind of like the leader of the food chain, I guess you'd say. So maybe like a hawk or something like that, so that I can fly around and all sorts. Or I guess an animal that's very fast. I feel like it would be quite fun. And we always got the I liked their omelets. I miss them. It must be a good Ted garbage omelet as well. Oh, now it's going to be down the ground. It's just going to be the single there for Southee. So at the moment, the run rate, it's above 10 now for the Black Cats, and they are very happy. Jason Roy and Chris Jordan just having a bit of a cuddle. I'm not too sure what happened there between the two of them, but we always got there Katie with the laughing emoji face as well. But Mills at the moment, he's been impressive in this fixture so far, and their chicken subs we're good too as well. Oh, I kind of want Subway now, even though we are sitting 2 a.m. here in New Zealand, so I don't know whether or not they would be open. Or I know for a fact that they would not be. But who knows? Maybe we'll get ourselves a Subway sub one day, I guess you could say. But now the stage, Jamieson on strike. Only the 2 runs off this over so far. How much more pressure can Mills put on the Black Cats here? It's just a single once again, so that is going to be a little bit more. Is there spiders or snakes in New Zealand? We do have spiders, but we don't have snakes. But our spiders aren't really venomous, I don't believe. We haven't got too many. I believe the worst spider we've got in New Zealand are whitetails, which do bite, but they aren't kind of as lethal as some of those ones that are in Australia as well. I miss nightclubs as well, says Shane. And also we have got there spiders and snakes everywhere. Watch out for the spiders and the snakes. Oh. It keeps on happening. I think it's because I've got a third light. And for some reason, like just having the light on your face makes you feel like you're about 10 times more tired than you actually are, I have a feeling. But Mills now with the full toss. Southee whipping it away to the leg side. That is going to be just another single. So great over from Mills there. And now the run rate continues to increase. 62 needed from 36 balls now for the Black Cats. And also we have got their way. You don't have snakes in New Zealand, like not even one. Only in zoos, I believe, are our only snakes that we have got here, Katie. And even in zoos, I'm not even sure if we've got any snakes. I don't believe we have got too many, but India at this stage need 33 runs from 34 balls. India winning it easily, says Prashant. They are indeed looking very impressive. Rohit Sharma sitting on 60 or 40 balls so far, and he has really been able to propel that Indian total forward. And now Pat Cummins, it's already gone for a 6th this over. Doesn't want to go for another one there. No, Katie, only in the zoo as well, says Victor. And also, I went to UCLA, but spent summer holidays in Clearwater with my aunt as well. And Katapo spider is a relative of the Australian redback and is venomous, but not as deadly as the redback. The redback, says a dragon there as well. No snakes in Ireland as well, says Mark. And more snakes in Australia, Katie. And so, yeah, Australia's rough. They've got snakes, spiders, crocodiles, sharks. Well, pretty much everywhere has sharks, but I guess they've got those big sharks in the water as well. And also, as you know, snakes in Waimate Zoo as well, says Danny. Nah, we've only got ourselves. Or it's going to be hit down the ground there once again. Another single. So really great pressure here from England building. But I would say the only things that we've got at our local kind of park, I guess you could say, we don't actually have a zoo for a few hours from my location. But I'd say our closest thing we've got is we've got a wallaby park kind of just up the road from us, and then also a few birds, kind of like a peacock and whatnot, in kind of enclosure at the park as well. I can't believe it, man. This is so crazy. I've missed Clearwater in so many ways. Does your aunt still live there as well? Says Katie Dixon there. Oh, Mark Wood going to be running in. Jameson at this stage sitting on 3 from 7. Oh, he's seen that one early, but has he got enough of it? It doesn't look like he's struck it well, and it's going to be another wicket. Chris Jordan has been able to take the catch of Kyle Jameson, and now New Zealand going to be 8 down in this matchup at Orana Park. Still open as well, says Shane. I believe they were, Shane, but I'm not too sure whether or not they are still, due to the fact with the COVID and everything along those lines. How does AU have 1 billion snakes and New Zealand has none? How does that happen as well, says Katie Dixon. I guess we're just lucky in some regards, but Kyle Jameson not very lucky there. He was taken in the catch, and Kyle Jameson 3 off 8 balls. New Zealand now sitting 103 for 8, and they still need quite a few runs left. I'm wondering who they're going to keep on sending out here, and whether or not they will be able to get themselves back on the right momentum track. India need 26 from 30 balls as well. And yeah, at this stage, it's looking like they should be able to do it relatively comfortably, maybe with a couple overs left. Ish Sodhi now going to be making his way out to the crease. I believe more than likely the last wicket will be Lockie Ferguson. So Kane Williamson, I thought he was in the field, but maybe he wasn't, because he is not going to be batting for this game by the looks of it, unless, of course, they send him in rather than Ferguson. But I don't know whether or not they would do that there. And Wallabies, do you guys eat them as well? Says Danny. I know that. Yes, he is out. Okay, Tim Southey's on his way. That was kind of a weird anticlimax, but Tim Southey got the edge, and that is going to be the wicket. And now New Zealand are 9 down, 1 wicket in hand here. And the 2 men at the end of this game for New Zealand, it's going to be Ish Sodhi at one end, and at the other end, it is going to be someone as well. Who have they going to send out? Southey is out 10 off 11, and this game has gone downhill big time for the Black Cats in the last little while. And also we have got there, my aunt was Irish as well, and also we've got there. Next time you visit, you should go eat at Ted's, walk through the doors and just blare out, guess who I found on the internet, yell as well, says Katie Dixon. Yeah, this stage it is going to be Lockie Ferguson and also Ish Sodhi. It's a hat-trick ball for Mark Wood. He's been able to pick himself up 4 wickets so far. Sheesh, Black Cats as well, says Victor. Yeah, hasn't gone the way that they would like it to. India at the moment looking like they're going to be able to get themselves a relatively comfortable win, but it looks like here they are actually going to have, it's actually Rohit Sharma. He's actually gone out here, unfortunately for him. I'm not sure whether or not he did actually get out or whether it was retired perhaps, but I assume, yes, okay, he did retire. And Rohit Sharma and a Pandya now incoming. And also, yeah, I will for sure, Katie, as well, says Mark. Now, at this stage, it is going to be Mark Wood once again. It's hit out through the covers, and it could almost be 2 here. No, they won't be able to get back. And it is just going to be the one. Ish Sodhi on strike now, and they need 60 runs for their last wicket partnership here, the Black Caps. They want any chance of being able to win this game and closing it out on a high. It was just the nick when it did go behind. And Mark Wood, he wants the fifer. It's got their Ted and his family has known our family. I was a small kid, so they will know who you're talking about as well, says Katie Dixon there. Now, this stage, 60 needed off 32. It's almost going at 12 runs in over here for the Black Caps to be able to get the win. Stark at the moment trying to fight back here for the Australians, but they're going to have to make sure they get a few more wickets in a hurry as well. And, mate, as well, what's your plan today, mate, as well, says Danny. I think overall for today, I have got a video that I am going to be editing a little bit later on. So we are currently sitting at 2:07 a.m. So with this game ending just a little bit earlier, possibly because of the fact that the Black Caps are 9 down, I will get to do that editing while cooking something up to have to eat. And then from there tomorrow, we will have a couple videos coming up on the channel based around a little bit of rugby as well. And then kind of preparing for the weekend of cricket and also rugby that we have got ourselves. But yeah, it should be very exciting indeed. And yeah, I am looking forward to it because I absolutely love the kind of process of editing and also getting everything prepared, doing my research of these sides, going into that kind of later stage as well. That's going to be another single there for Ish Sodhi. Quick single. He would have been on his way, I believe, there for Lockie Ferguson. And also learn from this game and last night before Cup proper as well, says Victor. Yeah, I guess it is one of those ones you never want to peak too early in this competition. But at this stage, as long as New Zealand do, I guess, learn from these games, they need to make sure that they either beat Pakistan or India. Those are the 2 big fixtures for them. And if they can do so, they will be able to make it through to the semi-final as they are on the heavily easier side of the draw because in Group A, it is going to be it's going to be Australia, England, West Indies, South Africa, probably Sri Lanka, and then also it will be Bangladesh possibly as well. And we obviously you won't be getting much sleep over the weekend, says Shane. Yeah, there isn't a lot on the cards, but I will be trying to kind of balance it out. So I might get like 12 hours one day, and then maybe on another day I will end up getting kind of maybe around 6 or something like that, and try and kind of balance it like that as well. Okay, we'll have to go power cut coming by. I'll have a great day all as well, says Mark. Back at you, mate, as well. Hopefully you do have a great rest of your day. We have got their Group A as Group of Death, says Prashan. It is indeed. They have got just so many teams that will have the ability of being able to win that group and get through to the semi-final, which is why it's a shame that it's going to be cut right down from 6 great teams to just the 2. But that is how it is how it is kind of ended up in that situation as well. We have got the pics from filming actually up in the restaurant. You should check it out next time you go there as well, says Katie Dixon. And also we have got it's like a whirlwind tour of the USA's greatest achievements, the Breaking Bad and Ted's Luncheonette. Fun fact, they filmed the promo for MTV in 1994 at Ted's Pulp Fiction parody. That was almost another run out. But the Black Cats have been able to scamper through. It was Ash Sodhi. Oh, it looks like Jason Roy has hurt himself here. It's just not what you want to see. And also we have got there, when is your next live stream? Really enjoy this content as well, says Danny. I appreciate that, mate. So the next live stream I believe that we are going to be doing on the channel is going to be for cricket. It will be on the Saturday night for Australia versus South Africa, I believe, is the one that we are going to be covering. Or if you're talking about just in general for rugby as well, I may even have a Be a Pro live stream, which is where I kind of do my rugby career mode on a game rugby challenge for. That will be possibly tomorrow or the next day as well. And then we have got the Bunnings NPC, which is the New Zealand provincial rugby competition. That is going to be taking place at 7:05 on Friday as well. So we've got plenty more live streams coming in the future as well, alongside videos on the channel as well. We have got the Have a Good One, brother. And also it seems only I'm talking about cricket and all others discussing other things as well, says Prashant. I feel like at this stage, that's why I love these live streams so much, because of the fact that we are able to have kind of everyone talking about everything, and also because of the fact that the cricket, we kind of have enough time in between the balls and the overs to be able to discuss it. At this stage, Hardik Pandya is about to be on strike here, and they don't need too many runs at all here for India to be able to get that one. 20 from 25 balls, whereas for the Black Caps, Ash Sodhi's actually got hold of that one, and that's going for 6. Tell you what, that is a brilliant shot from Ash Sodhi there, and that is going to help out the Black Cats just a little bit. They still need quite a few runs, but that is going to definitely help. Ash Sodhi just swings through the line of the ball, got hold of it. I feel like maybe, who was it who bowled? I believe it was Chris Wokes, if I'm not wrong there, maybe taking it a little bit too casually for that one, and Sodhi hits it straight down there. And also we have got there, sorry about that, one of the chat peeps caught me off guard as well. Apparently, I used to eat at the restaurant. I was a waitress in 2002 when I was just a wee teenager as well, says Katie Dixon. Yeah, Chris Wokes at the moment. Slower ball, they did say. What does he bowl this time? I feel like a Yorker's coming from Chris Wokes. No, it's going to be down the leg side, and it's going to be the wide for him as well. So the run rate is still going to be quite high for the required run rate here. But the Black Caps, tell you what, if they were able to get themselves a 60-run partnership for the final wicket to be able to get the win. Actually, it's going to be Nathan Astle who is at the crease. I did say Lockie Ferguson a little bit earlier on, which makes me wonder, because I don't think Ferguson did make it to the crease, so I assume that they changed a couple players as well, due to the fact that it is the warm-up match, giving everyone a chance with the bat as well. Sodhi goes big. Sodhi goes big. It's gone over the head, and it's going to be 6 once again there. What was the worst job you have worked as well, says Danny. For myself, I'm still very young, and I've actually only had like one kind of serious job, I guess you could say. And I was at a supermarket, and I actually really enjoyed it because of the fact that I did get to chat to people. And also, like, I always, like, it's one of those ones, some people don't really do too much, like, in terms of, like, you know, when you're at the supermarket and some people look like they stand around for like the whole time. I was not that guy. I would always be just charging around like a madman trying to like get everything done that needed to be done. So I was told that I was a pretty good worker in that regard. But yeah, other than that, I haven't actually had any other ones. Ross Department Stores, I only worked there one day and I walked out as well, says Katie Dixon. And also we have got there's a lot of streams about Sean on YouTube after his passing as well, says Shane. Yeah, there'll be a lot of streams and a lot of videos of Sodhi now hitting it into the deep, and that is just going to be the single there. And Nathan Astle now going to be on strike. It seems like at this stage, they're trying to cut it down a little bit. 10 runs and over still required. Nathan Astle, as long as he can stay out there, Ish Sodhi does actually have the ability of hitting a long ball. We've seen that twice in this over so far. But I feel like at this stage, I would go slower Yorker to Nathan Astle here. I feel like that would be your best option. You could put it outside the off stump, but I feel like you need to put it on the stumps. Slower Yorker to Nathan Astle here could try and get the job done and finish out this game for them, but we will have to wait and see what does he decide to do here, Wokes. That's not what I was expecting. Pretty much what happened there is Chris Wokes completely missed the pitch almost and ended up, it was a 5 wides there for Chris Wokes. He should have gone with the slow Yorker. Well, it's got there Nathan Astle as well, says Prashant. Todd Astle. Sorry, I keep on saying Nathan Astle. It is Todd instead, though. My bad, isn't it, Todd Astle? It is indeed. Nathan Astle is his father, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Possibly. Yeah, this stage it is Todd Astle. I keep on saying Nathan for some reason. That seems to be in my name. Oh, it seems to be in my head, I should say, as well. And also we've got there, there were a few that looked like conspiracy theories too. I wish they just let him rest in peace as well. It says Scotty Dixon. I agree there as well. If Justin Bieber and Damian McKenzie got into a fight, who would win? I feel like Damian McKenzie could really take a shot. So possibly him for the endurance side of it. And also, yeah, there are also we have got there, well, Australia lost. New Zealand still have a chance. As well, says Aiden, yeah, at this stage, 16 from 20 balls for India in that fixture. And Justin Bieber is still relevant. I thought he went out of style like 5 years ago. As well, says Katie Dixon. And now Wokes, once again, it is going to be Astle hitting it out to the man at kind of straight cover, or extra cover, sorry. So now it is going to be at the end of the over. New Zealand still need 37 from 24, but they are still out there as well. And also we have got their YouTube forever from Johan. Also, Nathan Astle was one of the cutest cricket players as well. Says Prashant did. Also, we've got the Justin Bieber is married, I heard, as well. I believe he's married to Sophie Turner. Is it? No, that's Sophie Turner's Joe Jonas, isn't it? Who's he married to? Is it a Baldwin? Hayley Baldwin? I don't know how I know that. I feel like that wasn't too bad. Hamish versus Brad Weber winner. As I said, Danny Lewis, Brad Weber. I feel like you'd be able to not just beat me if it was kind of like a DJ off, but also if it was a fight as well. Imagine Alistair Kutse becomes the All Blacks head coach as well. She's married a Jonas brother as well. Are you a fan of 660, says Shane? I enjoy some of their music. I feel like I want to say in that 1600 song playlist, there's probably like 5 660 ones or something along those lines. But Chris Jordan now, very good bowler. No, he is married to Hayley something as well, says Johan. I believe it's Hayley Baldwin, I think. If I'm not wrong, maybe. Could be right, could be wrong there. But now at this stage, Chris Jordan, 66 matches, 73 wickets, his best bowling figures. It's 4 for 6, but he doesn't need that today. He only needs the 1 wicket to finish off this innings. But New Zealand, if they somehow make it, I do like Alan Walker's music as well, says Johan. I have heard, I think other than Faded, I've only heard about one other song. But I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind Faded. And you're right, it's Hayley Baldwin as well, says Aiden there. So at this stage, 14 needed for India with 18 balls left. So it seems like they should be able to get themselves a comfortable win at this stage. Chris Jordan puts it on the stumps. Instead, whipped away to leg by Nathan Astle. And then it's just going to be the single right. Ish Sodhi at this stage. It's going to be tricky. Does he decide to just well and truly keep on going? Well, this one, the Spectre, as well, says Johan. I have not heard of it. To be honest, Johan, and also I don't understand how some of these celebrities get to be as popular as they are, but hey, it's whatever as well, says Katie Dixon. I believe, Justin, does he still have the most disliked video ever on YouTube, or is that, I think YouTube Rewind actually overtook that at one stage, unless there's 3 hat-tricks as well, says Aiden. I guess that is a good point. If they somehow get themselves, they almost need only 1 run off this over of Kane Richardson, so that it's 13 off 12 or 12 off 12, and then you can try and put that pressure on. But at this stage, seems like they are going to be able to get their way over the line. My DJ mate lives right across the road from the 660 house in Dunedin as well. Says Changer, that is pretty awesome. Oh no, that's going to be a beautiful shot there from India. And that one was almost like a windmill shot, and it's going all the way forward just before they're almost able to get it to the boundary. But now at this stage, 9 from 16, India are going to be able to get themselves the win here. But at this stage, New Zealand have not given up yet for this one, but Todd Astle on strike to Chris Jordan, very talented bowler. It's going to be a dot ball just outside of the off stump. A little bit of the slower ball as well And Todd Astle not quite able to get onto it. I'll be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Todd Astle's batting in my time, purely because of the fact that I haven't really seen him in the kind of international cricket. That's a massive shot there in India. Oh, it's fallen into the gap. And now it is going to be just the single once again there. So now they need 8 from 15 balls in that one. Who's better, DJ, Alan Walker, Calvin Harris, or Avicii, if he was still alive? Or you're asking a question there, Johan. I would say, I mean, they've all got their individual songs that I know of. I don't mind. Calvin Harris has quite a few good songs in terms of it's almost. Oh, but then Avicii. Oh, no, I can't actually decide. Who is your favorite? Let's see, Johan. Do let me know. But at this stage, New Zealand need 34 from 20 balls. Is it possible? It's going to be tough because of the fact that they have got no wickets in hand, and it is heavily reliant on this man, Ish Sodhi here. Had a decent day with the ball, though, and who knows, maybe that can help him get his side over the line, or maybe his stumps get knocked over here. No, he hasn't bowled the ball yet. Chris Jordan now running in to bowl the 5th ball of his over. Ish Sodhi now hitting it straight back down the ground just for the single. And it's just going to be one once again. Did India only won one World Cup as well? Says Johan. If that is the case, I would be heavily surprised. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. That's gone for 6, and India win the game with a just incredible shot down the ground. I believe it was Pandya who was able to hit that one, and India win that game up against Australia by 8 wickets as well. Very comfortable win for the Indians in that one. Also, we have got the Avicii, says Shane, and also Alan Walker is my favourite as well, says Johan. Also, what is your singing voice like, says Danny. Have you ever heard, I guess, have you ever heard something like just being squeezed and just like sounding like it is dying? I feel like that is the best way to describe my singing voice, something along those lines. It's not great. It's definitely not good. And it's probably shocking, I guess you could say, is the easiest way. Yes, only one T20 World Cup in 2007. Who knows? Maybe they will be able to get themselves another one here. And there are a lot of South Africans that live in New Zealand. I believe we've got quite a few South Africans over here in New Zealand. Although I don't think I've ever met or kind of actually, I don't think I've got anyone in my near friend group who is kind of from South Africa or anything along those lines. So I haven't really talked to too many South Africans. I actually talk to a lot more on these live streams as well. And also we have got their Tiesto, says Shane, and also we have got their Paul Oakenfold, Tiesto, or Apex Twin, as well, says Katie Jackson. Would you be disappointed if I said I have no idea who the 3 of them are? And also, can you sing happy birthday as well, says Danny. I will say copyright might stop it, because I know that, I think you got to pay like a charge, don't you, to be able to sing happy birthday? Or did they get that removed? I know that Disney, I think, owned the rights to it or something, but that was a nice slower ball there. And now at this stage, New Zealand still need 33 from 17 more balls. To wait and see whether or not that will be the case. But at this stage, they may end up getting themselves bowled out if they do lose that one more wicket. So we will have to wait and see whether or not they can get themselves into a very good position of it being able to do so. Ish Sodhi at the moment, he's sitting on a decent amount, 17 off just the 9 balls as well. It's looking like he's practicing the pull shot. Does he nail it here for New Zealand? We have got there. That makes me feel old, Hamish, as well. Says Katie Dixon. Are they bands and like singers and whatnot? Katie, and also New Zealand has a lot of Tongans in New Zealand as well. Says Shane. Yeah, we have got quite a strong Pacifica kind of base as well. That's going to be the 2 runs here for Ish. No, just the 1. And Astle is going to retain the strike, or have the strike, sorry, for the next few balls. Perhaps 16 balls left in this one. 32 runs required as well. Where did you buy your hoodie as well, says Danny Lewis? Oh, that's a good question. I believe. You've asked me a question that's well and truly stumped me. I'm going to have to look at the tag to see what brand it is. Probably from Farmers or something like that, maybe a little while ago. The good thing is that I haven't really grown that much in the last little while. So because I've been able to have these same like kind of clothes for about probably 5 years or something. It's a slower ball once again there. And it's just going to be the single for Astle, who's actually doing not too bad to keep the strike rotating as well. They said on Google that India won the Cricket World Cup twice as well. Have you ever been to South Africa, says that Johan, or been in South Africa? I have not. One day I would very much like to go to South Africa because it looks like a very nice place, definitely to watch a game of rugby or something along those lines. And they are vintage EDM as well, says Katie Dixon. I also love EDM, Katie, as well, says Shane there. At this stage, India were able to win their game by 8 wickets up against Australia with about 10 balls in hand as well. and they had some very good performances, including Rohit Sharma, who did open the batting for them as well. Gigi D'Augusto, now it's going to be a dot ball, well bowled once again here by Wills, and he has been impressing throughout this game, and hopefully he gets a few opportunities for England throughout the Cricket World Cup. But at this stage, I believe another game is almost at its end, which is the game between Netherlands and Namibia. Who is going to be able to get the win there at this stage? At the time of looking at it last, it was 13 needed from 10 balls, I believe it was. But I assume that it has updated just a little bit since that one, but we will have to wait and see as well. What's your go-to meal? As well, says Danny. I would say normally for, I guess, chicken and rice is probably stock standard for myself. But if I've got a live stream or something, I normally just try and find some sort of quick meal. Well, that was a slow ball, a slow bouncer, and Ish Sodhi was loving it because of the fact that he was expecting a very slow delivery, and that's exactly what he got there. And also, do you know, or do you want to come to Cape Town if you ever come to South Africa? I feel like I would probably well and truly try and do a tour of quite a few locations, just all in the one as well. We have got H from Ruba as well. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Thank you very much for tuning in. At this stage, England have got the Black Caps 9 down. India able to get themselves the win over Australia in their warm-up, so they go 2 wins from 2. And then their first game is actually going to be up against, I believe they're going to be playing Afghanistan, but I could be wrong in that regard. Macaroni and cheese. But you're going to make it with bacon and grease as well, says Katie Dixon. I actually did have macaroni and cheese the other day because of the fact that I think someone was talking about it, and I got keen or beautiful Yorker there from Wills, and he has closed out his spell very nicely there for that man. 135 for 9 at this stage. 2 overs left, and the Black Caps will need 29 off 12 balls. They're surviving, though. They've actually been able to put together about a 40-run partnership, these two. And if they can keep on doing that for the later stages, it could go down to the wire. But I believe that game between the Netherlands and Namibia at the moment, I'm trying to see exactly what the score is for that matchup, because Namibia only needed the 11 runs, and it hasn't really updated the scoreboard for quite a wee while. But it's 11 runs off 10 balls. So it could be very close as well. What is considered New Zealand food? I'd say fish and chips is pretty much stock standard. Also, probably a barbecue, something like a steak and a burger or something like that, I guess, could be Kiwi food. What else do we have? Pavlova? I know that that's a little bit of an argument between New Zealand and Australia in terms of who came up with one more. Tracy Ford as well. Okay, now I'm done as well. And also, we've got there. Do you know how many All Black supporters live in Cape Town? As well, says Johan. I believe it is a huge number, isn't it? Beautifully hit down the ground there by Astor, and I believe it is just going to be the single now. They aren't going to be risking it now. Chris Jordan bowling the second last over at the moment. What's your favorite root food? Favorite food? Sorry, pizza. Pizza's right up there as well. And Brett has actually said roast lamb. That is a very good shout as well for a very Kiwi dish. Few roasted spuds around it. Can't beat it in some regards. And also we've got are there a lot of sheep in New Zealand? I believe we've got quite a few sheep in terms of the population of sheep compared to the population of humans here as well. I believe I saw, it was a while ago, I'm not sure whether or not it is still in kind of effect, and it was the case of there are, I think, about 3 sheep per person in New Zealand or something like that. That could be a wrong stat, though, unfortunately. I missed the big day out that was held in Auckland at my Mount Smart Stadium as well, or at Mount Smart Stadium, says Shane, and also fish and chips is British. Barbecue is Australian as well, says Danny. And also, do you like long chips as well, says Johan? If long chips are just chips that are slightly longer, then I guess yes, because of the fact that I normally do chips in the air fryer, and they actually come out quite nice. Fun fact, if you guys have got yourself an air fryer, put yourself some fries in it. But now at this stage, is Shody going to be on strike? It's a full toss. And unfortunately, he has gone over the top. I thought for a second he was going to end up getting out, unfortunately, off that full toss. But set it over the top. And now Ish Sodhi getting them just a little bit closer. 24 needed off 9 balls now for New Zealand. It's still doable, but it's still not really completely there. 37 is the partnership at the moment between the two sides. Namibia need 3 runs from 7 balls, so they're going to win that game up against the Netherlands. Chips, as well, says Johan there. And what we will do quickly is we will show, this is how it's sitting at the moment. So Namibia, they weren't able to pick up a win, in their first game. They will move up into that 3rd place position, maybe even overtake. Oh no, their net run rate might cost them big time there. But at this stage, it seems like Scotland and maybe Bangladesh might be able to get themselves a big win over Papua New Guinea to move into 1st or 2nd on that kind of later stage as well. Now it's going to be well bowled by Chris Jordan just for the single down the ground once again. Now, at this stage, there is going to be 23 runs needed off 8 balls here. Do you like Cristiano Ronaldo? Says Danny. I haven't actually watched him play too much, but overall, he seems like a pretty good player in that regard. One of the best, if not the best in the world as well. Doritos, as well, says Johan. Doritos are very, very nice indeed. And do you love your New Zealand, Katie? As I say, Shane, and also we have got any Kiwi want to swap citizenship in the USA with me. You can come live in the USA. I want to live in New Zealand with all the sheep and the mountains and the beauty as well, says Katie Dixon. So who knows, maybe one day you will be able to find a trade. I'm not sure whether or not the kind of governments will be keen on that. I believe someone just broke their wrist. I think it was Chris Jordan, or sorry, broke their wrist watch, I should say, not their wrist. This stage it's going to be Astle on strike. If he can get a boundary on one of these last 2 balls of this game, or of this over, I should say, maybe there's still that smallest of chances for New Zealand. I'm not too sure who will be closing out the bowling here for England. I believe it might be Rashid if he's still got one more. Oh, it's going to be hit through the covers by Nathan Astle. They're getting at least 2 here. And it is just going to be kept to the 2 there for New Zealand. And now at this stage, 22 or 23, sorry, needed from 8 was what it was. Now it is 21 from 7. Have you done the haka before? Not kind of, I don't believe that I can think of, other than maybe if it was at like school or something, kind of learning it. But I don't think I would have actually done it during like a sports match or anything like that. We can't do anything with borders shut as well. Says Shane, that is true. And also the British rugby players kick almost every single kick over the post. They kick much better than us in the Southern Hemisphere as well, says Johan. I guess it is also normally in the Northern Hemisphere, they play a little bit more of a kicking game. So they are probably a little bit more in that kind of adapted. Oh, Astle, has he got all of it? He is indeed, and that's going to be 6. So now off the last over, they are going to need 15 here, New Zealand. We're going to have to wait and see whether or not that is going to be the case. But 15 off the last over. Please don't tell me we're going to get 14. It's going to be interesting as well. And also we've got the world's best commentator as well, says Archid. And also we have got the bro. Anything can happen as well. Answer your poll at this stage. We will have a quick look into this one. And at this stage, it's pretty much 50-50. England taking a little bit more, 51% saying England will win this game. And at this stage, this is a big partnership, 46 runs between the final wicket pairing of Sodhi and Todd Astle as well. And also we have got the truth going to have to wait until things get back to normal as well, says Katie Dixon. And also we have their 10 out of 10. And also it will never get back to normal. And also let's go in the chat as well from Ajit. And also see where you do where do you live? Katie Dixon as well, says Arjit. And also he's from India as well. Welcome into the live stream, mate. It must be around, I guess, 6:30 p.m. there, if I'm not wrong. Imagine someone has a monkey as a pet. That would be a lot of fun as well, says Johan. Yeah, I feel like it would be quite the handful to be able to take care of a monkey because of the fact, I mean, I've seen that people like play like card games and whatnot with monkeys, though. So I guess it is one of those ones that maybe one day they will be a little bit more, I guess I was going to say accessible, but I don't believe they will kind of have them as pets for everyone. It's normally only very, very rich people who have them as well. My wife asked what product you use for that smooth baby skin you have as well. Says Danny, I wouldn't say that it's smooth at all, but I don't actually use anything. I guess I just wash my face and hope for the best. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA as well, says Katie Dixon to Arjit. But now at this stage, 15 needed for New Zealand. 6 balls left to do so. Wokes is going to be the bowler. It's hit out through the gap for Sodhi, and it's looking like it is just going to be the single. No point risking the run out here. They have gotten this close to not throw it away now. 14 from 5 needed. If we get 13, I don't know whether or not we go to a super over, but if we do, that will be bringing back flashbacks to that 2019 ODI final between the two sides. Like they are saying, Nathan Astle, Todd Astle here, he will need to get himself a boundary off this ball. New Zealand have open borders to Australia so far as well, says Cheney. I believe I want to say it's about mid-November or maybe early December, Australia are going to have it that you don't need to quarantine. He's got him. He has bowled him there. And that is going to be Chris Folkes just letting everyone know that they're bailed to go off, and that is going to be the end of the game. And it will be England who have been able to get this one. They have been able to bowl New Zealand out. Went right down to the wire, a lot closer to the wire than it looked like it was going to be. But Chris Folkes tried to whip it off the leg there, Todd Astle. Unfortunately for him, if it didn't hit the stumps, that was going for 4. It does mean that it is going to be the win for England. So New Zealand goes 0-2 for their 2 warm-up games. India did go 2 from 2, and then also 1-1 for Australia and England as well. Do you think LeBron James would be a good rugby player as well, says Danny Lewis? It's tough to say. I feel like you probably put him at maybe like a lock or something like that. He'd have the agility of being able to go, and anyone as well in the chat. And Johan, that's great as well, says Arjit. And also we have got there, have you ever been in Australia before? I have indeed. I have been twice, I believe it is, or maybe 3 times if I'm lucky. I finally brought a British and Irish Lions cap for myself, and Johan, sorry, as well. Says Arjit there as well. But thank you all very much for tuning into this one. As you can see here, it hasn't updated the scoreboard yet, but England able to win this game by 13 runs. India winning their game by 8 wickets as well. So it is the 2 sides who did play off last week, or earlier in the week, I should say, who were able to get the job done. But Guptill getting 41 runs off 20 balls, get an incredible start to that match. And then from there, Conway, 21 off 23, then going right through the middle order was some brilliant bowling from Rashid and also Wood. And then Sodhi getting 25 off 16, 16 off 13 for Todd Astle as well to close out for 150 bowled out. And we have got there, I'm Indian. I live in Uttar Pradesh as well with the Indian flags. And hey, Kiwi, what's up? And everybody in the chat. As I said, so thank you very much for tuning in, mate. And hopefully you are looking forward to seeing New Zealand play India in a game that is coming up in only about 10 or so days' time. And yeah, it should be a very good one. But then Butler able to get himself 73 for 51, or 73 off 51. Bairstow getting 30 and Billings getting 27. Decent figures for Sodhi. 3 wickets, 26 runs of his 4 overs. But Wood was able to get himself the 4 wickets in this one as well. And then Rashid was able to get 3 wickets, 18 runs off his 3 overs as well. Nice stream, bro, as well, says Johan. Thank you very much, mate. And also we have got the Kiwis there. And also Charlotte, it's a great stream. Thank you very much as well. No worries. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. Brilliant stream. Many thanks as well, says Pipsnip. Thank you very much, mate. And if you guys are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we are going to be covering a lot more of the games of the Cricket World Cup. Where we do just pretty much, we talk about the games. We also just talk to you guys in the chat, and it is absolutely awesome as well. We have got there, please, as well, in the chat from RJ for just a small thing. Go for it, mate. Do let me know. And also we have got their nice stream, bro, says Johan. And yes, thank you for the stream as well, says Katie Dixon. And no worries at all. And also we have got there, an emoji in the chat from RJ by the looks of it. And it is I want to say that it's a little light bulb, if I'm not wrong there as well, but nonetheless, it's a very good game of cricket to watch. Went down to the wire, almost ended up going the way of the Black Cats. It didn't look like it should have, though, the way that it did start for them when it did start falling over in the middle order, but they were able to fight hard with Sodhi, and also Todd Astle showing off a little bit of batting as well. Excellent stuff as always. I discovered this channel through Rugby Championship, and I'm happy that you cover other sports as well. Says, hopefully I can pronounce this correctly. Is it Sagua? Hopefully I've said that not too far off. But thank you very much, mate. We have actually got plans of maybe extending into other sports as well, other than rugby and cricket in the future. So I guess while we have got a few of you guys here, what are other sports or other competitions around the world that you do like kind of watching as well? Because we might be able to get a watch along going for one of them as well. Well, I guess no from everybody as well for the Lightning. You can ask the question though, Jet, if you do want. And I will try my best to answer it as well. I usually have pronounced my name well. Michael as well says it was, I will. I can either call you Michael or Miss Sakwa, depending on what you prefer. Do you think you will cover the NRL? Says Shane. I am actually very keen to be able to, because of the fact that I am looking forward to being able to kind of learn a little bit more about rugby league. I've been doing so much rugby union, and then I think I am going to do the NRL hopefully next year to be able to get into some state of origin, and also maybe the Rugby League World Cup in the future as well. And Hamish Bro, can you do something as well? Sorry to say, but Hindi as well, says Arjit. I will try my best, as long as it is something that is like kind of friendly and nothing too bad. And also we have got there in the chat as well, how do you say goodbye in Māori? I can say ka kite koe I tērā wiki, which means see you next week, which might be the case for some of you guys who are in the chat. We will get to see you a little bit later on for the one. Do you know who's Juan de Jong as well? Is he the number 13, Johan? Do let me know. I think he is the number 13 for the Wasps, maybe, if I'm not wrong. I could have that wrong, though, for that one, but do let me know. But at this stage, India able to get themselves the win. Also, Namibia able to beat the Netherlands as another fixture that did take place just a little bit ago and then England able to beat New Zealand, although it hasn't updated yet. Has it now? Yes, it has. There we go. It is now updated as well. Yes, says Johan. So, yeah, I've been working on my kind of South African player knowledge, as though he also played for the Box, says it Johan. Yeah, at the moment, he will be getting a little bit more game time than he possibly would have a little bit earlier on because of the fact that Malakai Fikatoa is now out. My channel name is AKP Colours and Craft as well. And they're from Argentina, and also we've got there Juan de Jong. I was in the same school as my father as well. So that is a pretty awesome fact as well in the chat. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like. Who were the top scores in India versus Australia against this Shane? I will quickly get that up for you, mate, so that you know exactly what the same high score as well. And yeah, at this stage, it was a good performance from India, though. I know that it was actually, I want to say it was Rohit Sharma who did top score for India. Where is it gone? It is right here. I will get it up. Subscribe as well, says Arjit as well. And I will mention anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button on the Kiwi Lads channel as well. If you are keen on some gaming, we have got the Kiwi Lads Gaming channel in the kind of pinned comment. If you do want to check it out as well, bro, Rohit OP as well, says Arjit. Yeah, he is a very talented player, Rohit Sharma. So for that game between Australia and India, once my app decides to load, which normally it doesn't take too long to load, but it does seem like it is running slow just a little bit here at the moment. Roy OP as well. And thank you so much, says Katie Dixon. No worries. Thank you very much for tuning in, Katie. Hugely appreciated you being here for this one. And hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your day as well. So Rohit Sharma, he was able to get himself 60 runs off 41 balls, 5 fours, 3 sixes. And then it was Rahul who had 39 off 31 balls, who also hit 3 sixes with just the 2 fours. Then the best bowling figures, Ashton Agar able to get 2 overs, 14 runs, 1 wicket for himself. And then for Australia, Steve Smith able to get 57 runs off 48 balls, 7 fours, no sixes for that man. And then Marcus Stoinis, he did not end up getting out, and he was on 41 off 25 balls, 4 fours, 1 6 as well for him. And then Ashwin had the best bowling figures, 2 overs bowled, 8 runs for 2 wickets. It's interesting that they only gave him 2 overs in that one as well. And also we have got the Are You Happy for me here, bro, as well, says I am indeed, mate. And hopefully we will get to see you for a few of the future live streams on the channel as well. We have got there why did England win as well, says it, Johan. It was just one of those ones. They had the better performance, and it was going to be a very close finish by the looks of it. It looked like New Zealand were in a comfortable position, but then unfortunately for them, it did end up going downhill for them in that regard as well. We have got there the school's name was a Huge Note High School as well, says Johan. And also we have got there, do you like WWE? I quite enjoy watching WWE. I know that the Royal Rumble will be coming up a little bit later on, or in January, I believe it normally is, which I normally end up watching. I normally watch the Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, and then I guess the other one, Money in the Bank, maybe. I think it's the other big one that I sometimes watch. I think there's one other one, but I can't quite think of it off the top of my head as well. And also we have got there, I remember when Steve Smith cheated with the ball in South Africa as well. Says Johan, yeah, they did end up getting a little bit of a match fixing type arrangement. And also we have got there, all wrestling is fake, as well, says Katie Dixon. It is kind of, I guess you could say it's scripted in terms of the fact that they still, I guess in some regards, like they still land on the ground on their backs and whatnot, but it is just the fact that like sometimes, I mean, or all the time, they know what is going to be happening. WrestleMania for me as well, says Shane. And yeah, it is a very good spectacle every single year. I enjoy the USC as well as another one that I do enjoy watching. But nonetheless, I guess that is going to be the end of this live stream. Like I mentioned, if you, is there one called Hell in a Cell as well, WWE? It is indeed, although it is spelt with the C rather than the S for Hell in a Cell as well, I do know. But yeah, nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Anyone who is just tuning in now, England were able to win this game by 13 runs, and then New Zealand getting bowled out. So England winning the one game, New Zealand losing both of their games of the preseason matchups that they did have. Also, it is India. They were able to win 2 from 2, and then Australia were able to win the 1 out of the 2 that was up against the Black Cats. Have a good one. Big love, everyone, as well in the chat from Katie Dixon. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.